In a desolate wilderness swamp, Lin slowly awoke within an underground nest, his face filled with confusion. He felt the air was warm, yet strangely comfortable. Puzzled, he wondered why he had ended up in such a place. Suddenly a sharp pain shot through his head, causing him to cry out involuntarily. His head throbbed terribly. Fragments of memory returned. His name was Lin, a laborer who had been struck on the back of the head by a falling brick beneath the outer city wall. Miraculously, he was not dead. Such was his fabled luck. Yet he had no idea where this place was. Why had he ended up here? The question echoed in his silent mind. Instinctively, he tried to swing his arm to push aside the darkness before his eyes. Yet the moment he exerted force, disbelief washed over him. He could not summon any strength, and his body refused to obey. A horrifying thought crept into his mind. Could he have become a vegetable? How was that conceivable? He had merely been struck on the back of the head by a stone no bigger than his own skull. How could a single blow reduce him to a vegetable? As he carefully examined his body, he realized he could sense his limbs, but could not command them, nor could he produce even a single sound. The horrifying truth sank in. He truly was a vegetable. Panic overwhelmed him as he desperately called out for help, but no sound emerged. After struggling in vain for a time, he finally surrendered to exhaustion. He reflected on his fortunate, yet tragic life. In 2050, during his middle school years, a colossal meteorite fell from the sky, black on the outside, yet crystal clear within like flawless quartz. The nations discovered it and shattered it into countless fragments with missiles which scattered across the globe. Within days, a strange gas permeated the atmosphere. Animals and plants absorbed this gas and underwent horrifying mutations. Gentle creatures bared their fangs at humanity. Countless people perished. Armies were deployed to suppress the beasts, and bullets easily killed them in the cities, driving them into the forests. But in the deep forests, massive predators had evolved to withstand gunfire. The nations, each harboring their own schemes, never committed their full forces. Within months, the forests became the beast's paradise and humanity's forbidden zone, and not only forests, deserts and oceans. I was an orphan. During the Great Exodus, I fled to the South China Bay City. Upon arrival, the inner city was already full, so I was assigned a humble little shack in the outer city. Simple as it was, it became the first home I ever had in my life. In the years that followed, I worked odd jobs and scrimped on every meal, eventually earning my way into Longhua High School, newly established within the South China Bay City. Back then, I firmly believed that knowledge could change my fate, so I studied with everything I had. In the end, I graduated with perfect scores in the liberal arts, and my martial arts chi and blood value had just broken through to the level of a stage 1 warrior. I was preparing to enter the inner city when I ran into my old nemesis from middle school, Duan Hao. Well, look who it is. Isn't this Lin, the top student class president from middle school? It's been years. I almost thought you were dead. Well, you're trying to enter the inner city. Lin shot back. Duan Hao, I didn't expect you to still be alive either. Whether I enter the inner city or not is none of your business. I can't be bothered with your pathetic affairs. But after all these years, your mouth is still as foul as ever. You didn't have to say it. I already knew you wanted to get into the inner city. Men, throw this trash back to the outer city slum, where he belongs. At that moment, 2 bodyguards radiating thick chi and blood stepped out from beside Duan Hao. As they were about to strike, Lin's eyes flashed coldly, and he barked in a low voice. How dare you? I am also a stage 1 warrior now. I won't be pushed around by you. Duan Hao burst into laughter, his face brimming with arrogance. A stage 1 warrior. In my eyes, he's nothing but an ant. The 2 bodyguards behind him erupted their chi and blood, revealing stage 2 power. Damn it, stage 2 warriors? Duan Hao himself hasn't even reached stage 1. How could he possibly have 2 stage 2 warriors as bodyguards? But Lin forced himself to snort coldly. Just 2 stage 2 warriors. Let me show you my true power. Take this, the 36 stratagems best move retreat. In the blink of an eye, Lin had already fled beyond the inner city's boundaries. Duan Hao stood in place with a look of utter contempt. Didn't expect Lin to run that fast. You two forget it. Don't chase him. No need to lower ourselves arguing with that kind of trash. Spread the word. Riffraff like him don't deserve to enter the inner city. Only later did I learn that Duan Hao's father was a minor supervisor from a noble family in the inner city. Sigh. For a powerless nobody like me now, Lin could only curse in his heart. Damn Duan Hao. If it weren't for the breeding district backing him, I'd have beaten him long ago. He eats more than a pig, runs faster than a dog. Worse than pigs and dogs. If he didn't have a rich daddy, I would have. Note the breeding district is a place specifically for raising chickens, ducks, and geese. Sigh, I can only go find some work. Later, relying on my stage 1 warrior status, I successfully got a job repairing the city walls. And then, well, here we are now. A brick fell from the city wall and hit me on the head. Now I've become a vegetable. Thinking about my glorious life. Sigh, I also wanted to become a powerful warrior surrounded by beauties, living free and at ease in this apocalypse. Just as Lin was filled with unwillingness, he suddenly heard a cracking sound by his ear, as if something was breaking out of a shell. Curious, Lin tried to tilt his ear to listen. From outside came several pew-pew-pew sounds. What is this sound? Why does it sound so strange? Like the sound of a laser gun. More and more cracking sounds came, and it seemed something had crawled onto the top of LV Lin's head. Wait, what exactly is going on? Just then the pitch-dark world was pierced with a hole by a finger that looked like a talon. LV Lin's inner self jolted, and he began to struggle desperately. With a crisp crack, what's happening? Why am I inside an egg? Looking behind, the owner of that claw was right beside me. It was actually a crocodile. Where the hell did they bring me? They brought me to a crocodile's nest. Wait, no, that's not right. Where are my hands? Why have they turned into claws? And why is there a tail, eh? Looking around, he realized every single creature nearby was a newly hatched baby crocodile. Even the densest person would have figured it out by now. LV Lin had been reborn as a newly hatched baby crocodile. Sigh, I never thought I'd become a crocodile. Am I reborn or transmigrated? Liu Lin was a top student with perfect scores in humanities, having read countless extracurricular books and novels. As a veteran bookworm for 3 years in middle school, I immediately knew this was a transmigration. Transmigration must come with its essential perks. Hee come out now, system daddy. Why isn't the system coming out? Could it require a special binding method? Watch my move. Divine dragon wags its tail. With all 4 limbs up, clearly, I'm no ordinary crocodile. Come out now, golden finger. Liu Lin thus stood upside down with all 4 limbs up for a while. Hey, still no response. Could it be? It needs another activation method. Liu Lin turned to look at the crocodile brother beside him, opened his mouth apologetically, then suddenly realized. What am I about to do? Could I really be about to kill my crocodile brother in this life? Liu Lin, you can't do that. You're a human. Oh no, calm down first. This sudden transmigration is a bit unsettling to have such thoughts. But before he could calm down, an accident occurred. Hey, wait, something's wrong. Why are the clods of earth falling from above? Is it going to collapse? Quick, hide back in the eggshell. After a while inside the eggshell, Liu Lin thought anxiously, heaven bless me, heaven bless me. I just transmigrated, I don't want to die. Hey, why do I feel like I'm moving? Liu Lin stretched his head to look. This is, wow, a huge crocodile. Looking at its size, over 3 meters long. It must be the largest extant crocodile before the mutation, the saltwater crocodile. I'm in its mouth. It seems I might be its offspring, a baby of this female saltwater crocodile. Although crocodiles are cold-blooded, few know that they are very protective of their young. Generally, female saltwater crocodiles can care for their young for over a year or 2, then release them when they are capable of survival. Well, this is not bad. At least it's better than being a beast of burden for those scumbags in the inner city when I was human. Especially since saltwater crocodiles are at the top of the food chain. An adult male can grow to 6 or 7 meters in. But his short legs seemed uncooperative, causing him to swim crookedly. His siblings, however, seemed like natural swimmers, gliding through the water with ease. Just as he was feeling frustrated, a sudden current washed over him. It was the crocodile mother guiding the water to teach them how to adapt. Liu Lin gritted his teeth, focused on feeling the flow of water, and gradually found a rhythm. Oomph. Swimming is nothing. Easy peasy. Oh, there's a little red carp here. Just born, haven't eaten anything. Let's see if I can activate the golden finger. Little red carp, where do you think you're going? Here I come. Wait, no, this little red carp swims so fast. After a while, oh my god, I'm exhausted. I don't believe I can't catch even a small fish. In no time. Oh no, I really can't catch it. This little thing is too agile. Just as Liu Lin was dejectedly standing still, the crocodile mother slowly swam over and stayed motionless beside him. Then several small fish approached curiously. The crocodile mother quickly snapped her jaws, and a few fish disappeared into her mouth. Liu Lin's eyes lit up. He imitated the crocodile mother, found a spot with many small fish, and stayed still, waiting for them to approach. When they came close, Liu Lin seized the opportunity and bit a small fish. I caught one. Although I didn't get that little red carp, I still gained something. Let me eat it, and see if I can awaken the golden finger. The taste is not bad. Let me see if I have a golden finger. Come out, golden finger. I don't ask for much. Just give me the ability to grow stronger by devouring. Come out, golden finger, golden finger. Could it be? No way. I transmigrate, have no system, not even a golden finger. At this moment, background music began to play. Liu Lin could only shout into the air, no. In the end, Liu Lin had to give up hope. Sigh, if it's gone, it's gone. I'll just be a carefree young saltwater crocodile. After all, saltwater crocodiles can live up to over 120 years. Liu Lin's mood had lifted somewhat. I'd better find something to eat. One small fish isn't enough to fill my stomach. He casually found a spot teeming with fish, and settled in, muttering to himself. Little fishies, come right into my mouth. While Liu Lin lay in ambush waiting for prey not far away, a pair of large eyes had locked onto him. Just as Liu Lin snapped his jaws around a small fish's head, a dark shadow darted forward at high speed. Liu Lin reacted swiftly, but he was a fraction too late. Shocked, he watched in dismay as that shadow grabbed the fish by its tail. Liu Lin widened his eyes. Oh, it's just Brother Croc. You nearly gave me a heart attack. I thought it was some monster. Hey, what are you doing? This is my fish. Let go right now. Just then a massive pointed beak suddenly emerged from the water's surface and snatched Brother Croc into its mouth. Liu Lin was horrified. What kind of creature is that? So fierce. Before he could think further, Liu Lin frantically dove toward the riverbed, hoping to find a hiding place. But the enormous beak pursued relentlessly. Suddenly Lu Lin felt a current ripple around him and sensed a familiar aura. He looked up and cried out joyfully, "Mother Croc, I'm over here. Please save me." Mother Croc spotted Lu Lin and sped toward him at once. Sensing danger, the beaked creature promptly fled. Back in the river, Lu Lin had already reached Mother Croc's side. Trembling, he said, "Phew, if not for Mother Croc, I'd have been swallowed whole, just like Brother Croc. But I should find out exactly what that thing was daring to prey on me." Speaking of which, Lu Lin turned to look behind him. No way. White feathers, long legs, and that enormous pointed beak. Could that be a heron, a natural predator of young crocodiles? Herons actually roam this area. I'm done for. From now on, I'll stick close to Mother Croc and never venture far again. 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Protected by Mother Croc, Lu Lin had grown to 39 centimeters, a remarkably astonishing growth rate. Lu Lin wasn't sure why, but he guessed it was due to eating well. Moreover, Lu Lin discovered that of the dozens of crocodile hatchlings that had closed at the same time, only 3 remained at Mother Croc's side, and they had barely reached 30 centimeters. Sigh, over 10 brothers, and now only 4 of us remain. Although crocodiles sit atop the food chain, as adults, young crocodiles are at the very bottom. During these 3 months, 4 of his over 10 brothers had been snatched away in a single bite by a heron. 2 more, careless and playful, had strayed from Mother Croc's side and been devoured by a large fish. The rest perished in various ways. Some even crawled onto land and were caught by monkeys. Sigh, being a crocodile isn't easy after all. I just hope I grow up quickly. Time flew, and in the blink of an eye, another year passed. By then, Lu Lin had grown to 76 centimeters in length, fully independent and capable of hunting small animals and a wide variety of medium-sized fish. He occasionally teased himself, growing up really is great. With my current size, a heron can't touch me anymore. It's also about time I bid farewell to Mother Croc. To be honest, I'm rather reluctant to leave. We've lived together for over a year now, and I've grown attached." But that very night, Mother Croc swam out of the nest alone and never returned. Lu Lin still felt a pang of reluctance. Normally, a mother crocodile will guard her young for over a year before driving them away. But Mother Croc was different. She left behind the nest she had built for us, or rather for me. After Mother Croc left, I drove my 2 good-for-nothing brothers out of home. Besides me, who possesses human-like emotions, the other 2 brothers were pure crocodiles through and through. If they were strong enough, they would surely have driven me out. After all, saltwater crocodiles are solitary creatures. They only gather together during large-scale migrations along the same river system. Alas, the days of being a lone crocodile are truly delightful, save for a slight lack of purpose. More than a month had passed since Crocodile Mother departed alone, and Lu Lin had grown from 76 centimeters to 83 centimeters. Though his size was still modest in this small river, he could already do as he pleased. His days were spent either eating or sleeping, and upon waking he would chase after the little red carp. Yet on this very day, the tranquil surface of the river suddenly echoed with a clamor. Lu Lin swam curiously toward the riverbank, poked his head out, and saw. It's a group of humans. Why are humans here? At the forefront was a man holding a gun. Lu Lin's heart jolted, and he quickly retreated into the river. Looking back, the group seemed to be searching for something, scouring the riverbank incessantly. Several among the group shouted loudly, "Boss, this hunt has been a great success. Not only did we kill an adult brown bear, but we also caught 2 cubs. When we return to the country, we'll surely fetch a higher price from Boss Gal." Don't celebrate too soon. Don't forget our main purpose in coming to Australia is to catch the largest living crocodile, the saltwater crocodile. I wonder what Boss Gal is thinking, fancying such cold-blooded creatures. If the price weren't so high, I wouldn't bother with this. "Oh boss, what's there to fear? These scaly beasts just need a couple more bullets," the poacher leader replied. "You think you'll fire 2 bullets? This time we need to capture it alive. If you injure it even a little, I'll hold you accountable." Alright, I get it, boss. I'll go easy on it." I think it's the crocodile that should go easy and not eat you." Overhearing their conversation, Lu Lin instantly sensed the threat. No way, there are poachers here, and they're specifically after saltwater crocodiles. I can't stay in this place anymore. Lu Lin swam swiftly while contemplating a countermeasure, knowing that with his current strength a direct confrontation was out of the question. Suddenly an idea struck him. I can hide near the coast. This small river is a branch leading to the sea. I once followed a sea turtle there and discovered it. Though it's dangerous, it's better than humans. Yes, I'll do that. After half a day of travel, he was about to reach the coast when he found it already encircled by a large net. What is this? Why is there a net here? A human shouted from afar. Damn it, big brother, come quick. We caught a small one here. Haha, I knew saltwater crocodiles treat fresh and saltwater the same. They must be trying to enter the sea to hunt. Though it's not an adult, it's still a gang. Hold it down and tape its mouth shut. Damn it, I didn't expect these poachers to be so despicable, The poacher leader said with a sneer, "Whoever ties it up gets 200. A lackey immediately chimed in. "I'll do it. I'll do it." He crept cautiously toward Lu Lin, who sneered. "If you think you can catch me, take a bite." The poacher lackey easily dodged Lu Lin's attack, a bit startled. "What, you little saltwater croc dares to ambush me? Take a rifle, but then a tranquilizer dart. With my combo, nobody can withstand it." Lu Lin, hit by the tranquilizer dart, felt a dizzy spell and soon lost consciousness. After an unknown amount of time, he woke up groggily. Where is this? Why am I here? I remember now. Those despicable poachers locked me in a wooden crate. But a wooden crate thinks it can hold me. Watch me tear this broken crate to pieces. Crack crack. The wooden crate was shattered by Liu Lin in a few bites. He sneered. With this junk they thought they could trap me. They really underestimate a crocodile. But just as he was about to crawl out. What's this? There's another layer outside. Damn, an iron cage. I'm truly fed up. A bunch of heartless scum, social trash. A bunch of idiots. In the end, Liu Lin could only lament his fate inside the iron cage. Alas, my life is so miserable. In my previous life, I was crushed by a stone. In this life, I barely escaped being eaten by a heron. Now that I finally had a moment of freedom, I've been captured. Alas, how pitiful I am. Suddenly the iron cage shook, and two mocking voices came from beside him. Oh, this little saltwater crocodile actually chewed through the wooden boards inside. What a bite force, truly impressive. It's all your fault that he could bite through. You just gave him one tranquilizer dart, said it's fine, and didn't even tie his mouth. If anything goes wrong, the boss will definitely make you suffer. Who could have known? Those two little bears each got one tranquilizer dart, and they're still not awake yet. How can that be the same? Generally, crocodiles have high resistance, let alone this kind of saltwater crocodile. Even if it loses a limb in the water, though it won't grow back, it can still heal everywhere. Alright, I'll make sure to tie it properly next time. Let's hurry, take him to the boss and sell him quickly, so we brothers can have some fun. At the poacher boss's location, two men carried the box to him. Boss Gao, hang, this is what you wanted. We hope you've brought enough chips. Let me see the goods first. Boss Gao looked at the agitated little saltwater crocodile in the box, his eyes lighting up. Oh, this little guy looks spirited, but why is there a wound on his head? Then the price has to come down a bit. Boss Gao, you can't say that. This little saltwater crocodile is very precious. We went through a lot of trouble to catch it. You weren't this careful when you caught it. If anything goes wrong, I'll be at a loss buying it. Boss Gao crossed his arms, looking smug. The poacher henchman smiled ingratiatingly and said, Boss Gao, look, although this little saltwater crocodile has a head wound, it's full of wildness. Whether you buy it for viewing or for fighting, it's top-notch. And we also have two little bears originally planned to sell to someone else at a high price, but now we're offering them to you cheaply. With that, he pulled over the cage containing the little bears. Boss Gao looked at the bears, squinting as he appraised them. These little bears aren't bad, but the wound on the saltwater crocodile. The poacher henchman quickly said, Boss Gao, we can give you a 10% discount, and also throw in some food that saltwater crocodiles like, guaranteed to be lively and vigorous when delivered to your mansion. After hearing this, Boss Gao calculated in his mind, a satisfied smile appearing on his face. Alright, seeing your sincerity, deal. The poachers' faces immediately lit up with smiles as they hurriedly loaded the little saltwater crocodile and bears into the car. Boss Gao left with the spoils contentedly. The poachers watched the departing car excitedly, discussing the money they were about to receive. Boss Gao, driving, glanced at Liu Lin and couldn't help but praise, my little treasure, you really do look adorable. Finally, I've got you. But those guys are really rough. There's a mark on your head. It's fine from now on, just follow me, and I'll raise you to be big and plump. Time passed, and Boss Gao drove to a large estate. We're home. You two carefully carry my little treasure out of the car. If you dare drop him, you'll lose this month's salary. Yes, boss, we'll be careful. Oh, and there are two stupid bears inside, carry them out too. Send them all to the breeding A. As the two servants carried him, Liu Lin, through the crack he had bitten open earlier, observed that after entering the estate, they kept heading south until they opened a door made entirely of iron. After entering, he thought to himself, this place doesn't look like a kitchen. They didn't buy me to eat then. Thank goodness. Wait, there are iron bars everywhere. He looked more closely into the first enclosure. Inside was a Siberian tiger. No way, he muttered in disbelief. A national first-class protected animal right here. He continued walking deeper in. Lions, jaguars, Asian black bears, mountain lions, anacondas, and even a Komodo dragon. What is he planning? With my saltwater crocodile body and those two brown bears added in, aside from polar bears up in the Arctic, this collection basically covers most of the world's fiercest land carnivores. At least we're still alive for now, he reasoned. Whatever he has in mind, I'll deal with it when the time comes. At that moment, two servants stopped before a massive cage and opened the outer iron door. They placed the wooden crate, trapping him inside, removed the outer iron bars, leaving only the inner wooden structure, and quickly retreated toward the cell exit. Liu Lin charged forward and burst out of the crate, but when he turned to look at the two servants, they were already 10 meters away. Did I really run that fast? They must have done this kind of work all the time before. He surveyed his new surroundings. Not bad. There's even a sign above the iron door that says Crocodile Park. What a cheesy name. But there are mountains and water. It's just a bit cramped. As long as I'm alive. Yes, Boss Gao. After a short while, the doctor spoke up. We've finished the examination, Boss Gao. This juvenile saltwater crocodile is very healthy. More remarkably, based on its skeletal structure, it has only been born for a little over a year, yet it has already reached 84 centimeters in length. That is truly astonishing. For a normal saltwater crocodile of the same age, 60 to 70 centimeters would be considered excellent growth. Huh. Boss Gao laughed delightedly. as expected of my precious baby, growing strong and sturdy. He turned to the servant beside him and ordered, from now on, add an extra meal for my crocodile every day. Yes, boss. 2 hours later, Lu Lin slowly regained consciousness. Looks like I haven't died yet. Another false alarm. What's that smell? Ah, they've brought me another plate of meat again. Well, no point letting it go to waste. Might as well eat it first. Even if they want me dead, there's nothing I can do about it anyway. Over the next year, Lu Lin's life consisted of little more than eating and sleeping, a true lying-flat existence. Occasionally he was still sedated for health checks, but he had long grown accustomed to it. His body length had grown from the original 80-something centimeters to a full 1.5 meters. Sigh, another day of lying flat, the same routine, every day. How boring. Suddenly a plate of meat dropped onto the cage. Ah, so today's first meal has arrived. While LV Lin was eating, a familiar voice came from above. My little bay crocodile baby, your appetite is still so good. Sigh, if you weren't still so young, I would definitely win the championship at this year's Fierce Beast competition. Never mind, my little baby is only 2 years old. After watching for a while, a servant walked over and said to Boss Gao, Boss, Manager Zhang and Manager Song have arrived. Boss Gao replied, already here. Alright, go welcome them. Yes, boss. A moment later, a voice echoed from afar. Lao Gao, what brings us together this time? You haven't set your eyes on some animal again, have you? I won't sell to you. Sai Lao Song, what are you talking about? I invited you both brothers here today to discuss the Fierce Beast competition. What is there to discuss? It's just watching a few beasts fight. This time I'm still sending out my brown bear. Let's see how many can defeat me. And Lao Gao, don't tell me you called us here just to let us go easy on you. If it weren't for my black caiman being constricted to death by Wang Fuqiang's python last year, I wouldn't even call you brother and let you act so arrogant. You old man Zhang, oh you tall stick Gao, aren't you just relying on that Siberian tiger now? Can that even be shown off? Watch out, or my brown bear will eat your Siberian tiger until only its skin remains. Wait, hold on, old man Zhang, am I giving you too much face? That lousy bear of yours, if my black caiman were here, it would bite you to death in 2 bites. Keep bragging, Lao Gunzi Gao. Oh you old man Zhang, you tall stick Gao, you old man Zhang, you tall stick Gao. Enough, stop arguing, how immature. You're both in your 40s and still running publicly listed companies, humph. Sai, I heard the prize this time should be unexplored land in Longjiang City. It's near the Yangtze River coast with great development value. That's probably why Lao Gao called us here to figure out who will get it. Yes, that's right. Last year the prize fell into that bastard Wang Fuqiang's hands. I heard a coal mine was discovered on that land. What a loss for us. Then what should we do this time? I think Wang Fuqiang, that bastard, will definitely bring out his trump card, the python. This time I'm preparing to go all out with my Siberian tiger, lion, and jaguar. And you too. Tall stick Gao, since you've gone this far, I'll have to send out my trump cards: 2 brown bear, American black bear, and a wild boar king weighing over 600 caddies that I recently acquired. No way, old man Zhang, 600 caddies. Where did you get something like that? That's none of your business. And don't lecture me. If I'm not mistaken, that crocodile you just got should be a bay crocodile, right? Haha, you have a good eye, old man Zhang. That's right, this is the bay crocodile I spent a fortune on. I originally wanted an adult one, but that's practically impossible. Bay crocodiles usually live in shallow marine waters or deep river areas. Besides, adult scales are too hard for tranquilizer darts to penetrate. How could I catch one? But I got incredibly lucky and caught a young crocodile that had just separated from its mother. And this bay crocodile of mine is no ordinary one. Take a look and guess how old it is. Manager Song seized the opportunity to chime in. Its body length suggests it should be 2 or 3 years old. Hee Lao Song, you guessed wrong. It's only just under 2 years and 1 month old. No way, looking at its length, it must be over 1.5 meters. When it grows up. Sai Lao Gao, you really are lucky. You two brothers have invested so heavily, so I won't play favorites. I recently acquired a pack of North American gray wolves, and this time I must win at all costs. Haha, then I'll thank you here. Anyway, as long as we don't let Wang Fuqiang succeed this time, that's fine. Let's go. The food and drinks are ready, and I've opened a bottle of my treasured wine. Let's go taste it together. Oh, Boss Gao is so generous. Let's go, let's go. Liu Lin watched their retreating figures and thought to himself, it seems these people are plotting something big. That mad beast gathering, that Wang Fuqiang, must be taken down. And that Longjiang, why does it sound so familiar? How can it be so similar to a district from my past life? Forget it, I'll just be cautious. A few days passed. Several trucks drove in and took away all the Northeast tigers, lions, and African leopards in a row. Alas, it seems they are in grave danger. They must be going to that so-called mad beast gathering. Time passed quickly. A week later, Liu Lin found that the Northeast tigers and the others had returned. However, the Northeast tiger's right claw was clearly injured and the American leopard's tail was broken. Most importantly, the lion did not return with them. It seems this place is not safe either. I have to find a way to escape. Easier said than done. Actually, escaping is as difficult as reaching the sky. First, I don't even know where this place belongs to. And even if I escape this cage, there are countless servants and surveillance outside. I'll have to wait for an opportunity. Time flew by and another year passed. In that year, Liu Lin's body length reached 2.4 meters and his weight reached 260 jin, about 130 kilograms. To the outside world, he was already a beast that could instantly kill an adult man. In fact, the growth rate of an estuarine crocodile is not that fast. For a normal estuarine crocodile after 3 years, it would only be about 1.6 to 1.7 meters. But Liu Lin was different. After 2 years of constant feeding, and with his human intelligence, he kept eating, leading to a faster metabolism and even faster growth. Compared to those wild estuarine crocodiles that could go a month without hunting after one meal, he was incomparable. But today, while Liu Lin was eating heavily, Boss Gao walked over again. My little crocodile baby has grown so big. You can tell he is gifted. Men, bring the gift I prepared for my baby. Liu L. This time they even brought me a live cicadere. Usually they do bring live animals, but only rabbits, chickens, and the like to train my wildness. Anyway, I'm not full yet. Haha, then I won't be polite. Let me taste the cicadere. As soon as the fawn was thrown down before it could react, a huge bloody mouth snapped at its head. With a crisp crack, the fawn became Liu Lin's meal. In the monitoring room, Boss Gao watched happily and said, my baby is so ferocious. This year's Mad Beast Gathering, I'll take you to see the world. Let them also see my treasure. A few days later, a truck stopped outside Liu Lin's cage. Just as Liu Lin was curious, a tranquilizer dart shot toward his back. Liu Lin reacted quickly, ducking low and rolling to dodge the dart. Humph, trying to sneak attack me again. After all these years and so many darts, do you really think I'm a 3-year-old little crocodile who doesn't know how to dodge? Humph. I mean, I should be an adult in my 20s now. Suddenly, another dart came from the corner and directly hit Liu Lin's back armor. Not another one. No martial ethics. Bullying a little crocodile who is just barely 3 years old. When he awoke, Liu Lin found himself in the back of a truck. Wait, where are they taking me? Frustrated, he thought, no, I can't just resign myself to this. A mere truck compartment. Watch my crocodile tail whip, iron head ram, and serrated bite. Ouch, no, it's too hard. Exhausted, I've only managed to scratch a tiny hole the size of a fingernail with my teeth. Peering through the gap, he saw a city sign, Longjiang City. Longjiang City. Where is that? It sounded familiar. The vehicle drove on, and soon he heard the sound of flowing water. Looking out, he saw a great river. A river in this city. I need to find an opportunity. Within 2 hours, the truck stopped. Liu Lin prepared himself inside the compartment to bolt as soon as the door opened. His plan: head south toward the river, dive in, and gain freedom. The door slowly opened. Freedom is right before me, he shouted, charging out. But instead of a crowd, he saw a large cage. He crashed into it headfirst, and before he could turn, the cage snapped shut. Damn it. I forgot that large animals are usually transferred with cages attached to the truck. The compartment itself didn't have one, but the cage was connected to the rear door. What rotten luck. Onlookers laughed. Look at this crocodile, so stupid. It just charged right out. Most animals step out cautiously, but this one bolted. What a sight. It's just a beast, what does it know? Hurry up, let's get this crocodile to its destination. It's not for the competition, we need to deliver it. More animals are coming. 2 men used hooks to pull the cage, which had small wheels, easily moving Liu Lin's 200-pound body toward a magnificent castle's rear entrance. They entered an elevator, pressed the 3rd floor, and soon arrived. Liu Lin was pulled into a private room. All my little treasure is finally here. I've been hungry for ages. You look thin. Bring me a whole lamb. Raw, not cooked. Yes, sir, said a man. Liu Lin, bewildered by the opulent room, had no idea what was happening. He waited quietly. Soon a cleaned, gutted lamb was brought in. Liu Lin thought, what is he doing? Is this my new dining spot? Well, I haven't had lamb in a while. Let's eat first. Mr. Gao watched with a smile. My treasure has such a good appetite. I'll show you a grand spectacle later. In 2 years, you'll be better than them. After a while, a screen in front of Liu Lin lit up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first match of the Wild Beast Tournament's Longjiang City Regional Finals. First up, Mr. Lu's Lion King with 3 wins and 1 loss versus Mr. Song's Spotted Hyena Pack with 1 win and 0 losses. Liu Lin gnawed on the lamb, watching the match with curiosity. On the field, the Lion King was majestic, its mane flowing in the wind, while the hyenas, many in number, glared fiercely. The battle was about to begin. The battle began. The Lion King lunged at the pack of spotted hyenas like lightning, yet these cunning adversaries did not meet him head-on. They deftly dodged his attacks, ceaselessly seeking opportunities to counterstrike. Suddenly, a spotted hyena, catching the Lion King off guard, dashed forward and bit fiercely into his hind leg. The Lion King roared in fury, spun around, and struck back with a single claw, sending the hyena flying. But at that moment, the other hyenas seized the opportunity to surround and attack him. The Lion King found himself in a predicament. He fought valiantly, but the spotted hyenas were far too numerous. Just then, another spotted hyena stealthily circled behind the Lion King and, employing a technique of abdominal assault, delivered a fatal blow. The Lion King let out a long roar and collapsed in agony. This round, the spotted hyenas win. Liu Lin, puzzled, remarked, no way is this Lion King so pathetic. Just 5 spotted hyenas, and they took down the Lion King in a few minutes. Especially that injured hyena. It was clearly swatted away with a claw with 4 terrifying claw marks on its right belly, yet it kept attacking, as if nothing happened. That defies logic. Spotted hyenas are such cowardly, treacherous creatures. At that moment the Lion King's owner suddenly stood up and shouted angrily, "I protest. He's cheating. He must have used rage liquid on his hyenas." Objection overruled. Under this year's new rules, the use of rage liquid, rage injections, and other stimulants that provoke ferocity is allowed. Even the new rules permit biological modifications and such. Damn it. My Lion King. Just you wait, Song. I'll get my revenge sooner or later. On the third floor, Lao Song, not bad. You won the first round effortlessly. That stupid lion thought it could fight my hyenas. It was practically suicide. I have to say your hyenas injected with rage liquid are truly formidable. Of course, I bought this rage liquid at a high price. I heard Lao Zhang also bought a batch of rage liquid. Don't say I'm not looking out for you. I have a source. If you want it, I can get as much as you need. Oh, no need. I've already bought rage liquid. It's fine for the Siberian tigers, and so on. Besides, after injection they won't live long. I'm not willing to let my little darling use that stuff. What's more, I've prepared something even better for my little darling. Oh, what is it? I can't tell you that. Anyway, you'll find out in the end. I'll keep your secret. After a while the host stepped onto the stage again. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the contestants for the second round, Mr. Wang's giant anaconda and Mr. Li's Nile crocodile. Hearing the mention of the Nile crocodile, Liu Lin turned his gaze. He saw a massive anaconda stretching an astonishing 8 meters coiled to one side, while in front of it lay a 5-meter-long Nile crocodile. The gong sounded, signaling the start of the match. The Nile crocodile attacked first, opening its enormous jaws and lunging at the anaconda with incredible speed. The anaconda, however, was unfazed. It twisted its body nimbly and dodged. The Nile crocodile then swung its powerful tail in a sweeping strike, but the anaconda quickly coiled around a nearby pillar, evading once again. After several rounds, the Nile crocodile grew visibly impatient. Seizing the moment, the anaconda shot forward and wrapped itself around the crocodile's limbs. The Nile crocodile struggled, trying to bite the anaconda with its sharp teeth, but the anaconda tightened its grip. As time passed, the crocodile gradually weakened. The anaconda increased its constriction, making it harder and harder for the crocodile to breathe. Eventually, the Nile crocodile ceased its struggles, completely strangled by the anaconda. The victorious anaconda released the crocodile's corpse and raised its head high. The audience erupted in exclamations. Wang Fuqiang wore a look of smug satisfaction while Mr. Li's face was filled with regret, lamenting that he hadn't equipped his Nile crocodile with more powerful enhancements. The host walked onto the stage and announced the result. The second round, anaconda wins. Damn it. Damn it. Wang Fuqiang, that bastard, his anaconda has grown even stronger, and this time it has already reached a length of 8 meters. It seems we need to prepare in advance. Someone administer the frenzy serum I recently purchased to the Siberian tiger when it enters the arena. Yes, boss. Now we can only rely on the Siberian tiger. Can it make this match a draw? Sirs and ladies, welcome back. Please welcome our third competitors, Mr. Zhang's brown bear and Mr. Lin's mountain lion. As the referee gave the signal, the brown bear roared and charged at the mountain lion. The mountain lion, agile and swift, dodged left and right, using its speed to circle around the brown bear, occasionally swiping at it with its claws to provoke it into revealing an opening. Provoked into a fury, the brown bear suddenly reared up on its hind legs and swung its massive paw violently. The mountain lion failed to dodge in time and was struck on its side, sent flying several meters away. Before the mountain lion could regain its footing, the brown bear launched another pounce, pinning it beneath its body and opening its bloody maw to bite at its throat. After a few struggles, the mountain lion went still. Having won, the brown bear let out a long roar at the sky as if it held no creature in fear. Congratulations to our third match winner, the brown bear. Meanwhile, I've heard that your North American gray wolf pack is no ordinary group, so what? I haven't intended to reveal my North American gray wolf pack just yet. After all, showing them might not guarantee the championship. Besides, don't you still have a chance to compete? Upon hearing this, Boss Gao gave an awkward smile. Before he could say anything, the door of the private room was suddenly forced open with violence. Hey, what are you two doing over here? Did you see that? Isn't my brown bear magnificent? It killed that fellow in just 2 moves. Are you kidding me? It's because the opponent is too weak, okay? If my Siberian tiger had gone up, it would have taken him down in an instant. Stop boasting so much, Gao Gunzi. With one slap from my brown bear, your Siberian tiger would be sent flying off. Old man Zhang wants to argue again, does he? Am I afraid of you? Stop, you two. Let's not quarrel. The next match is about to begin. Focus on watching the competition. For the remaining matches, LV Lin paid no attention. As someone with human memories and a year of wilderness survival experience, he found their bloodthirsty, brutal fights meaningless, merely catering to the perverted, sanguinary desires of the wealthy spectators in the viewing stands. Days slipped by quickly. During these days, LV Lin watched countless life and death struggles. His greatest gain was learning the attack patterns of such large carnivores. Although their methods were straightforward, hidden lethal dangers lurked everywhere. A moment of carelessness would invite fatal injury. But on that day, please welcome our first competitors today, Mr. Gao's jaguar and Mr. Zhang's North American black bear. As the referee signaled to start, the jaguar shot out like a bolt of lightning, lunging directly at the North American black bear. Despite its massive size, the black bear was not slow but sidestepped and countered with a swipe. The jaguar forcefully twisted its body midair to evade the blow, then launched another attack. After several rounds, the jaguar seized an opportunity and bit down on the black bear's back. Painfully, the black bear thrashed its body violently, hurling the jaguar hard against the fence. Though seriously injured, the jaguar quickly recovered its composure. Seizing the moment when the black bear drew near, it raked its sharp claws fiercely at the bear's eyes. The North American black bear roared in retaliation, delivering a heavy swipe that slashed the jaguar's right leg. Both combatants were left badly wounded. After careful observation, the referee declared the match a draw. I didn't expect, old Zhang, that your black bear is so tough. Even with one eye blind, it still managed to seriously injure my jaguar. There are many things you haven't expected. Well, many things then. Let's go. There are no more matches today. How about we grab a drink? Alright, since you Gao Gunzi invited me for a drink, I'll have a few for the sake of winning today. You bastard, I invite you to drink, and you claim you won. It was clearly my win, okay? As they spoke, the group walked out of the private room together. Lu Lin was also taken to the corresponding room. The next day, the referee was already on the field announcing the match order. Ladies and gentlemen, because the last match yesterday was declared a draw, one of the remaining 9 contestants will get a bye and advance directly. So after discussion, we came up with a new method, drawing lots to determine the match order. Whoever draws the long white stick gets a bye. The rest draw colored sticks, and each color corresponds to an opponent of the same color. Alright, please come up and draw. Several people stepped forward. Oh, this new idea is good. Let me try first. Boss Gao reached into a box and pulled out a long stick. Not this one. Haha, you really got a green one, Gao Gunzi. That color suits you. Let me do it. Give me white, white, white. Ah, yellow. TCH, I thought you had good luck. My green is ugly, but my opponent only has a lynx left. Look at you. Your opponent is that little fat guy. He still has a Nile crocodile and a leopard. With your heavy pig-like animals, you better be careful. What? Gao Gunzi, what's wrong? Fat pig, what's wrong? I only have a wild boar. With those 2 animals of his, my wild boar king can handle them alone. Boss Gao heard this and couldn't be bothered to respond. He directly turned to Boss Song on the other side and said, by the way, old Song, what did you draw? I got a bot. What? No way. Old Song, your luck is enviable. We don't have that luck. Let's just watch the first match between these 2. After everyone drew lots, the referee stepped up and announced, following the drawing, congratulations to Mr. Song for getting a bye. Now the first match of today officially begins. They are Mr. Lu's Burmese python and Mr. Yan's Bengal tiger. With the referee's command, the Burmese python attacked first, its massive body charging at the Bengal tiger like a black lightning bolt. The Bengal tiger did not show weakness, roaring and baring its sharp claws as it pounced on the Burmese python. For a moment, dust flew in the arena, and the audience held their breath in tension. The Burmese python tightly coiled around the Bengal tiger, trying to constrict it with tremendous force. But the Bengal tiger struggled continuously, sinking its sharp teeth into the python's body, spattering blood. Neither side gave way, and gradually their stamina drained. The python's grip loosened, and the tiger's bites became slower. Finally, they both collapsed to the ground, too exhausted to continue fighting. What a fierce and bloody battle, but it was a pity that both sides had no strength left to fight, and the remaining matches had to be forfeited. Watching from above, Lu Lin also felt regret. Through these matches, from the initial boredom to learning from the opponent's fights, he now itched to experience such a thrilling battle himself. After all, Lu Lin was also a beast at heart. His wild nature could not be suppressed, only restrained by his human will. But after days of being drawn to the bloodshed, his animal instincts had become uncontrollable. Lu Lin shouted in his cage, "Damn it, it's so uncomfortable, this broken iron cage." With a clang, he began to slam against the cage. With one hard push, he bent aside of the cage, and due to the excessive force, a few drops of blood dripped from his head. The pain brought him back to his senses. What's happening to me? Just now I felt out of control, only thinking about breaking the cage and going on a rampage. Boss Gao heard the noise and hurried over. Oh, my little darling, what's wrong with you? Why are you hitting the cage for no reason? Are you hungry? Someone bring a live sheep. Oh, you hit your head so hard it's bleeding. Someone call the vet to treat it. Yes, boss. Lu Lin felt only a fierce venting rage surging within him now. Though he had been injured just moments ago, it was only his fleeting reason that had held him back. Even now, the lingering metallic scent of blood in the air threatened to overwhelm his control. Just then, a live sheep suddenly dropped from the cage above. The moment Lu Lin saw it, his restraint shattered. He lunged upward and bit down, without hesitation, crushing the sheep's skull in an instant. But this time he did not devour it outright. After tearing it apart piece by piece, rendering its once intact body into fragments, he finally swallowed it whole, and only then did the raging fury within him subside somewhat. A short while later, 2 medics arrived to examine Lu Lin. Finding no serious injuries, they simply applied some antiseptic, gave it a quick wipe, and left. At that moment, the announcer's voice echoed through the arena. The next round of matches will continue. Second round, the Siberian Tiger emerges Vic. The top 4 have now been decided. The upcoming matches will crown the champion. Since this is a semi-final round and last year no champion was crowned in Longjiang City, whoever claims victory in the remaining matches will be granted the development rights to Longjiang's untouched territories. Upon hearing this, Boss Gao, watching from his private suite on the third floor, sighed deeply. Sigh. I am after all the chairman of the Gao Group. If not for the development rights to Longjiang City, who in their right mind would participate in such a tedious competition? Enough, old Gao, keep your voice down. This ridiculous Mad Beast tournament was organized by those young masters from the capital. In their eyes, we are nothing more than toys for their entertainment. Sigh. What else can people like us do? Those with no powerful connections who built everything from scratch through sheer hard work. Those commoners wouldn't dare to keep animals like these, protected species under national law, and barely afford even an ordinary dog. Enough talking. Be careful, there may be ears behind the walls. The next match should be between us two. I'll just forfeit. Alright, then let's team up against Wang Fugua together. That bastard Wang Fugua. If he hadn't somehow curried favor with some mysterious wealthy youth, I would have dealt with him long ago. I've told you both to keep it down. This is merely a pastime for those high above. Now let us welcome the competitors of the fifth match. Representing Mr. Gao is his Siberian tiger, and... Wait, we have just received a new announcement. Mr. Song has voluntarily forfeited. Mr. Gao advances directly. What astonishing news. Very well, the sixth match will feature Mr. Wang's anaconda against Mr. Zhang's brown bear. A short while later, the anaconda and the brown bear entered the arena, facing each other warily. The brown bear struck first, its massive paw swiping powerfully at the anaconda. The anaconda flexibly twisted its body to dodge, then gaped its fearsome jaws and bit toward the brown bear's left flank. Roaring in pain, the brown bear broke free with great force and pounced, wrapping its body around the anaconda. The anaconda quickly reacted, coiling tightly around the brown bear's body to constrict. Agonizing pain seared through the brown bear's waist as it bit down Terran. When the brown bear prepared to strike again, it suddenly realized that its right paw, during the previous attack, had been wrapped tightly by the anaconda. Seizing the opportunity, the anaconda sank its fangs into the brown bear's left paw. Just as the brown bear attempted to evade, it suddenly lost its balance and collapsed to the ground, its four limbs ensnared firmly by the constricting coils of the anaconda. Just as the anaconda was about to deliver the killing blow. Assistant referee, I concede, but it was already too late. The anaconda struck at the brown bear's head, while its massive body continued to constrict with ruthless force. A crisp crack echoed through the arena as the bear's bones were brutally snapped, and its lifeless form went still. Very well, the winner of the sixth match is the anaconda. In the private box, Boss Zhang roared in fury, that wretched Wang Fugong. How dare he destroy my brown bear? Calm down, old Zhang, another man urged. That anaconda is already injured. Let my Amur tiger tear it apart alive, just wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the seventh and final match. Please join us in welcoming our competitor who has won every bout since 3 years ago, Mr. Wang and his two-time reigning champion Anaconda, as well as our perennial dark horse Mr. Gao and his undefeated Amur tiger. The two have been fierce rivals over the years, trading victories, including last year's Longjia. Just as the victor seemed certain to emerge, the anaconda suddenly went rigid, its eyes frozen, and collapsed lifelessly to the ground. The Amur tiger paused, confused, but quickly recovered its instincts and moved to deliver the killing bite. Before its fangs could descend, a sharp pain pierced its back, and it instantly collapsed into unconsciousness. Far away in a shadowy corner, LV Lin spotted a masked figure aiming a tranquilizer dart at the tiger's rear. Are you kidding me? Just when we're about to win, someone goes and sneaks in. What a disgraceful act. Nearby, Boss Gao was venting his fury by smashing everything within reach. Damn it, he was so close to being dead. I specifically dosed him with so much sedative, yet it took this long to kick in, he fumed. And that Wang Fugong, the bastard, actually had another trick up his sleeve. Old Gao, control yourself, another man cautioned. This likely wasn't Wang Fugong's doing. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, the cooked duck was right there, slipping through our fingers like this. This thing can only be handled flexibly. I've already called young Master Long. As long as he's willing to help us, we'll give him 60% of the revenue from the Longjiang City Development Zone. Well, old Song, I'm fine with it. 60% it is. Gao Gunzi, don't be so angry. Everyone just witnessed that, and certainly some will be dissatisfied. It won't be easy for them to legitimately claim this land, so let's just see how the referee rules in the end. What kind of lousy competition is this? This young master came here to watch them tear each other apart. Why did they suddenly stop? Exactly. The Northeast Tiger was about to win. Why did it stop? Fixed match, fixed match. Everyone please be quiet. After examining both sides' injuries, the final champion is. Both are declared co-champions. What do you mean co-champions? Are you kidding me? That anaconda is in such a state, and they're still co-champions. Exactly. The Northeast Tiger at most suffered severe injuries. How can there be co-champions? Fold Gao, I told you so. In front of all these people, you still wanted to share Longjiang City's resources equally with us. Impossible. Everyone please be quiet. Just now, after consultation between our organizers and the referees, this match has been declared a draw, marking the first time in history that a match ended in 2 draws. I told you so, old gal. A draw isn't bad. That anaconda of yours suffered severe injuries and may not recover within a year. As long as we hurry to capture more powerful animals, Longjiang City will surely be ours next year. Yeah, that's all we can do. Let's just hope his backers don't cause any more trouble. Then I'll head out first. I need to check what powerful creatures exist around the world. Old gal, I'll be going too. I have business at the company. Since I held back my strength this time, there's no need to capture other animals. Lu Lin, who had been standing aside, overheard their conversation. It seems there will be another competition like this next year. If that's the case, I might actually have a chance to escape. At that moment, Boss Gao walked over. My little treasure, it looks like next year will depend on you. Lu Lin. Bro, even with all that constant feeding and growing, can I really grow to be 8 meters long like that anaconda in just 1 year? I'm still a juvenile crocodile, barely over 2 meters long. What am I supposed to do? Go charge in and offer myself as food. If I could only talk, I'd properly greet you with a few choice words. Sai will have to advance the timeline. Someone safely take my little treasure home. This time, don't send it back to the breeding area. Take it straight to the basement. Understood? Yes, boss. By the way, have the bodyguards increase their patrols. I'm going out for a while. Yes, boss. Wait, why am I being taken to the basement? I really can't figure it out. Being turned into a crocodile has made my brain too lazy to think. Never mind. I guess he doesn't seem like someone who wants to kill me. Just then that familiar feeling returned. Sai, no point running. I can't escape in this tiny space. There was a swift whoosh and Lu Lin passed out. When he woke up again, he was home. Wait, where exactly is this? This must be that basement. Wait, no. Why are my hands and feet tied up? What are you planning? You've been calling me little treasure for years, and now you're going to eat me. No, let me play for another couple of years. Keep feeding me a bit longer. I'm still too small, not much meat on me yet. Boss Gao, the item you wanted is already secured. It cost me several brothers to obtain. Regarding the price. Enough? Can you still concern yourselves with others, you desperados? Hey, Boss Gao, you shouldn't speak of them that way. They are my closest companions, my dear friends and family, my sworn brothers. So what do you propose? Fad more money. Very well, but let me inspect the goods first. All right, no problem. Bring it up for our Boss Gao to examine. This is the Gene Ascension agent, correct? It is the latest and final product from the Interstellar Research Institute, a joint venture between Long Nation and America. Internally, they have concluded that this substance cannot be applied to humans. There are certain side effects along with other potential applications still unexplored. They have deemed it a failure, making this the last of its kind. However, it does offer extraordinary benefits when used on animals. If not for internal complications on their end, we never would have acquired such a thing. Spare me the tales. How do I know whether this is genuine or counterfeit? Alas, does this mean you no longer trust us? After all, we are renowned international smugglers. Our merchandise has never deceived anyone. Fine, I shall trust you this one time. Speak, how much? Truly worthy of Boss Gao, such magnificent bearing. The price we previously settled upon was 250 million. Now 500 million will suffice. 500 million. 500 million. Why don't you simply rob people? Robbery is hardly as profitable as this. Let me ask you directly, Boss Gao, do you want it or not? If not, we shall sell it to someone else. Very well, I accept. The initial 250 million has already been transferred to your account. As for the remaining 250 million, I will collateralize certain properties and branch companies under my name. Agreed. Boss Gao, it is a pleasure doing business with you. Meanwhile, at Lu Lin's location. Sai, only 3 years have passed since I was reborn as a crocodile, and already I must return to my homeland. I wonder if this time brings another rebirth or complete annihilation. Sai, wait. Didn't he just tell me it would be my turn to face the anaconda next? Why am I the one bound? Ugh, I have already died once, yet I remain so deathly afraid. After a while, the sound of approaching footsteps echoed. Boss Gao walked up to Lu Lin. My little darling, are you ready? This Gene Ascension liquid cost me nearly half my fortune. Once injected, your growth rate will exceed 3 times the original, and various parts of your body will undergo different enhancements. This effect will persist until you reach your biological limit. However, I am truly sorry, my little darling. Its side effect roughly halves your lifespan, and other effects remain incompletely understood. But we must attempt every possible measure. What the hell? It all sounded so enticing at first. Why did lifespan reduction suddenly surface? I am only 3 years old. I should have over 100 years left to live. This directly halves it. Damn it, you useless stiff-limbed fools, break free quickly. But as long as I win next year's Longjiang City competition, I, Gao Hong, will join those privileged noble families who casually control the lives of others. Rest assured, even if your lifespan is halved, I will care for you until your natural end. Who asked you to raise me? You are the one who kidnapped me. Stay away from me. Let me go. No. After Lu Lin was injected with the Gene Ascension liquid, he fell unconscious. His body gradually began to undergo extraordinary changes. When he awakened again, 3 days had passed. Where am I? My head is spinning. Have they sent me back to that familiar iron cage? Right, I was injected with that so-called Gene Ascension liquid. Lu Lin suddenly gazed at his body. Left claw, right claw, hind legs, tail. Nothing appeared to have changed, and his body length remained the original 2+ meters. Wait. Something is wrong. I can barely exert any strength. This sensation. Lu Lin's eyes suddenly turned blood red, and like something had snapped, a rampant aura erupted from his entire body. Oh, I'm so hungry, so terribly hungry. A tremendous roar shook the entire breeding facility. Starving. Starving. I need meat, give me meat. Boss, something's wrong. The bay crocodile has gone berserk. What? My little darling, how could it go mad? Take me to see it at once. Lu Lin was now incessantly ramming the cage, his eyes filled with greed as he stared at the servants outside. My little darling, what's wrong with you, eh? Boss, be careful. Ever since it woke up, it's been like this. How could this happen? Wait, I know. My little darling hasn't eaten for 3 days. It must be hungry. What have you lot been doing? Hurry up and prepare food for my little darling. 3 times the usual amount. Yes, boss. Lu Lin kept slamming against the iron cage. Let me out. I'm so hungry, so hungry. With a loud clang, the sturdy iron cage was actually bent out of shape. Then a whiff of bloody scent wafted over. Lu Lin turned his head and saw his feeding trough filled with chunks of fresh raw meat. Without hesitation, he dashed toward the meat, took a huge bite, swallowed it, without even chewing, and in no time the entire tray of raw meat was completely gone. At that moment, Lu Lin regained his senses. That feeling, like I was fully conscious yet my limbs were completely out of control, feeling no pain, only an insatiable craving for flesh and blood. What's happening to me? Could this be the effect of the gene sublimation liquid? It's terrifying. If I hadn't just snapped out of it, I feel like I could have smashed through this entire iron cage. Another tray of raw meat was sent down. Seeing it, Lu Lin thought, I haven't eaten my fill yet. That gnawing hunger is worse than losing control. Better eat first. 1 tray, 2 trays, 3 trays. Boss, the bay crocodile has devoured 4 trays. Nearly over 100 gene of raw meat this feeding. Haha, worthy of my little darling. It's eaten 3 times its usual amount. This time I'm sure to turn the tide. In the following months, Lu Lin consumed nearly 100 gene of raw meat every meal. For a bay crocodile that had just grown to over 2 meters in length, digesting over 100 gene of food in a single day was utterly impossible. A 2-meter-long bay crocodile would need days, or even weeks to digest even 50 gene of food. Yet this extraordinary digestive efficiency brought Lu Lin unprecedented growth. For months after the injection of the gene sublimation, in the villa, boss, the North American gray wolf you purchased a few days ago has arrived. Alright, I see. You may leave now. My little darling, I never expected that in just 4 months you'd already grown to nearly 4 meters long. For the sake of our common future, let's train hard in the coming months. On another day of idling and waiting for death. Let's see what's on the menu today. Oh, not bad, antelope meat. Let's dig in, he said. Just as Lu Lin was eating, the door to the crocodile park was quietly opened. This antelope meat is really tender, but this long-legged monster is a hassle. I won't eat its head. Ooh, I'll just have the meat first. No, there's a sound. At that moment, a black shadow suddenly lunged toward Lu Lin's back. Lu Lin reacted instantly, using a move, Divine Crocodile Tail Whip, to send the shadow flying. Lu Lin looked closely and saw the shadow slowly stand up. What the hell, where did a gray wolf come from here? Wait, as a top student with perfect scores in liberal arts in my previous life, this is no ordinary gray wolf. It's a 9-meter-long elderly North American gray wolf. Judging by its scars, it must have been a formidable pack leader in its youth, later driven out by younger wolves. But how did it end up here? Lu Lin became alert. Although this old wolf appeared decrepit, its eyes were fierce. The North American gray wolf attacked again, moving with incredible speed, and bit Lu Lin's forelimb. Lu Lin, feeling pain, opened his huge mouth and bit toward the gray wolf. The gray wolf dodged nimbly and kept clawing at Lu Lin's back. Are you tickling me, old wolf? Lu Lin lunged forward, slamming the gray wolf away. Just as Lu Lin was about to finish it off, the gray wolf's eyes turned sharp, and it struck a claw toward Lu Lin's left eye. Lu Lin couldn't dodge in time, but fortunately closed his eyes just in time, leaving only 3 claw marks on his eyelid. The gray wolf seized the moment to quickly get up. Then the two exchanged blows, kicking up a cloud of dust around them. As the battle continued, the aging gray wolf gradually grew exhausted and slowed down. Lu Lin seized the opportunity, opening his massive jaws and biting the wolf's neck hard. The gray wolf struggled a few times and then went still. Lu Lin released his bite, wounded in many places. You old wolf, you still want to hurt your grandpa, you. With your tough meat, I can't even be bothered to eat it. It would get stuck in my teeth. Beside the cage above Lu Lin, a circular surveillance camera was monitoring his every move. Haha, my little darling, you killed that gray wolf with ease. Someone keep giving my little darling extra meals. Oh, and find some illegal hunters. I want to buy a few more for my little darling to practice on. This time don't get those old dying ones. Go get some ferocious medium-sized carnivores. Okay, boss. Wait, don't leave yet. Have you found out what I asked you to investigate? Oh, boss, I found out. According to the information sent by the mole we planted next to Wang Fuqiang last year, that anaconda of his has mostly recovered from its injuries. The mole also discovered that the anaconda seems to have undergone some unknown changes. Unknown changes. Any specific details? Not very specific. The most useful information is that the anaconda is taken out by Wang Fuqiang every day for a period of time. When it returns, it inexplicably goes berserk and attacks anything or anyone nearby. Once it broke through the fence, swallowed a staff member, then smashed open the cage holding Komodo dragons, went in and strangled 2 Komodo dragons to death. But it didn't eat them. Instead, it kept charging toward other animal cages. It was eventually subdued by several security guards with tranquilizer guns. What? That anaconda, even before fully recovering from its injuries, can break through cages and kill 2 Komodo dragons. What is Wang Fuqiang up to? Alright, Sende. Yes, boss. Following the earlier North American gray wolf attack, Lin grew increasingly vigilant, constantly scanning his surroundings. He even slept with just his head above the water's surface. As expected, within a week, during one feeding, another dangerous figure slowly approached. This time, before it could get close, Lin had already assumed an attack stance. Wait, there's the scent of another animal. Who's there? Show yourself. Still attempting a sneak attack. You've nowhere left to hide. Using his keen sense of smell, Lin quickly pinpointed the concealed figure. It was hiding in the nearby tall grass. Fine then, if you won't come out. I'll come find you myself. Lin slowly made his way toward the right side of the grassy patch. Just as he neared it, he suddenly struck, his massive crocodilian tail sweeping through the air. But the dark figure leaped from behind, narrowly dodging the sweep. Lin turned to face it. What on earth is this thing? A spotted hyena. Wait, this one is unusually large, and between its legs there is something rather distinctive in its anatomy. I shall omit the details, but clearly it is female. This must be the hyena queen. Great, first the gray wolves, now a hyena queen. Every creature sent against me seems determined. Did Boss Gao deliberately let them in for my training? Fess for these ragtag bunch with my 4-meter body, killing them would be no harder than stepping on birds. Come at me, little hounds. The spotted hyena queen let out a low, menacing growl, circling Lin continuously, her eyes locked onto him as she searched for an opening. Lin remained calm, simply waiting in place. He could see the hyena queen was cunning and would not fall for anything so obvious. Suddenly, the hyena queen exploded forward like an arrow from a bow. Lin opened his jaws wide to bite, but missed. She sidestepped at the last moment and snapped ferociously at his leg. A sharp sting of pain shot through Lin, and he retaliated immediately with a powerful sweep of his thick tail. The hyena queen leaped away with ease, repeating her tactics, feinting a bite, then swiftly retreating to strike elsewhere. Soon Lin's body was marked with shallow scratches, harmless but maddening. Feeling frustrated, he deliberately slowed his movements, appearing wounded. Seeing what she thought was an opportunity, the hyena queen launched herself at full strength toward Lin. In that instant, Lin spun around with terrifying speed, his massive jaws clamping down on the hyena queen's spine. The crushing force of his bite instantly crippled her. He slammed her onto the ground, sneering, "So good at dodging. Let's see how you handle this now. Is that all the skill you have coming at me, yeah?" With a grunt, he left the gasping hyena queen behind and slowly swam back into the water to rest. From the sidelines, Boss Gao watched with pride. "Haha, my little champion. Deliberately playing injured to catch her off guard, one fatal strike. Brilliant. Someone give my champion extra rations." "Yes, boss." From the sidelines, Boss Gao watched with pride. "Haha, my little champion. Deliberately playing injured to catch her off guard, one fatal strike. Brilliant. Someone give my champion extra rations." "Yes, boss." Time flew by, and before long several more months had passed. Lin's body length had grown from 3.9 meters half a year ago to 5.3 meters now, and his weight had successfully broken through 500 kilograms. During these 6 months, Lin had engaged in countless battles, sustaining injuries at times, yet they miraculously healed within just a few days. He could now be considered an encyclopedia of animals, having fought against every kind of creature, especially pythons and snakes. It was on this very day, while Lin was in the midst of feeding, that he encountered a Burmese python. No way, today they threw a Burmese python at me. This one must be over 7 meters long. It seems the difficulty has risen a bit. Then come at me. The two beasts locked eyes. The Burmese python flicked its tongue and struck first, charging toward Lin like a bolt of black lightning. Lin remained calm and unhurried. With a nimble twist of his massive body, he dodged aside. The Burmese python missed its target, and its tremendous momentum sent it crashing into a nearby tree trunk. Seizing the opportunity, Lin swept his tail with full force, striking the python hard and producing a dull thud. The python, in pain and fury, turned around once more and coiled toward Lin. Lin opened his cavernous jaws and bit down hard on the python's body, drawing a stream of blood. The Burmese python, enduring the agony, tightened its coils around Lin, attempting to crush him. Lin felt the immense pressure but endured it, his muscles swelling with strain. Suddenly, he concentrated all his strength and began to roll violently, taking the python along with him. Unprepared for this tactic, the python gradually loosened its grip. Seizing the opening, Lin sank his teeth firmly into the python's vital point, the 7-CUN mark. This time he bit down with killing force. The Burmese python struggled a few times before going still. Lu Lin released his grip and looked at his fallen opponent. But these pythons are such a bother to fight. If I didn't possess a human soul and know to strike a snake at its 7 CUN mark, you'd have been cold meat long ago, facing some other crocodile. Meanwhile, Boss Gao, who had been watching the battle from the sidelines, laughed heartily. Ha ha ha, my little treasure is growing stronger by the day. A Burmese python over 7 meters long couldn't last 30 minutes against my little treasure. Even if Wang Fuqiang's anaconda were to step in, it wouldn't stand a chance. Ha ha ha. Just then a knock came at the door. Who is it? Come in. Boss, what's the matter? It's like this, boss. After months of surveillance and investigation, we've discovered that Mr. Wang Fuqiang takes his anaconda out every time to visit someone at a villa in a remote suburban area of Longjiang City. Unfortunately, we couldn't determine exactly who he's meeting. Alright, I understand. You may go now. Yes, boss. This Wang Fuqiang. What on earth is he up to? Never mind. Even if that anaconda regains its peak condition, my little treasure will surely defeat it. Just then another knock came at the door. Who is it this time? Come in. Boss, Mr. Zhang and Mr. Song just called and invited you to dine at Huaximiaoga. Inviting me to eat at this hour, HM. Very well. Prepare the car. Meanwhile, Lu Lin was thinking, this 7-meter Burmese python isn't bad. The meat is chewy and the bones are few. Back when I was only 2 meters long, I'd see a giant python like this and turn tail and run. Now that I'm over 5 meters, I must let that 8-meter anaconda taste the cruelty of society. Huaximiaoga. Old man Zhang, old Song, what's this about? Why did you summon me? I've been incredibly busy lately. Time is money, you know. Gao Gunzi, what could you possibly be so busy with? The three of us finally gathered together. What could it be? In any case, I've been investigating Wang Fuqiang recently. That anaconda of his has undergone quite a dramatic change. Yeah, I've been looking into this myself lately. That green anaconda, it's acting as though it's been dosed with something. Aside from Wang Fugua, it attacks any living creature nearby, without discrimination, and its eyes turn blood red with every attack, like it's been injected with some kind of rage serum. All your investigating amounts to nothing. So what if it's gone rabid? Even in a frenzy, it's still just a beast. In front of my little treasure, it'd be finished in a few bites. Come on, Gao Gunzi, at a time like this, are you really standing there boasting? Full John, you're just envious. Since your brown bear died last year, you've got nothing left to show off, have you? Oh, Gao Gunzi, am I being too generous with you? Who doesn't know that besides my fallen brown bear, my wild boar king, and my black bear, aren't they both superior to your northeast tiger and bay crocodile? Old Zhang, what in the world are you talking about? Just those 2 trash animals of yours dare to compare. Enough, enough, enough. I'm truly done with both of you. Half a year hasn't passed, and while others catch up and discuss matters, you two do not, but bicker and curse. Haven't changed a bit all these years. Honestly, I'm speechless. We're here to figure out how to dig up that bastard Wang Fugua, and who's pulling his strings, and how he turned this green anaconda into that thing. Alright, let's get down to business. According to my investigation, he went to Longjiang City to meet someone. I haven't managed to identify who exactly, but every time he meets that person, he brings the green anaconda along. Afterward, the anaconda's injuries recover somewhat, and it grows increasingly terrifying. Yes, I've looked into that as well, but I simply cannot determine who he's meeting. Who cares who he's meeting? This time I refuse to believe he can defeat all 3 of us on his own. If I were to step in, my wild boar king would tear 2 holes right through his green anaconda. Yeah, old Song, just ignore him. The person behind him undoubtedly has extremely strong backing. We simply want to know why he's helping Wang Fugua. Indeed. From the start, we've been superior to him in both resources and capability. Then there's only one possibility. If we're considered among the followers of those figures in the capital, and he won't come help us directly, then someone must be using us to get close to them. Don't flatter yourself, old Song. With our standing, we're nothing more than toys to them. If not for their idle whim to distribute unwanted resources through this Beast Rage Alliance, we wouldn't even have the chance to interact with them. He thinks he can use us to reach them. I find that highly unlikely. What you say, old Gao, may very well be true. But then what could be the real reason? Let me just say, let's have dinner first. Let our people handle the investigation themselves. Pounding our brains over all this nonsense is exhausting. Damn it, I really want to know how this guy became the boss of a company valued at over 2 billion. Sigh, I guess that's just how it is. Talking about it here won't get us anywhere. I'll head back first. I need to check on my little treasure. After getting into the car, driver head back to the manor. Yes, boss. Oh, by the way, boss, there was a call from an unknown number earlier. I saw you were in conversation with the other 2 bosses, so I didn't disturb you. Oh, who was calling from an unknown number? I hope it's not a scam call. Alright, hand me the phone. I'll call back and see. Hello, this is Gao. What do you need? Hello, boss Gao. You truly are a very busy man. It takes such great effort just to reach you. Cut the pleasantries. Speak quickly, I'm busy. What do you want? Weren't you the one investigating me? How could you possibly have something to ask me? How about this? I'll give you an address, and we can meet face to face. Boss, we've arrived. This is an abandoned villa in the suburbs. Why are we coming here? Do not ask what you should not ask. When I go upstairs, if I do not message you within 3 hours, or do not come back down, call the police. Then contact Boss Song and Boss Wang. Understand? Oh, what are you stuttering about? You have been with me for so many years, and you cannot even read the situation. Enough, just do as I say. I'm alright, boss. Boss Gao walked forward. Before him stood a wooden door to the villa. He knocked twice. Is anyone there? Yes. At that moment there was a sudden click and the wooden door swung open. A man wearing a tall hat and sporting a large beard appeared before him. No way, this person is not from Long Country. What does he look like? He looks so much like someone from Asili. The man stepped back and said, Mr. Gao, please come in. Good. Boss Gao continued walking forward for a while, turned the corner, and entered the elevator going all the way to the top floor. As the elevator doors opened upon reaching the top, a wave of clamor swept over him. The interior was dimly lit with flickering lights, just as mesmerizing as a bar. In the center stood a massive circular bar loaded with all manner of peculiar bottles. The liquid within refracted alluring glimmers under the dim illumination. Scattered around were numerous booths, each occupied by a diverse array of characters. Some wore eccentric costumes, while others boasted bulging muscles, clearly seasoned fighters at first glance. In the corner sat a small stage where a voluptuous woman was dancing provocatively. The surrounding crowd occasionally erupted into whistles. As soon as Boss Gao stepped out of the elevator, a chill ran down his back. He felt countless gazes piercing into him. The man from Asili who had guided him led him through the crowded space to the door of a private room and knocked lightly. The door opened slowly. Inside, thick smoke hung in the air, and only faint silhouettes could be seen sitting on sofas. A deep voice came from within. Boss Gao, welcome. Please take a seat. I hope we can strike a pleasant deal today. After Boss Gao sat down, he looked at the young man across from him. You are not from Long Country, right? You must be from Asili as well. Oh, Asili is merely the name of our nation. I am a noble Jew. Whatever, it amounts to the same thing. Then, distinguished Jewish sir, what business do you have with me? Haha, I believe Boss Gao is also a discerning man. This time I came to Long Country solely for the undeveloped industrial zone in Longjiang City. Oh, so a Jew like you traveled all the way to Long Country just for an undeveloped district in a city. You expect me to believe that? Believe it or not. Originally, I thought all I had to do was help one person win among your country's bunch of playboy elites who only know how to eat, drink, and have fun, and I would get the development zone. I never expected figures like you to appear. This time I invited you here because I want you to intentionally lose in this year's competition. Rest assured, I will not shortchange you. Let me put it this way, the maximum value of that development zone does not exceed 2 billion. If you split it among you few, you would at most get 7 or 800 million. I will give you 1 billion. 1 billion. You are indeed generous. Perhaps you do not know that back in our country, whether we win or lose is not something we can simply decide. How about this? Give me 2 billion, and I will intentionally throw the match. Boss Gao truly lacks sincerity. Sincerity? What sincerity could a Jew like you possibly have? And who do you think you are to lay hands on my Long Country's territory? Oh, so Boss Gao, you refuse to negotiate in good faith. There is an old saying in Long Country, he who recognizes the times is a hero. I advise you not to refuse a toast only to be forced to drink punishment. Then it's fortunate for I. It seems you have only just arrived in Long Country. I advise you to go outside and take a look right now. Suddenly, a Long Country national dressed as a waiter burst in. Bad news, sir. A group of Long Country police officers has suddenly appeared outside. Boss Gao, I did not expect you to resort to such a low-class tactic as calling the police. Although I cannot touch you right now, what can they do to me? I have broken no laws. And let me tell you, even if you participate in this year's Mad Beast Games, you still will not win. Wang Fujiang's python has already been injected with our country's latest research on the Rage Factor serum. We will meet again. Let us leave through the back door. Just as Boss Gao walked out. If you haven't broken the law yet. If you hadn't, you'd still be running through the back door. Hello, are you Boss Gao? I am the Deputy Director of the Longjiang City Police Bureau. Oh, hello. What is your surname? Oh, my surname is Dong. So Director Dong, hello. What can I do for you? Here's the thing, we just received a report from the public that someone was kidnapped here. The report named Boss Gao, that's you. But I see you're safe and sound. How about this, you come back to the station with me and write a report? What? You have a problem? How dare I have a problem? I'll go back right now and write a detailed report. Meanwhile, on Lu Lin's side, this Burmese python really doesn't last long as food, huh? Only ate 2 meals, and now there's just the tail and head left. I wonder if he'll bring me dinner tonight. I'll forget it, going hungry for a night is nothing. Sigh, counting the time I've been here for 3 years now. Although this life of free food and lodging is pretty good as a crocodile with human consciousness, this loneliness and imprisonment make me long for freedom even more. In my previous life, before the Great Escape era descended, my friends and I were trapped in an orphanage. When we grew a bit older and went to elementary school, it was just moving from one place that confined children to another, except that place was called a boarding school. Then it continued until middle school and into the escape era. Sigh, no. In my previous life, I was always timid and cautious, living under others' control. In this life, now that I'm a crocodile, can I still let others control me? If my calculations are correct, my chance for freedom is coming soon. Meanwhile, Boss Gao, I'm fine. Do I look like something's wrong? As he spoke, he raised his hand and lightly tapped the driver's head. I told you to call the police, but you reported a kidnapping. What were you thinking? You really? Why did you report that? Come here, don't run, I'll kick you flying. Oh, Gao Gunzi, you're doing well, huh? Making it to these times, got kidnapped. They didn't kill you, did they, eh? Hey old Zhang, are you picking a fight? Are you blind? If I had been killed, would you still be seeing me? Oh, your mouth is so foul you'll get killed sooner or later. Stop. You two don't argue. This is not the place to talk. Come with me to the car. Now tell me, old gal, what exactly happened this time. How did you suddenly get kidnapped? Sai, this is no kidnapping at all. At first we were discussing at Huaxing Miaoga who was behind Wang Fuqian. We had no leads at the beginning. Just as we parted ways, speak of the devil, that person behind him called me, inviting me to his place to talk, wanting to cooperate with me. And then you went alone to cooperate with him. Get lost, old John. Adults are talking, kids don't interrupt. He lived in an abandoned villa in the suburbs. I figured since he wanted to cooperate, nothing unexpected would happen, so I just had the driver wait outside, and if I didn't come out for a long time, he would call the police, and then notify the two of you. But when I went up, I saw he wasn't from our Longhua, but from a Seal people, simply put Jews. During our negotiations, his goal was to seize our target, this time Longjiang City. Oh, Jews are coming to our Longhua to grab territory. No, he must have other motives. After all, Longjiang City has some benefits for us, but in the eyes of these cunning Jews, these benefit. How could people of our stature possibly know about such things? However, they've already revealed themselves to the public. We should remain vigilant. I will recount every detail to young Long, he said. I believe he'll have a countermeasure. Indeed, that's all we can do. Well then, I've wasted enough time. I'll be going now. Yes, go on back. Go keep your little crocodile company, old Zhang retorted. Oh, shut it, old Zhang. Ever since that brown bear of yours died, you've been hunting for a fierce carnivore for a whole year and haven't even found a single egg. TCH, if only polar bears couldn't adapt to the local environment. I'd unleash one right now to show you what fierce really means. TCH, I'm too lazy to argue with you. I'm leaving. Old Song, I thought you had something urgent. I'm off too, said someone else. Yes, you two go ahead. After a while, once both had departed, Old Song picked up his phone and dialed an anonymous number. Hey, our agreement never specified that you'd need others to join in. Haha, boss Song, this was. My lord, our identities have already been exposed. What should we do? What else is there to do? It's merely a brief appearance. Those people likely won't have noticed us yet. Once we secure Longjiang City and our operatives cross the sea into Dragon Country, those lowly Dragonians will be fit only for slavery. As for this surnamed Song, if he cooperates, he may live unharmed. If he doesn't, he's worth no more than those 700 million. Oh, I understand, my lord. 2 days later. Boss, we followed your orders and haven't fed the saltwater crocodile for these past 2 days. By its normal appetite, it must be starving. Moreover, since this morning, terrifying roars have been emanating from the crocodile's enclosure from time to time. Good. Are all other preparations complete? Rest assured, boss. Everything is ready. The moment you give the command, it can be deployed. All right, let it make its debut. Meanwhile, at LV Lin's quarters. Heavens above, this is utterly inhumane. I was captured and kept for years only to suddenly be abandoned and starved for 2 full days. My dear boss Gao, Lord Gao, Master Gao, please appear at once. Even the slightest bit of food would suffice. Ugh, I'm done with this. I've been shouting for ages and not a single soul has come. No, I must find a way out. Ever since that gene enhancement serum was injected into me, going a few days without food makes my entire body ache with unbearable torment. Wait. LV Lin snorted his nose. This scent. It's the smell of blood. His eyes suddenly flushed crimson, and driven mad by the aroma of blood, he sprinted forward recklessly. Rounding a corner, he discovered the source of the bloodied stench, a freshly butchered leg of lamb placed atop the roof of an off-road vehicle. Lost to primal instinct, LV Lin threw himself at the vehicle with reckless fury. The first impact drove. Lu Lin wasted no words and swallowed the lamb leg off the ground in one bite. As the meat settled in his stomach, a wave of awareness returned. That sensation felt just like the old, uncontrollable fits from before, but back then, it was about venting the beast within. Over the past year, he had long learned to master it. Yet this time it felt different. It resembled the berserk state he had witnessed among those beasts during the competition last year, immune to pain, driven only by bloodlust and slaughter. Damn it, he growled internally. They must have slipped me a dose of that berserk serum while I was hungry and defenseless. Absolutely despicable. Still, the hunger gnawed at him relentlessly. I can't take it anymore. I'll just lie here for a bit. Meanwhile, Boss Gao stood beside him, utterly perplexed. What's wrong with my little darling all of a sudden? Why did he suddenly go berserk? Did you two sneakily inject him with that berserk serum? Oh no, boss. We haven't even been near the crocodile enclosure these past 2 days. You didn't go. So did he somehow turn berserk on his own? Bring the security captain over and pull the surveillance footage. After a while, Boss Gao studied the monitors. So you really weren't near the crocodile enclosure? Then what on earth is going on? Someone fetch DR. Ye at once. And you lot. Come with me to gather some food. We'll feed my little darling until he's full, then figure out how to put him under with a tranquilizer dart. Yes, boss, right away. Meanwhile, Lu Lin lay sprawled on the ground, brooding over his miserable existence. Ugh, honestly, that lamb leg only made him hungrier. Dear heavens, just spare him a scrap of food. At that moment, an adult Wagyu cow, still alive, was led into the enclosure. It called out twice. Lu Lin's eyes snapped wide, saliva dripping from his jaws. His mind raced, sweet mother of gods, that plump beast belongs to my brother Gao. I'm never calling him Boss Gao again. That sounds so formal. My brother Gao has raised me for years without ever mistreating me. Let's not mince words. I'm either going to beat that green anaconda to a pulp this year, or die trying. He couldn't hold back any longer. Come to your master's belly, little beefy. Like a shadow detaching from darkness, Lu. One bite, a violent yank backward, it crashed to the ground. A single snap of those crimson jaws around its neck, and it expired in peace. Within moments, only the lower half of the cow remained. Lu Lin lay beside it, catching his breath, ready to resume devouring after digestion. But just then a whistling sound cut through the air. Lu Lin felt the familiar sting of danger. That 500-plus pound frame moved with uncanny agility, rolling aside with ease. I barely called him Brother Gao, and you're already lobbing tranquilizer darts at me. Whom do you take me for, some 3-year-old hatchling? But even as he taunted, another dart sliced through from behind. Classic trick, Lu Lin thought, rolling sharply to the right to evade it once more. Is that all you've got? Still trying to subdue Lord Lu. Meanwhile, Boss Gao watched the agile evasion and astonishing reflexes, his heart thundering in disbelief. My little darling. I never knew he had this in him. How did I miss it for so long? Forget it, business first. Send word to those 2 anesthesiologists. Have them fire simultaneously next time. Damn it, they only got off 2 shots, and then stopped. I'm firing both of them sooner or later. Back in the enclosure, Lu Lin was smugly preparing to devour the remaining half of the beef, when suddenly another dart came hurtling straight at him. Figures, there's always a second wave. Watch this, crocodile's bow. He sidestepped with effortless grace. Seriously bro, is that all you've got? But just then Lu Lin felt a strange tingle on his rear. He turned his head. Damn it, another sneak attack. When Lu Lin came to groggily again, he found himself bound to an operating table, his whole body limp and weak, unable to exert any force with his mouth taped shut. Just as he lay there bewildered, a conversation between 2 people standing nearby drifted into his ears. Boss Gao, after our examination, this saltwater crocodile, besides its extremely rapid growth rate and that unbelievable super recovery ability, also has armor plating that's harder and more flexible than other saltwater crocodiles. Those abilities are merely surface level, Mr. Gao. That berserk transformation ability you mentioned initially. I'll need to use other instruments to examine this crocodile's cellular structure. But I'm not very familiar with that area, so please wait a few days. I only need to take blood and saliva samples back, consult with a few zoologists, and then I'll return with an accurate diagnosis. That's perfectly fine, Dr. Yi. However, since you're the specialist I hired to treat this crocodile. After they left, Lu Lin thought to himself, no way. I'm actually this amazing. I never knew without testing. I used to think those Nile crocodiles were weak, and I assumed saltwater crocodiles were strong. Turns out it's not that saltwater crocodiles are strong. It's me who's strong. But that berserk transformation ability they mentioned later, what was that about? Could it be that they secretly injected me with some kind of berserk serum? But after that transformation last time, even after eating that cow, I still felt a bit hungry, and my whole body felt completely drained. Forget it, don't overthink it. That doctor in the white coat didn't say he'd take samples back for examination. Once he finishes checking, I'll know what's going on. Seriously. Hey wait, why did both of them leave? I'm still tied up here. Lu Lin struggled and rolled around, but because his body was so weak and limp, he couldn't break free at all. The tape on his mouth prevented him from making any sound. Ouch, seriously, why did they tape my mouth shut? I'm just a little saltwater crocodile over 5 meters long. What could I possibly do to you guys? I'm done with this. But after a while, 2 servants pushed a massive iron cage over, and together with the operating table, they shoved the exhausted, powerless Lu Lin into it. Lu Lin took the opportunity to rest, and fell asleep. When he woke up again, he had already returned to the crocodile park, a place both familiar and detestable. The following days fell back into his old routine of just eating and sleeping, except there were no longer other creatures brought in every few days to fight him. However, something unusually special did appear. For instance, a supersized modified treadmill was placed right at the entrance of the crocodile park, perfectly blocking both exit paths. And straight in front of the treadmill hung a bloody lamb leg. Seriously, if this were the first time, I might have thought it was an accident. But setting up a treadmill right here. Don't you take me for a 3-year-old crocodile. I'm absolutely done with this. The first time was clearly testing impact force, and this time it's obviously running speed. What's next, long jump? Or swimming? But wasting food is shameful. As a principled crocodile, I won't waste it. Lu Lin stepped onto the treadmill, which immediately started moving. At first it wasn't too fast, so he seized the opportunity to try biting the lamb leg. But as soon as he leaned forward, the speed increased, and Lu Lin began sprinting desperately. However, with a crocodile's short legs, he could only keep up at first. Soon the lamb leg was slipping further and further ahead. Still, Lu Lin didn't give up. He ran even harder, sprinting forward with all his might. It wasn't until 5 or 6 hours had passed, and he was utterly spent, that he finally caught the lamb leg and devoured it in one bite. After eating, Lu Lin wanted to rest, but the more he thought about it, the angrier he became. Using his last reserves of strength, he delivered a devastating tail whip that smashed a deep dent into the treadmill. Satisfied, he happily waddled into the small pool. Meanwhile, Boss Gao, who had been observing from the monitoring room, received the precise data. Boss, after our review, this saltwater crocodile of ours averages 29 kilometers per hour and sometimes even reaches 30 kilometers per hour. That's it. The data speaks for itself. Alright, I understand. Haha, my little darling is truly full of surprises. With a top speed of 30 kilometers per hour, though it's not as fast as tigers or leopards as a crocodile, it can run for several hours. It's already impressive. Another servant entered. Boss, Dr. Yi is here. Dr. Yi is here, then quickly bring out my treasured tea leaves. I'll entertain him personally. At this moment, Liu Lin had just swum out of the small pond and was basking in the sun. After a while, two figures appeared above the cage. Boss Gao, after my joint research with several other zoologists, your saltwater crocodile is unprecedented. No such creature has ever existed in history. We compared its cells with those of other saltwater crocodiles, and the difference is like heaven and earth. When I first examined your crocodile, it was already astonishing, but after we returned and conducted a thorough examination, we discovered that within its cells there is a chromosome resembling an illegal substance called rage potion. This chromosome induces a frenzy state in animals, causing them to lose consciousness, feel no pain, and only want to destroy everything in sight. Normally other creatures. This must be the effect of that bottle of gene sublimation liquid. I knew it, my billions were not wasted. It actually has such an effect, and no side effects at that. Really, come doctor, you don't leave tonight. I want to properly thank you. No need, Boss Gao, you're too kind. Liu Lin, listening below, was confused, but still caught the gist. It seemed that he had some chromosome in his body that could put him into a frenzy state without side effects. Then wouldn't I be able to float and do whatever I want? Oh no, what have I been thinking lately? It's the frenzy state, meaning no fear of pain. If those terrifying apes, the terror apes, escape and a sniper rifle shoots me in the head, my little scales can't withstand it. I'd better prioritize survival and be cautious in everything. But this frenzy state can also make animals lose reason. It seems that last time, due to extreme hunger, I was probably in a frenzy state. I lost consciousness for a few seconds, but then I felt pain and recovered. It seems I still have secrets in my body. No, I can't let them know. Time quickly reached dusk. The various sounds in the zoo gradually quieted down. Liu Lin opened his eyes from sleep. He observed his surroundings. Although he saw no people, there were cameras monitoring him. 247. Liu Lin walked toward the pond, entered it, and swam toward the deeper part. Although the pond was only 3 meters deep under the cover of night, even the cameras could only faintly see a dark shadow, unless they used a thermal imaging camera. But Liu Lin. After arriving at the deep water area, Liu Lin wanted to try to see if he could enter the frenzy state. Wait, how am I supposed to enter the frenzy state? He had thought it through clearly in the afternoon, but he just hadn't figured out how to enter the frenzy state. By the way, last year I saw those beasts being injected with the frenzy liquid, yet they didn't enter the frenzy state until the very last moment of their life and death struggle. Oh no, I was reborn as a saltwater crocodile, not turned into one. What am I thinking? In the middle of the night, where can I find an animal of comparable strength? It seems I have to use the trick from the day before yesterday. Oh, I should have skipped the late night snack. Liu Lin climbed out of the water, found a random spot, and lay down. He intended to rest for a while, but soon drifted off into a daze. When he woke again, it was already the early morning of the next day. As soon as Liu Lin opened his eyes, he caught the fragrant scent of blood. Our breakfast was here. Let's go eat first. What should I have for breakfast this morning? I'll just settle for some beef. Not much appetite today. Just as Liu Lin was about to take a bite, suddenly, I remembered something. I was so dazed from sleeping that I got confused. Forget it, I won't eat for now. The top priority is to see if I can stay rational while in the frenzy state after 2 days of hunger. But it really smells good. Back when I was human, the smell of blood was so repulsive, but now, it's truly fragrant. Oh well, forget it, I won't stay here. I'll go to the water pool. After a while, at Boss Gao's place, a servant rushed in. Boss, something's wrong. Today the saltwater crocodile didn't even take a single bite of his first meal. What? My little treasure, why wouldn't he eat? He ate every day the first 2 days he was here. Why not today? Did you not prepare the food properly, or did you give him something he doesn't like? Our boss were innocent. We used the beef he loved most before. He used to devour 4 cows in 3 days. Boss, you'd better have Dr. You come take a look. Well, no rush. I just had him checked 2 days ago. It should be fine. But it's actually a good opportunity. You cancel all the meat meals for lunch and dinner today. And also take away the breakfast he didn't eat. I have something to do tonight. Alright, boss, I'll do it right away. After that servant left, another one came in a moment later. Boss, we successfully borrowed the 600 gene wild boar king from Boss Zhang. Good work. Give that wild boar king a good meal first. Then at night, drench it with fresh blood and put it into the crocodile enclosure. Yes, boss, I'll handle it. Over at Liu Lin's side. Hold on. Having swum in the pool for 5 or 6 hours, Liu Lin was already ravenous. Damn it, it's so hard to bear. A mess. Oh, where's my beef? Wasn't it here just now? My beef. Oh heavens, it's only been a few hours. How did it disappear? Who stole it? I'm really done with this. By this time, LV Lin had already lost all hope of living. If you say that starving without any food for the past 2 days was a kind of physical torment, he muttered, then having food but being unable to eat it. Waiting until you're desperate for a meal only to find it gone. That is a dual torture of both spirit and flesh. He sighed deeply. When I was still human back in junior high, I never knew how precious grain was. Sometimes I even wasted it. When the apocalypse came and food became precious, there was still no way for people like us from the outer city to eat our fill every day. Back when I was first born into this body, on the days I was truly starving, I would catch a small fish to eat. On days I wasn't hungry, I would catch one just to play with. Later, when I was captured, I could eat whatever I wanted every day. And now, I can't eat a single thing no matter what I crave. Give me a chunk of fatty pork right now and I'd devour it without hesitation. Just as Lin was lamb, Lin twisted his body to dodge, and his massive tail swept out in a wide arc. The wild boar was knocked off balance and staggered, but it quickly steadied itself and charged at Lin once more. They exchanged blows back and forth, neither side gaining the upper hand. However, Lin was fighting on an empty stomach and his strength gradually began to wane. His movements grew sluggish and slow. The wild boar seized the opportunity and charged forward with a fierce goring motion. Lin was knocked backward 2 or 3 meters. Pain and hunger intertwined within him, his eyes burning red as he entered a frenzy. In this state, Lin's power surged dramatically and his speed became terrifyingly fast. Before the wild boar king could even react, Lin had already sunk his teeth into its hind leg. The wild boar king struggled desperately to shake Lin off, but he held on with an iron grip, thrashing his head with insane ferocity. Howling in agony, the boar king repeatedly struck at Lin with its front hooves, yet all it managed to do was leave a few shallow scratches on Lin's hardened exterior. In the end, with a violent yank, Lin tore off a huge chunk of pork and began to devour it ravenously, while the wounded boar king fled into the distance. Just as Lin was about to give chase, a strange wave of weakness suddenly surged through his entire body like a tide. His previously tense muscles instantly went slack, as though all his strength had been drained away. Even the claw he had just raised fell helplessly back to the ground. This sudden powerlessness startled Lin, and a cold sweat broke out on his back. After a while, he managed to recover some strength, though a shiver of fear still ran through him at the thought of what had just happened. If the boar king hadn't fled and had instead turned around to keep attacking me, combined with that sudden weakness, I would have been done for, he thought. Alas, there are no ifs in this world. But that feeling during the final battle, I never expected to gain fortune from misfortune. It allowed me to enter the frenzy state. That sensation truly becomes more proficient the more I use it. And I've discovered that even after entering the frenzy state, I still retain some consciousness. However, that subsequent weakness must be the side effect of the frenzy state. No, wait. I feel even hungrier now. That single piece of wild boar meat isn't enough at all. Fine, I'll rest for a while first, and after I recover I'll go search for where it ran off to. 2 days later at noon, Lin was sunbathing by the pool to replenish his body's heat, while inwardly complaining, where did that damned pig go? After resting that night, he searched the entire crocodile park, but found no trace of it. Even the blood on the ground had been wiped clean halfway, and there was no scent of it in the air. What was going on? Previously, most of the animals that were released had been eaten by me. This time, after all the effort to release such a large wild boar king, how could it have been taken away? Were they afraid I couldn't handle this little pig? Really, if it weren't for the whole wagyu they fed me later, these 2 layers of iron bars couldn't hold me back. I just don't know the way out. Alas, it seems I can only hope to see if there's a chance to escape this year. Nearby, the surveillance boss Gao said, my little treasure looks more and more majestic and powerful. Who can compete with me this year? Relying on Wang Fuqiang's little anaconda. I just need to be careful of that Jew. Someone come. Boss, what are your orders? Go contact Boss Zhang and Boss Song, tell them I have matters to discuss with them. Arrange a meeting at Huaxi Miaoga. Yes, boss. Time quickly reached nightfall. At Huaxi Miaoga. Old Gao, why did you call us 3 brothers this time? What's the matter? Alas, what else could it be? Isn't it that the annual wild beast gathering is less than half a month away? I was wondering what young Master Long's attitude is toward the new Jew. Alas, old Gao, aren't you putting me in a difficult position? Since last time when I reported the matter of the Jew secretly supporting Wang Fuqiang. To young Master Long, he hasn't replied to me. These rich kids think only of eating, drinking, and having fun every day and the matters between their legs. How could they possibly care about our trivial affairs? You can't say that. After all, the wild beast gathering was established by them. Even if we don't get a share, we shouldn't let foreigners get it. Old Gao, you still don't get it. What we treasure is nothing more than something they can easily summon in abundance. If they really cared about this, that Jew would have long stopped seeing the sun these days. Our old Song is right. It's not that I'm saying, but Gao Gunzi is just a Jew, isn't he? When have we Long people ever been afraid? If he dares to come, I dare to fight him. No problem, old Zhang. I was actually a bit hesitant, but really now I think about it. We're not in some foreign land, we're on our turf. How can we let a foreigner bully us? Of course I won't hide it from you. Lately I haven't been idle. I spent a lot of money to have the polar bear I just bought undergo genetic modification experiments successfully, allowing it to move freely in the tropics. Although there are some side effects, they are nothing to worry about. This time I'll directly send the polar bear and the wild boar king into the arena with the African black bear as a preliminary contestant. Old Zhang, that's quite a lineup. Then I won't be secretive either. This time I plan to send the Siberian tiger and the saltwater crocodile into the arena with the jaguar as a preliminary. Isn't that little saltwater crocodile of yours too young? You've been keeping it hidden. How big is it now? You're just sending it to the slaughter. You'll find out when the time comes. Old Song, what about you? Alas, I'll just do as before. Send the spotted hyena pack and the North American gray wolf pack into the arena. Alright, it's settled then. Let that Jew know the price of coming to Longwa to snatch territory. A moment later the dinner ended, and they all left by car one after another. At that time, only Boss Song remained at the table. He took out his phone and dialed an unfamiliar number again. Soon the call connected. The background noise was chaotic. People screaming, celebrating, and music. Hello Jew, why is it so noisy over there? Go find a quiet place. There's something here that needs attention. On the Jew's side his eyes were glazed, holding two brightly dressed women in his arms. On the table before him were several glasses of expensive wine and a bag of white powder scattered. The Jew said, "Who do you think you are to order me around?" "I listen to you." "Ha," he said in a dazed tone. "And I'm a Jew, but don't call me Jew. My name is Yukafu. Listen up, whatever it is we'll talk when we meet in a few days." With that he hung up directly, then put his arms around the two women beside him and headed upstairs to the room. After more than 10 days Lu Lin's body length had increased again from 5.3 meters to 5 meters, and his weight had risen from over 500 kilograms to nearly 600 kilograms. Now after numerous battles with various wild animals over these dozens of days, Lu Lin had gained some control over his berserk state. Although he could not freely manipulate it, he had discovered its secrets. When fighting other beasts, if he received a fatal attack or engaged in a life or death struggle, the berserk state would trigger automatically. To actively enter the berserk state, he needed to harbor hatred toward a target, desiring to crush it utterly. This was something Lu Lin had discovered by accident. A few days ago, when he was about to prey on a large horned antelope that had just been introduced, he intended to kill it in one bite, but due to underestimation the antelope's long horn pierced Lu Lin's most vulnerable mouth. Hastily releasing his bite, he turned to look at the antelope, feeling the paw. He shook his head to clear his mind, only then realizing that this method could trigger his berserk state. Later Lu Lin tried this method several times, though he had not succeeded once. He knew it was feasible, but he lacked a proper target. Over the following days the creatures released were mostly weaklings. The strongest was merely a black bear that had run away in fear before even biting him. Alas, I don't know when I'll be able to escape. It should be soon. I feel the time is approaching. The time to participate in that so-called beast rampage assembly. In a suburban villa, the Jewish man, Yukafu, rose from a bed shared with several women, and a subordinate entered. "Master, are you sober?" "What nonsense about being sober or not? Just tell me what it is." "Oh, it's like this, master. Over 10 days ago you made an appointment with Boss Song to report information. He is now waiting in the living room." "Over 10 days ago? Why did I make an appointment with this Boss Song?" "Oh, it's like this, master. He had gathered some information about others over 10 days ago, and wanted to report to you. At that time you were somewhat delirious due to an overdose, so you made an appointment for a few days later. But in the following days you were busy with women, on no discussing physiology with the ladies. So I took the liberty of asking him to come a few days later. Today is already over 10 days, and the beast rampage assembly is about to begin. He is waiting in the living room." "Alright, I understand. This newly researched product is truly different. Its concentration kept me indulged for over 10 days before I woke up. Next time during such a critical moment, don't give me this new type. Use the old one. We'll promote this good stuff after we truly establish a foothold in Longwa." "Understood, master. Then let's go. Let's see what surprises this Boss Song has brought us." Boss Song was pacing back and forth, fuming. This Jew has absolutely no sense of time. How can he still be laughing and playing for over 10 days at a time like this? Humph. After a while Boss Song slowly sat on the sofa and brewed himself a cup of tea. He thought to himself, "When the time comes I'll let you deal with them while I seize the development rights of Longjiang City. There are plenty of ways to deal with you, this Jew." After a moment a perfunctory voice came. "Oh, Boss Song, long time no see." Yukafu, wearing a pajama, pushed the door and walked in accompanied by 2 strong bodyguards. "What's the important matter this time you called me for?" Indeed, long time no see, Yukafu. Look at the time. The Wild Beast tournament is about to start, and you're still in the mood to lounge around in your pajamas. Just crawled out of some woman's bed, haven't you?" "Oh, Boss Song, how did you know?" "I did just wake up from a woman's bed, you know." "Who told you that the girls of Longwa? They have no resistance, you see. I just spent a little money on them, and they came willingly. If I don't want to waste words with you. Zhang Biao has gotten a new genetically modified polar bear, and Gao Heng somehow got an adult saltwater crocodile from somewhere. You'd better be prepared." "Oh, is that all? Just a couple more beasts. Dealing with them is easy. This time I've already bribed an insider of the Wild Beast tournament to rig the draw. Defeating them will be a piece of cake." "Oh, looks like you've already got a plan." "Fine, then carry out the plan as you said. I have other things to do, so I won't stay here." As Boss Song was about to get up and leave, a voice came from behind. "Hey Boss Song, don't rush off. In my plan this time you play a crucial role." Boss Song turned around and said, "Crucial role? I can't bear that. Besides, since we first reached an agreement, I'm only responsible for meeting you and deliberately losing to you and revealing their inform. If I'm exposed, do you think you can escape? Boss Song thought for a moment and said, alright then, what do you want me to do? Simple. When the tournament starts with buys, I'll make sure you get a buy every round until only 4 people are left. Then I'll find a way to eliminate Zhang Biao. You just need to severely injure Gao Heng's Manchurian tiger or knock him out of the tournament directly. Either way, whether he's seriously injured or eliminated, I'm confident I'll win the championship. Fine, if it's that simple, I'll do as you say. Having said that, Boss Song slowly walked toward the exit while touching the bug hidden in his sleeve. If you think I'll listen to you. When the time comes, I'll give you a surprise. Meanwhile, it was already night. Liu Lin was sleeping soundly when he was awakened by the sound of something cutting through the air. Just as he was about to dodge, he suddenly thought, what's there to be afraid of at this point? If I'm not mistaken, it should be almost New Year's now, and that so-called wild beast tournament is about to start. So why bother dodging? I'll just go. When LV Lin woke up again, he found himself back in the familiar truck bed. Oh, not bad, not bad. It's the same truck bed as last time, even with that little hole I made before. Looks like I'm headed to the wild beast assembly. It's about time. Though being fed and housed is nice, this feels more like imprisonment. In my past life, my life was in others' hands, locked away in the outer city. If any aberrant beasts attacked, the people in the outer city were nothing but a buffer for them. Before long, the sound of rushing water reached his ears. Through the small hole, LV Lin caught sight of the river he had dreamed of night and day. With my current size, this little truck can't withstand more than a few of my ramming attacks. If I just wait until we reach the middle of the bridge, I should be able to leap straight into the river. The driver, who was listening to music, suddenly lost focus. With a loud bang, the vehicle decelerated abruptly, then another bang as it moved for war. I'm a crocodile now. Why should I fret about personal morality? Before we reach the end of the bridge, I'll turn around and charge at the truck's rear door. But when he reached the door, he stopped. Damn that giant anaconda. I've been itching to settle the score with him. No, I'll take him out first before making my escape. Having said that, LV Lin silently laid down in the truck waiting for the wild beast assembly. After a while, the vehicle came to a stop. Then came the familiar routine, transferred from the truck bed to a wheeled iron cage pulled through the back entrance of the assembly. This time there was no elevator. They went straight down to the preparation area below. As soon as they reached the entrance of the preparation area, the fierce roars of beasts echoed from within. LV Lin was led inside by 2 staff members and immediately saw all kinds of carnivorous animals. At the sight of LV Lin's massive frame, the animals grew subdued one by one. LV Lin was pulled slowly to the last row where he spotted 2 familiar faces. Even though winter has set in, there's no way a polar bear should be here. This is insane. I've never fought a polar bear before. If I run into him in the arena, I might not even win. Damn, I should have just jumped when I had the chance. Wait, what's that behind him? Oh, isn't that the big wild boar? That's the one prey that once escaped from my jaws not long ago. Not to mention, he's also participating in the wild beast tournament. So that's how it is. I was wondering why Boss Gao was being so stingy and not feeding me. Oh, there's a brown bear following behind him. Seems this year's wild beast tournament is stronger than last year's. Sigh, I wonder who the nutcase was that came up with the idea of animals fighting animals for human entertainment. Soon after, 2 more iron cages were dragged in, one housing a pack of spotted hyenas and the other a pack of eastern timber wolves. LV Lin observed the 2 groups, each containing 6 adult animals. In the hyena pack, there was a robust hyena queen, while the wolf pack had a towering alpha male. But in LV Lin's eyes, as long as the 2 packs didn't attack simultaneously, he was confident he could take down all 6 of them individually. Just then a clattering sound echoed from behind them. A moment later, a mad anaconda, frantically slamming against its iron cage, appeared before LV Lin. Well, isn't that the giant anaconda? Haven't seen you in a year, and have you gone dumb? But as LV Lin examined it more closely, he noticed the anaconda's eyes had turned blood red, and its scales bore numerous scratches and wounds of varying sizes. It seemed this anaconda hadn't gone mad on its own. It had been injected with a frenzy serum. But the fight hadn't even started yet. Why had it already entered a frenzy? Following behind the anaconda was an iron cage covered with black cloth. The cage was noticeably larger, fully twice the size of both the anaconda's cage and LV Lin's. What on earth is in there? It's so massive. Could it be an elephant? But aren't elephants herbivores? I haven't seen any herbivores competing. And it's covered with black cloth, which is quite suspicious. Suddenly a loud bang echoed nearby. Who's there? God, you scared the hell out of me. Looking over, he saw the anaconda slowly coiling its body around the Siberian tiger beside LV Lin, raising its head high and assuming an attacking posture, lunging toward the tiger. But 2 iron cage bars blocked its advance. Nevertheless, the anaconda refused to give up, repeatedly crashing against the cage. Meanwhile, the Siberian tiger, which had been resting since the anaconda entered, suddenly awoke. It lowered its body close to the ground, arching its back slightly with its limbs bent and tensed, also adopting an offensive stance. Just as the 2 beasts faced off, a commotion erupted from the spectator stands above. Several armed staff members entered and began separating the animals' cages one by one. Above, Boss Gao sat on the 3rd floor viewing platform alongside Boss Zhang and Boss Song. Gao Gunzi, do you have confidence in winning this year's competition? How could I not have confidence? Isn't it a given that I'll win? Old man Zhang, don't you see what kind of competitors are entering this year? Well, let me tell you something. When I just came in, I saw Boss Fong from the coal mining district in South China. You'll never guess what animal he entered. A Tibetan Mastiff. Oh, that made me laugh so hard. What? Gao Gunzi, you're not seeing things right. He actually brought a dog. Ha! Boss Song beside them said. What's so funny about it? It's just a dog. He has no intention of competing for the Longjiang City Development Zone. Let's get back to business. What kind of new animal did that guy Wang Fuxiang bring? Does anyone know? Oh, come on, old Song, what's the big deal? It's just a new animal. I even brought a polar bear. Besides, didn't my old brown bear take out his Bengal tiger last year? This time I've even got a polar bear. What's there to fear? Besides, if it weren't for knowing Gao Gunzi all these years, I'd have let him have it. This champion belongs to me. Old man Zhang, I'm not saying this to brag, but you might not beat me this year. Just wait and see. The little darling I've got will give you a big surprise. Then I won't hold back. Let's see just how big this surprise of yours is. After a while, the referee stepped onto the arena floor. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this year's Beast Gathering. Greetings to everyone. This time we will follow the same drawing rules as last time. Previously, matches were determined by matching colors. This time it is simpler. Contestants who draw the same number will fight one-on-one, while those who draw 0 advance directly. Very well. I invite all contestants to come up and draw your lots. Alright, stop bickering, you two. Come on, go draw your numbers. On the left side of the third floor, my lord, I will go draw my lots. Wang Fuxiang, you should head up and draw directly. For these first 2 rounds, just send the green anaconda. Wait until the anaconda truly cannot handle it, then send that fellow out. Understood, my lord. Good. Everyone has drawn their lots. Next it is time for our competition. Gao Gunzi, what number did you draw? I drew 17. What about you? I drew quite early, I got number 3. Old Song, what did you draw? I got a buy directly. No way, this is too ridiculous. Last year you had several buys in a row, and this year it's happening again. When luck is on your side, nothing can stop it. Never mind, you go on first. Later I will use the North American Grey Wolf Pack to wear down Wang Fuxiang. Yeah, let's go back to our seats. For the first 2 matches we can just watch. Very well. Let me remind everyone that the buy for the first round belongs to Mr. Song. He will simply watch and advance with ease. Truly enviable. Alright, returning to the main event. Please welcome our first match, Mr. Fong's Tibetan Mastiff versus Mr. Wen's Reticulated Python. The Tibetan Mastiff stood majestically in the center of the arena, its fur bristling, its eyes fierce and menacing. The Reticulated Python coiled its body, tongue flicking, its cold gaze fixed upon its opponent. On the third floor, Gao Gunzi, look, who do you think will win? How does it even need saying? It must be the Reticulated Python. That Tibetan Mastiff of his. If I had to guess, it wouldn't last 20 rounds. Who knows? Perhaps his Tibetan Mastiff has been genetically modified or injected with berserk serum. It might actually survive 20 rounds. Meanwhile, in the arena, the Tibetan Mastiff paced back and forth, seeking an opportunity to ambush the python. However, the Reticulated Python was no ordinary opponent. As the Mastiff leaped again, the python swiftly clamped its fangs onto the Mastiff's foreleg and constricted it. In barely less than half a minute, the Mastiff was sent beyond this world. Well, it seems I overthought it. This thing couldn't even last 10 rounds. Hezhong Lao, I told you so. There's so-called genetic modification. Only our financial strength could support something like that. The next match is going to be boring again. Never mind, I'll just wait and watch when you compete. The second match was also decided quickly, with the snow leopard emerging victorious. Very well. Please welcome our third match, Mr. Zhang's polar bear versus Mr. Yan's brown bear. In the arena, the battle between the polar bear and the brown bear was about to begin. The cheers of the spectators were deafening, as if threatening to tear the entire arena apart. As the 2 behemoths entered the ring, they mercilessly engaged in brutal physical combat. The polar bear's massive body resembled a moving iceberg, each swiping claw carrying piercing cold wind. The brown bear was no less formidable, its thick limbs planted firmly on the ground, muscles taut, fangs bared. At first, both sides were evenly matched, trading blows with relentless ferocity. The polar bear's enormous paw struck the brown bear's body with full force, while the brown bear used its thick shoulders to defend. Their fur flew wildly in the intense clashes, and wounds began to appear on their bodies one after another. The polar bear's white fur was splattered with spots of blood, while the brown bear's coat was thoroughly dyed crimson. Yet neither showed any sign of retreating. Their eyes held only the thirst for blood and the savage ferocity of battle. As the fight continued, both combatants' stamina dwindled rapidly. Just then, the polar bear suddenly exploded with power, delivering a devastating slap to the brown bear's head. The blow was incredibly forceful, momentarily dazing the brown bear. The polar bear seized the opportunity, clamping its teeth onto the brown bear's neck and pinning it to the ground with tremendous strength. The brown bear struggled desperately, its limbs flailing wildly on the ground as it tried to rise. Yet the polar bear bit down mercilessly, refusing to let go. Its eyes were filled with determination and ruthlessness. The brown bear's strength gradually weakened, its resistance growing increasingly feeble. Finally, the brown bear ceased all movement. The referee blew the whistle, declaring victory for the polar bear. The polar bear released its grip and roared triumphantly toward the sky. The crowd's cheers reached their peak applauding this thrilling and breathtaking battle. Ha ha ha, Gao Gunzi, well, didn't I tell you? My polar bear finished the match in no time. It was decent, sure. But don't say decent. Your northeast tiger was simply destined to be crushed by my polar bear. If I'm not wasting my breath arguing with you. Who's there? You annoying Gao Gunzi. Hey old man, you stay away from me. Before long, dozens of matches had passed. The announcer's familiar voice echoed across the arena. Next up, match 13, Mr. Wang's green anaconda versus Mr. Yuan's African lion. The moment the anaconda entered the arena, it surged forward like a frenzied beast, its eyes blood red, its massive body coiling and twisting as it charged toward the lion at an astonishing speed. The lion reacted swiftly, sidestepping with agile grace in an attempt to evade the anaconda's ferocious lunge. However, the anaconda came on with unstoppable momentum, granting the lion no opportunity to catch its breath. The lion swiped fiercely with both paws, aiming at the anaconda's head to repel its attack. But the anaconda neither dodged nor flinched, enduring the lion's razor-sharp claw marks on its tough hide, and with sheer driving force clamped its jaws tightly around the lion's right foreleg. The lion roared in agony, thrashing desperately in an attempt to break free from the anaconda's iron grip. But the anaconda held fast, and before the lion could recover, its thick, muscular body coiled tightly around the lion's torso, initiating a fatal constriction. The lion's strength gradually weakened under the anaconda's crushing embrace. Its breathing grew ragged and its struggles became ever more feeble. The anaconda's muscles relentlessly contracted, exerting tremendous pressure, as if intent on shattering the lion's bones. Within moments, bloodshot veins surged across the lion's eyes before it was mercilessly strangled to death by the anaconda. The referee stepped forward and announced loudly, "The winner of match 13 is Mr. Wang's green anaconda." A roar of excitement erupted from the audience. On the third floor, someone sneered, "Gao Gunzi, look at it. It's just a big worm. What's there to watch? It's nothing compared to my polar bear. Now that's what I call impressive." Yeah, you're right about one thing. It is just a big worm. Anyway, it's almost afternoon. There's nothing left worth watching. Wait until my northeast tiger takes the stage tonight and secures today's victory, then we'll go out and celebrate properly. That's what you said, Gao Gunzi. I heard the Hay Hotel in Longjiang City is absolutely buzzing these days. There are girls as young as 18 wearing bikinis. Absolutely stunning. And apparently they offer massage services too. Then you're treating tonight, huh? I'm at our age and still thinking about stuff like that. Alright, tonight all expenses are on me, young Master Gao. Oh, come on, young Master Gao. You're pushing 40 and you're still lecturing me about this. Before long, the middle matches concluded swiftly. The referee's voice rang out again. Next up, match 17, Mr. Gao's northeast tiger versus Mr. Zhao's leopard. The moment the match began, the leopard was intimidated by the northeast tiger's overwhelming aura and dared not advance. The northeast tiger stood regally at the center of the arena and let out a thunderous roar that shook the ground, proclaiming its unshakable dominance over the leopard. The leopard's ears pressed flat against its head, its body trembling slightly, and it involuntarily took steps backward. Seeing this, the northeast tiger advanced relentlessly, each stride radiating immense oppressive force. The leopard could only skulk along the edges of the arena, searching for any opening in the tiger's defenses. Yet the northeast tiger's gaze remained locked onto the leopard, granting it not a single moment of respite. After a tense standoff, the leopard seemed provoked by the tiger's relentless pressure. It lowered its body, emitting a deep, guttural growl, and assumed a posture ready to counterattack. But the northeast tiger remained unfazed, continuing its steady advance. Then, without warning, the tiger exploded into sudden speed, hurtling forward like a bolt of lightning. The leopard was caught completely off guard by the sudden assault. It tried to pivot and flee, but it was far too late. The northeast tiger opened its monstrous maw, its fearsome fangs glinting coldly in the sunlight. In the blink of an eye, the northeast tiger sank its teeth deep into the leopard's neck. The leopard struggled in torment, but the tiger's power was far too immense. Its desperate thrashing proved futile. Before long, the leopard's movement slowed and ceased entirely, the last traces of life vanishing from its body. The northeast tiger released its grip, and the leopard's lifeless body collapsed onto the arena floor. The referee promptly entered and declared, "The winner of this match is the northeast tiger." This little leopard dares to fight my Siberian tiger. Overestimating itself. Let's go, the remaining matches are even less interesting. Let's get a massage and relax. Hours earlier, LV Lin confined in the waiting area sighed. When will I get to fight? I'm getting hungry now. I wonder if they'll feed us later. Just then a staff member holding a phone shouted, and 2 iron cages were pushed out. Oh, looks like it's starting. Soon animals went out one after another, returning with injuries, some never to return. Clearly a lost cause. A bunch of pitiful creatures fighting to the death in the arena only to entertain them. They'll never understand what they're doing. Before long, LV Lin saw 4 staff members drag out a polar bear, followed by a brown bear. Within 20 minutes, the polar bear was brought back, its pristine white, fur stained crimson. LV Lin was shocked. Though I fought a brown bear before that was a female far weaker than this male. That male brown bear, thought LV Lin. Even though I was only just over 4 meters tall back then. But looking at the polar bear, those wounds are barely scratches. If it took 5 minutes to get on stage, 10 minutes to kill, and 5 to return, it only used 10 minutes to slay an adult male brown bear. This guy is strong. If I met him, I could only save my own skin. In a river, I might have a chance, but there's no water here. Hours passed and 4 staff entered, dragging out the raging anaconda, followed by a lion. This time was even faster. Under 15 minutes the anaconda was back, barely injured, still thrashing against the cage. Lin thought, what the hell? It's not dead yet. Is that lion so weak? It couldn't even wound it. If the polar bear met this anaconda, who would win? I bet the polar bear would tear it into 8 pieces in 2 seconds. No rush. Let them fight first, and I'll reap the benefits. How delightful. The following animals were unremarkable. But at night, 2 staff dragged out the Siberian tiger beside Lin with a leopard behind it. A brother tiger's on stage against a little leopard. Let's see how long it takes. The tiger didn't disappoint. It returned in under 20 minutes without a scratch. That's my brother tiger. Finished so fast, not even injured. If you can understand me, you must have a grudge against the anaconda. Brother tiger, if I'm up, you go first, I'll cover your back. Guaranteed. But the tiger just lay in its cage, eyes closed, resting. Guess it doesn't understand. Oh well, I'll have to handle it myself. Let's rest. It's late, probably no match for me. The 39th match approached. The next morning on the 3rd floor of the wild beast arena. Old Zhang, why are your legs weak? Didn't have enough fun last night. I heard you took 2 girls to your room. What can't handle it? Stop talking nonsense, old stick. How could I be weak? It's the cold winter. Yes, the winter is indeed freezing. But our private room has 2 heaters. Should add 2 more. Haha, alright, we're in our 40s, give me some face. Are you 2 at this stage still joking? Let's go, it's time for the draw. Good luck, I drew 5th. Old Zhang, what about you? 10th. Old Song. Well, you go first, you go first. I gotta buy again. Damn, Old Song, do you have inside connections? Spill it, or you're paying tonight's tab. Hey, if you want me to pay, just say so. I have no connections, just lucky. How about breakfast? The early rounds aren't ours anyway. Find the early ones aren't strong. In the waiting area, Lin thought. So hungry. Don't they feed us? Nothing for a whole day and night. Damn, how can I perform on stage without food? After a while, 2 staff entered, dragging out 2 cages. Looks like it's starting. I wonder if I'll get a chance today. Better sleep and save energy. After some time, he heard footsteps. Opening his eyes, he saw staff pulling the tiger's cage. Brother tiger goes first again. Behind him is an Asian black bear. That bear's size suggests it'll be over quickly. Back to sleep. In the arena, the 2 tested each other. The Siberian tiger circled the bear with elegant, cautious steps, its tail swaying, measuring the best moment to strike. The Asian black bear reared up, waving its forepaws in the air, trying to intimidate its opponent. The tense atmosphere seemed to freeze the air. Then the Siberian tiger suddenly attacked. Like a bolt of lightning, it lunged at the bear. Its sharp claws raked across the bear's face, drawing blood. The bear roared in pain, trying to retaliate, but the tiger's speed was too great. Its attack missed completely. Blood streamed down the bear's face, its eyes growing fiercer. Yet the tiger gave it no respite. A second attack came like a storm. The tiger leaped again, sinking its fangs into the bear's neck. The bear struggled desperately, limbs flailing, but the tiger's teeth clamped like iron pincers. A crisp crack echoed as the bear's neck was broken. Its body went limp instantly. But the tiger didn't stop. It tore off the bear's right arm with its powerful claws, blood staining the arena floor, the air thick with the scent of blood. The referee stepped in and announced, "Congratulations to the winner of the 22nd match, Mr. Gao's Siberian Tiger." As the celebration ensued above, the tiger was transported back to the underground waiting room, still clutching the bear's right arm in its jaws. The moment the tiger entered, Lin was jolted awake by the tantalizing scent of blood. He saw the tiger holding the entire arm. Other animals also stirred, awakened by the smell, letting out chaotic cries. When the tiger was brought near Lin, he could no longer hold back, drooling profusely. "Brother tiger, you are handsome and magnanimous. Can I have a bite? Just one bite, I promise." The tiger, however, chewed its trophy slowly, not even glancing at Lin. "I can't take it anymore. Let me fight. I'll starve to death if I don't eat soon. I'm already weak all over." Time passed quickly, and it was afternoon. During this interval, the polar bear had been taken out once, and new wounds had appeared on its body. When Lin saw the still bleeding wounds on the polar bear, the craving within him could no longer be suppressed. Like the other animals, he began to ram his cage relentlessly. Returning to the story, after ramming for a while, Lin gradually regained his senses and rested to recover his strength. Time flew, and it was the morning of the 3rd day. In a private room on the 3rd floor of the Wild Beast Society, boss Gao, who had just drawn the match sequence, said, "I drew 2nd. What about you, old John?" "I drew 4th. By the way, where's Old Song?" "I don't know. Just now during the draw, he seemed to have seen an acquaintance and went to chat." "Well, never mind. There are only 8 matches today, and the champion should be decided tomorrow. I won't hide it from you, old John. In the 2nd match, I'll let you see the strength of my treasure." "Oh, your treasure? Isn't it just your little baby saltwater crocodile? How old is it now?" Lin, already weak and unwilling to even open his eyes, lay quietly resting. Soon 2 staff members came in and pulled out the cage containing the anaconda. Behind it was also a spectacled bear. This time it was still very fast. In less than 15 minutes the anaconda was brought back. After returning, the 2 staff members did not leave, but waited for a while. Then 2 more staff members entered. The 4 of them hung the rope on top of LV Lin's cage and pulled it out. LV Lin inside the cage was very confused. Isn't it my turn already? Great. I'm starving to death. I feel like I can't make it through today. Behind LV Lin was a water monitor lizard 3 meters long. After being dragged out of the preparation area, they continued forward until they reached a fork in the road. LV Lin was pulled to the left fork while the water monitor went to the right. After walking for a while, an iron door appeared ahead. Several staff members moved from the front to the back and used fork-like. After exchanging a fleeting glance, LV Lin suddenly struck. Its colossal frame surged forward with breathtaking speed, tearing across the arena like a bolt of lightning toward the water monitor. The water monitor attempted to evade, but LV Lin was simply too swift. Before it could fully dodge, those fearsome jaws clamped down upon its neck. The bite was devastatingly fierce. LV Lin's teeth pierced deep into the water monitor's flesh and blood erupted in a sudden gush. A piercing cry of agony shrieked from the water monitor as it thrashed wildly, desperate to break free from LV Lin's lethal grip. Yet the alligator held fast with unyielding tenacity, its strength seemingly inexhaustible. Stricken and on the verge of death, the water monitor summoned every ounce of its survival instinct, unleashed cavernous maw to savage the alligator's head. However, LV Lin's skull was shielded by impenetrable scales, and the monitor's teeth failed to pierce through. Seizing the opening, LV Lin applied devastating force once more, its bite crushing with terrifying power. A sickening crack echoed through the arena as the water monitor's neck was snapped clean in two. The water monitor's body went instantly limp. Above, the referee declared LV Lin the victor. Yet the alligator showed no sign of celebration. It was already devouring its prey with ravenous hunger. Just as LV Lin feasted with unrestrained gusto, 2 staff members clad in full-body protective armor approached, each wielding an electrified baton over a meter long. As they drew near, they brandished the batons in an attempt to drive LV Lin back toward the iron gate. But the alligator paid them no mind, burrowing deeper into its meal. One staffer ventured closer and administered a zap to LV Lin's tail, hoping to provoke some movement. Instead, the alligator whipped its head around and delivered a devastating tail strike, sending the worker crumpling to the ground. The other staff member quickly reacted hastily, dragging his fallen colleague to a safe distance. Unbothered, LV Lin returned to its feast. Moments later, 6 staff members arrived, all armored and armed with electrified batons. Impressive, sure. I'd say it could at most scare the hell out of that green python. But compared to my polar bear, it's nothing. Well, come off it. Your polar bear may look tough on land, but throw it in the water, and who knows who'd win. Besides, didn't Wang Fuqiang's green python already get taken care of? What, you planning to compete with me for the prize? Alright, how about this? I'll back off if you call me something nice. Get lost. We've known each other for years, and you expect me to speak to you sweetly. Like a father praising his son. Does that even exist? You bastard, trying to get the better of me again. You're treating us to dinner at Hey Hotel tonight. Huh? Fine deal, no problem. Hey, where's Old Song? He's been gone so long, where did he run off to? Who knows? He'll probably show up shortly. A few hours earlier, Ba Song, who had just drawn lots, received a phone call on his way back. He inexplicably turned right from his original third-floor private room. When he reached the room on the right, he glanced around, and upon seeing no one nearby, he stepped inside. No sooner had he entered than someone embraced him in a bear hug. Oh, Ba Song, why are you so late? We've been waiting for you a long time. Ba Song looked closely and realized that the person who had just hugged him was actually Wang Fuqiang. You rascal, get out of my way. Then Ba Song shoved Wang Fuqiang aside and walked to the table where the Ju Yu Kafu was seated. You fellow, you dare to summon me here in such a place. Speak up, what exactly is the matter? Ba Song, come sit down first. Let's talk slowly, there's no hurry. No hurry. The outcome should be decided by tomorrow at the latest. Now is the time to prepare. Hurry up, if you have something to say it quickly. Sai, what could it be? It's just that we want to modify the plan. After observing these past few days, we found that Zhang Biao's polar bear is extremely powerful. We must find a way to counter it. Initially, I thought we could directly reveal our trump card to deal with it, but now I feel there might be a simpler method. Oh, what method? Very simple. Just change your ambush target to Zhang Biao. Tomorrow I'll contact the insiders to arrange you and Zhang Biao together. Then we'll follow the old plan. Whether you deliberately lose and then ambush or just attack without warning, either is fine. As long as you injure or kill it, that part is up to you. Easy for you to say. Gao Heng's Siberian tiger might be manageable, but Zhang Biao's polar bear is no match for my little ones. Never mind injuring it, even if a few of my pack survive, that would be lucky. Don't worry, we've already anticipated that. Wang Fuqiang brought it out. He took out a black briefcase from the side. Opening it, inside were 6 syringes. This is a product jointly developed by our ASE Lai Gua and Inghua Gua. I call it the Rage Factor Potion. It is a more effective agent than the Frenzy Liquid and the Rage Injection. After an animal is injected with this potion, it no longer requires combat to enter a frenzy like the Frenzy Liquid. Once injected, your animals will become incredibly powerful, losing all fear of terror. Even if they are injured, they will feel no pain. Even if only a head remains, it will desperately bite its opponent. But rest assured, we have taken precautions. You need to fuse your own genes with the Rage Factor potion before injecting the animals. Then after they are injected, they will have a familiarity with your scent and obey your commands. Haha, with these things we can indeed make those spotted hyenas much stronger. Alright, I'll handle that polar bear. Haha, then I wish us. Forget it, why think so much? Barring any surprises, it seems these are the only animals. Tomorrow there should still be a chance to fight. Hey big anaconda, stop crashing. Save your strength. If we encounter each other tomorrow, I'll make it easier for you to go. The anaconda didn't respond, but instead crashed even more violently. That morning in a private room on the 3rd floor of the Wild Beast Society, one remark was made after another. Old Song would surely make sure he had no easy time if they crossed paths. But should he run into you directly, it would be even simpler to deal with him. Exactly. Wang Fuqiang isn't worth mentioning, but that Jewish man. I was worried at first he might be plotting something this year. But we're already at the finals, and I haven't seen a thing from him. Just then someone pushed open the door and stepped inside. What are you two chatting about? The draw is almost time. After we finish today, we'll have a victory banquet tonight. Haha, Old Song, you're here. No rush at all. Are just as few left to draw. Let Wang Fuqiang draw first. Either way, he's destined to be eliminated no matter who he gets. Oh, Old Zhang is right. Take your time. With that, Boss Song casually sat down on the sofa beside Zhang Biao, Boss Zhang, and feigned nonchalance as he asked, Old Zhang, I watched your polar bears match yesterday. I didn't expect it to be that strong. What kind of genetic modification did you do to it to make it like this? So nothing much. I just spent some money and hired a few experts. And that's it. Hey Old Zhang, why don't you share their contact info with me? I want them to strengthen my little guys too. And do they have any side effects? I'm worried those side effects might not hold up for a creature as large and tough as your polar bear. Nothing serious. But if my little guys can't take it anymore, sure, no problem, Old Song. Once we win today's matches, I'll send them to you. About those side effects. I heard they enhanced the polar bear's skin heat dissipation and added some skin toughness plus other improvements. The only real downside is a significant drop in endurance and some issues with internal organs. It's fine during these few days because matches usually end within dozens of rounds. In a prolonged battle, I genuinely wouldn't feel comfortable. Oh, those are minor issues. My little guys should be able to handle some other enhance. What are you here for the draw to? Go on, hurry along. We've already finished drawing. The nearby Boss Zhang retorted, don't you Jewish people have a better way to speak? Hey Old Zhang, what are you doing? We're civilized people now, a big boss shouldn't speak like before. You should say, you Jewish fellow, you have no land. Hey Old gal, you can't put it that way. Who knows if he has no land or not? Ha. Yakefu, who was not yet fluent in the Dragon Country language, looked at his bodyguards and translator behind him with a puzzled expression, wondering what they were saying. Behind him, the embarrassed translator stepped forward and whispered into Yakefu's ear, they're talking about your mother. Oh, what are you talking about? Yakefu muttered in Hebrew, bah. Never mind. You'd best hurry to your draw. You'll lose sooner or later anyway. Oh, Old gal, look at this fool, brain-addled and babbling nonsense. So let's go. Ignore him. This must be their ethnic language, Hebrew, which we don't understand anyway. Better to draw lots. The group made their way to the presiding platform and stopped before a machine standing off to the side. I'll go first. It's the same either way. Zhang Biao casually pressed a button on the machine. The screen above began to spin and slowly came to rest on the number 1. Looks like I'm up first. Fair enough. At this, Boss Zhang's tone suddenly rose. No matter who draws, the outcome is the same. So, then with an air of smugness, he turned and stepped aside to yield his place. Alright, Old gal, your turn. Boss gal stepped forward and pressed the same button. The screen spun once more, eventually stopping at the number 2. Second place. That works well. Old Song, you're up. Behind them, Wang Fuqiang and Yakov exchanged a glance and walked together toward the 3rd floor private room. Once they were a fair distance away, why? Definitely, my lord. Rest assured I've handled it elegantly. Good. This is also a chance for you to vent your anger. Don't worry, my lord. When the time comes, I'll twist that northeast tiger of his and that bay crocodile into pretzels. You can rest easy. Ha, very well. Let's go watch the exciting first match we arranged. Come, my lord, allow me to press the elevator for you. Perceptive. Back at Boss Gao's side, Old Song, what number did you draw? I drew number 1. I should be facing Old Zhang. Oh, then it's a guaranteed win. Just throw the match deliberately and advance directly to the 2nd round. Then Old Gao's northeast tiger will easily dispatch Wang Fuqiang's boa constrictor, and it'll all be over. Haha, Old Zhang makes a fair point. I'll certainly concede at that point. Among their laughter and cheer, no one noticed how deeply significant Boss Song's words, throw the match, truly were. Not even half an hour later, the competition officially commenced. The referee shouted from the platform, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Longjiang City 2nd round Reopen Champion Awards Day. We have already determined our 4 finalists, and there's no need for lengthy introductions. After all, everyone knows saying too much is just pointless chatter. Now let us welcome our first round competitors, Mr. Zhang's polar bear and Mr. Song's never-before-seen pack of North American gray wolves. Just as the two sides faced each other in tense confrontation, Zhang Biao, watching from the upper left balcony, called out, "Old Song, hurry it up. I'm waiting to toast tonight. These polar bears aren't easy to control, and if any casualties occur later." On the right balcony, Boss Song responded with a cold smile. "All right, old Zhang, I'll have them return and concede right away." Hearing this, Zhang Biao prepared to return to the private room to rest. But barely a step or two after turning around, a roar of a bear echoed through the arena. Zhang Biao hurriedly looked down and discovered the pack of North American gray wolves had already surrounded the polar bear, constantly seeking an opportunity to strike. Seeing this, he urgently shouted, "Old Song, what are you doing? Why are you ordering your gray wolves to attack my polar bear?" "Oh, nothing much. I just feel my gray wolves are hungry and want some bear meat." At that moment, a figure slowly walked up behind Boss Song, lifted his head, and waved to Zhang Biao. "Hello there, Boss Zhang. Long time no see. Who would have thought that last time my boa killed one of your brown bears, and this time you've brought a polar bear? Truly a pity, though, that they followed the wrong master. Today they shall all perish here. Damn it, Wang Fuqiang and you, Old Song. No Song Rui, you bastard. We've known each other for 3 or 4 years, and you betray us like this. Sorry, but they offered too much. Besides, even if you helped us win the Longjiang City Championship, I wouldn't get much from you. I'd advise you to concede early. At least your polar bear's life could be spared." At the onset of the arena, a formidable polar bear stood locked in a tense standoff with a pack of fierce North American gray wolves. Their gazes intertwined, the air thick with vigilance and unspoken threat. Before long, the gray wolves launched a sudden ferocious assault. They employed a tactic of attrition. One wolf feigned a hold on the polar bear, while the others seized the moment to strike. Yet the polar bear, relying on its immense bulk, struggled to counter, ever poised to retaliate. Suddenly, seizing the opportune moment, it lunged with thunderous force toward a single gray wolf. That wolf initially attempted to evade, but in an instant its eyes turned bloodshot as if seized by an inexplicable frenzy. It lost all reason and threw itself into a reckless battle with the bear. Alas, it could not withstand 2 exchanges. The bear's powerful paw struck, sending the wolf flying like an arrow released from a bow, landing a full 2 meters away. The other wolves, witnessing this, swiftly altered their strategy. No longer hesitating, they encircled the polar bear in rapid assaults, leveraging their speed to strike its back when it was off guard. But the polar bear was no ordinary foe. It stayed highly alert, constantly seeking the brief pauses in the wolves' attacks. Whenever a wolf faltered, the bear would launch a savage counterattack without hesitation. After a fierce and bloody struggle, the gray wolves were all severely wounded, their bodies stained with blood. The polar bear, too, was covered in wounds, though none fatal. Its strength nearly exhausted, it collapsed to the ground, gasping heavily. At that moment, the alpha wolf of the pack suddenly broke from the group, eyes bloodshot, charging at the prone bear. The polar bear noticed it, slowly rose to its feet and raised a paw, but was knocked to the ground by the charging wolf. The alpha wolf wasted no time, sinking its teeth into the bear's neck, tearing away a small chunk of flesh. The polar bear, feeling the searing pain, also had its eyes turn bloodshot. Veins bulged on its limbs as it grabbed the wolf's hind legs with both claws, trying to wrench it off. The wolf, after swallowing the torn flesh, felt its hind legs seized and, heedless of everything, bit the bear's neck again. The bear, enraged, struggled to its feet, its paws tightening, pulling at the wolf with all its might, while the wolf bit down even harder on the bear's throat. They locked in a stalemate, but soon the polar bear, undaunted, saw that the prey it had just wounded dared to fight back. In fury, it mustered the last of its strength and charged toward them. A bloody melee ensued, and in the end, both sides lay collapsed on the ground, too exhausted to continue the battle. After a while, the referee stepped onto the arena and announced, "Following medical examination of both competitors, each has sustained severe life-threatening injuries. Therefore, I hereby declare today's first match a draw, with both fighters advancing." In the left side private box on the 3rd floor, Zhang Biao, upon hearing the verdict, furiously hurled his wine glass to the ground. Enraged, he roared, "That bastard Song Rui. We placed all our trust in him, and he betrayed us like that. What despicable filth, lacking even the basics of upbringing. He was practically fishing for information just now, and I, like a fool, spilled everything right back at him. God, I'm beside myself with fury." "Enough, old Zhang, calm yourself," the other replied. "I never expected him to be such a wretch either. However, taking over Longjiang City won't be so simple for him. Not with the scattered hyenas he has left. Once I finish off Wang Fuqiang, I'll wipe out all his spotted hyenas too. When the time comes to seize Longjiang City, there'll be plenty of opportunities to quietly dismantle him and give you your revenge." Fold Gao, don't bother consoling me. This is a draw, not a defeat. I still have many chances for vengeance. Indeed, you're right, Gao nodded. Tomorrow, whether I face him or you do, will both make him understand the consequences of betraying us. Enough said. My Northeast Tiger is about to enter the ring. Once I defeat Wang Fuqiang, we'll celebrate properly tonight. With that, he strode out of the private box and turned his gaze toward the arena. At that moment, the referee appeared again at center ring. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Without further ado, please welcome the competitors in tonight's second match, Mr. Gao's Northeast Tiger and Mr. Wang's Green Anaconda." On the arena floor, the Northeast Tiger and the Green Anaconda made their entrance one after another. The green anaconda burst into the ring with blood-red eyes hissing wildly as it charged at the northeast tiger. Instinctively, the tiger darted to the right with remarkable agility, narrowly dodging the ferocious strike. Missed. The anaconda rapidly flicked its forked tongue, its massive body twisting swiftly as it launched another attack toward where the tiger had landed. The northeast tiger reacted with lightning speed, and at the moment of landing, its front claws slashed out like razor blades, fiercely striking toward the anaconda's head. But the anaconda, eyes blazing red, cared nothing for pain, its maw gaping wide as it lunged straight for the tiger's neck. Alarmed, the northeast tiger leaped backward to evade, but in that split second of hesitation, its right leg was clamped tightly by the anaconda's jaws. Seizing the opportunity, the massive serpent coiled its steel-hard body around the tiger with terrifying speed. In a private room on the right side of the third floor, a massive, overweight man standing at 1.67 meters and weighing well over 300 kg burst out of the room and bellowed, "Ha ha, my anaconda won. My anaconda won. Ha ha ha, heaven smiles upon me. Ha ha ha, Longjiang City is mine." Meanwhile, in the private room on the left, an eerie silence reigned. Suddenly, Gao Heng smashed his fist into the glass table before him, shattering it to pieces. "Damn it, what worthless table is this? It couldn't even withstand a single blow and already broke. Ugh." Beside him, Zhang Biao remarked, "Where exactly did we go wrong? How could his anaconda have ended up like this? Damn it. We were simply too careless. We assumed that since it was our home turf and we had the numbers, most of our attention would be drawn to that Jew, forgetting entirely that our real enemy was Wang Fuqian. Bloody damn him. And that wretched Song Rue, the absolute scum. If not for him, we would never have been reduced to this predicament. Alas, old Zhang, this is my fault. I am the arrogant fool who underestimated the enemy. At such a critical moment, we were still thinking about how to enjoy ourselves tonight rather than staying vigilant against our opponent. This mistake is mine. Old Gao, please do not blame yourself so heavily. No one could have foreseen this outcome. It cannot all be laid at your doorstep." Just as Zhang Biao was about to say more, the door to the private room was suddenly kicked open, and the towering 300-gene behemoth burst in abruptly. He looked at Zhang Biao and Gao Heng seated on the sofa and said, Well, isn't this boss Gao and boss? What brings you such leisure to sit idle here? Are you really going to watch how I run Longjiang City? Oh, rest assured, managing the development zone of a small city like this is child's play for me. You'd best pack your things and go home." At that moment, Gao Heng, a towering figure at 1.90 meters and weighing around 200 kg, his entire frame a mass of rippling muscle, rose from his seat and strode toward Wang Fuqian. He seized the fabric at Wang's chest and hoisted him up, growling, "Wang Fuqian, what do you think you're talking about? You bastard, don't you know what you've done? First you betrayed us by turning Song Rue against us, then you let your uncontrollable anaconda defeat my northeast tiger. Do you really think such actions are commendable for anyone to witness? Who cares what others think? We are both bosses of publicly listed companies. Have we not weathered every manner of business warfare? The reason I won this round is because I possess skill and cunning. If you possess nothing but bluster. You've long since sold out your country and colluded with the Jews, you traitorous dog. Hold on a moment. How can you call it treason? We were merely cooperating. Why can't you be a gracious loser, you brute? Ugh, you." Gao Heng slowly clenched his fist, restraining himself from punching that porcine face. Upon seeing this, Wang Fuqian sneered, "What, can't you handle losing? You actually want to hit me? Oh, come on, aim for my face. Come on. Do you dare do it here at the Ferocious Beast Club? Dare you? Do you dare strike me? Come on, hit me. Go on, hit me." With that, Gao Heng unleashed a brutal punch squarely onto Wang Fuqian's face, then grabbed him by the collar and hurled him to the ground, pummeling his pig-like skull relentlessly. Beside him, Zhang Biao, standing at 1.86 meters, could no longer restrain himself. He glanced around the room, snatched up an ornamental vase and muttered, "No, if I throw this at him, he'll end up dead. Better find something else." He then reached for a bottle of red wine from the liquor cabinet nearby. "No, this won't do either. This vintage costs a fortune. Hitting him with it. He doesn't deserve it." Glancing around once more, he found nothing suitable to wield. Suddenly, inspiration struck. In a flash of wit, he kicked off one of his shoes and, brandishing it like a weapon, charged at Wang Fuqian, joining the double teaming. After a while, both sides exhausted from the fight, they were pulled apart by dozens of staff members. Wang Fuqian, beaten into a bruised mess, was carried back to his private room unconscious for treatment, while Gao Heng and Zhang Biao returned to the sofa and began to chat. "This dead pig is really tough to beat. My hands are numb from hitting him." "Oh, old Zhang, you really haven't fought for too long. You need to get some exercise." "Well, my hands are a bit numb too. Who can blame us? This is the kind of request I've never seen in my life." "Who hasn't?" "He said hit me, so I hit him." "Who could have guessed he had such a fetish? Who could have thought?" "I think he's just asking for a beating. Right, he's begging to be hit. I've been wanting to hit him for a long time. Now he came to us and let us beat him into a pig's head, haha. Speaking of pig's head, I'm craving pig head meat. Let's go, no point staying here. Let's find a street stall to drink. Alright, I want pig head meat too. Let's go." In the early morning, LV Lin, in the underground preparation area of the Wild Beast Society, just woke up. "I'm so hungry. The moment I wake up, I'm hungry. I wonder if I'll get to fight today." He stood up and swayed his body to become more alert. After that he looked around and found the animals around him had dwindled to a minimum. Just these few animals. It should be done in a day or two. That's a good chance for me to escape on the way back. After a while Lin, lying bored, noticed two staff members enter and pull out the iron cage holding the polar bear, followed by the cage holding the North American gray wolves. Could it be that he's as hungry as I am? And started eating them right there? Not impossible. Just then the door of the preparation area opened and several staff members walked in. Lin thought the polar bear was back, but he saw they had no iron cage behind them, only the staff. They took away the Siberian tiger and the green anaconda next to Lin. Wait, so the next match is already starting. Where did the polar bear go? Could the gray wolves have won? That doesn't fit, he hasn't come back either. Forget it, why bother with all this? I'm looking forward to my tiger brother's victorious return. But after the staff members pulled the Siberian tiger out of the preparation area, they injected an unknown syringe into its buttocks without warning, then quickly withdrew it. After that they directly sent it to the arena. A short while later, feeling bored, Lin dozed off. When he woke again it was already nightfall. He glanced around and found neither the northeast tiger nor the green anaconda had returned, which left him utterly astonished. What? Have the rules changed? Neither the winners nor the losers are coming back. Then where have they gone? Could it be they were simply sent straight home? Possibly. Never mind, I'll stop overthinking it. At worst this should all be resolved by tomorrow. Besides, looking at what's left, aside from that large iron cage in the back still covered with a black cloth and showing no signs of life. Unless you can tell it's a cage, you'd think it's just decoration. As for the rest, as long as they don't attack me all at once, I'm confident I can handle them. He turned his gaze toward the wild boar king not far away. That boar let me escape last time. If I run into it again, I'm definitely tasting that rich meat this time around. The boar king, who had been napping bored inside his own iron cage, suddenly felt a chilling sensation sweep across his back, as though something were fixated upon him. He whipped around and caught sight of a pair of golden vertical pupils locked onto him. Terrified, he immediately turned back and began trembling uncontrollably. From Lin's perspective, however, the boar king merely glanced at him and then hastily. The scene shifted back to noon at a popular barbecue restaurant in downtown Longjiang City. Boss Gao Hong had already ordered a table full of dishes and placed 2 crates of beer nearby, waiting for the others to arrive. Shortly thereafter, Boss Zhang Biao returned carrying a plastic bag of food. "Try these," he said to Gao Hong. "I had my assistant pick them up from our usual spot." He laid out the items one by one on the table. The freshly cooked pork, head meat steaming hot. "I also picked up some pig trotters and such. Come try it while it's warm." "You shouldn't have gone to all that trouble, Lao Zhang. I haven't had their pork head meat in ages." "Who has right? I can't even remember how long it's been since I last had this." "Sigh. Think back to our youth," he said, reaching beneath the table to retrieve 2 bottles of beer and popping the caps off. "Back then we had nothing but bare lives and nothing else. How often could we afford meat? But we were so happy back then. Haha, indeed. We had nothing to lose. Every day we woke up and worked, then slept at night. Having meat every few days was pure joy. Come, let's take a sip first. Oh, it's been too long since we drank beer, ate meat, and chatted like this." Sigh. We're no longer young. Looking back now, we went through so much hardship and faced such difficulties just to reach this point. Honestly, isn't it all because of Song Rue, that traitorous bastard? He's ruined the mood for us brothers. Ha ha. By midnight the two were tipsy. "Come on, Gao Gunzi, you can't even handle a little beer anymore." "Bullshit. I'm just feeling a bit sleepy." "Who said I can't keep drinking?" "Keep going, old Zhang. I'll drink you under the table." "Cheers." They took a drink. "Seriously though, old Zhang, about tomorrow's match, that wild boar king of yours really won't cut it. Not that it won't work, but although it may not be as formidable as an Arctic bear, it should still manage against Song Rue's spotted hyenas. Oh, what's the big deal with a few hyenas? Let me put it this way, tomorrow I'll lend you my bay crocodile. Just trust me completely. I swear on my honor here. If it doesn't win, I'll cover all your losses." "Damn it, I do trust you." "Fine, no problem. I don't need you to cover anything anyway." "What loss is there? We're brothers, let's not dwell on that. Tomorrow I'll put your bay crocodile in." "Cheers then." Morning. In a private room on the 3rd floor of the Wild Beast Society. "Wake up, old Gao, wake up." What's wrong? How did we end up at the Wild Beast Society?" "Damn if I know. We must have gotten too drunk last night and stumbled here to sleep." "Hey, what time is it now?" "It's past 8. The event is about to start." "Alright, as long as we got some sleep." Sigh. Song Rue and Wang Fuqiang have joined forces now. This won't be easy. He hurriedly pulled on his clothes from the floor as he spoke. "Stop looking so gloomy, old Zhang. Even though we were drunk last night, everything I said still stands. Just send my bay crocodile out there with confidence." "But, come on, old Zhang, you're hesitating now. You agreed last night. Don't you trust me anymore?" "It's not that I don't trust you, old Gao. We're already at a disadvantage fighting 2 against 1. Why not conserve our strength and find an opportunity for revenge next year? By next year I'll be dead from frustration in a couple of days." "Relax, old Zhang. Wang Fuqiang's boa constrictor is already severely injured and basically unable to fight. Those spotted hyenas of Gao Rue stand no chance against my bay crocodile. What if they have a trick up their sleeve? It doesn't matter. Even if they do have a backup plan, I can't believe young Wang would just stand by and do nothing. Foreigners encroaching on our territory after all. And if it really comes down to it, we can always forfeit. Fair enough. But I think my wild boar king could also go in. Let him fight. Forget it, stop talking nonsense. Don't you remember the injuries my wild boar king suffered last time I lent it to you? That was caused by my bay crocodile. Just trust me. Wait, what? I thought you sent it over to train against a northeast tiger. Alright, since you've said so much, let the bay crocodile go then. Soon after, the referee stepped onto the arena and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Due to yesterday's draw, 3 competitors remain eligible to fight for the championship. Today's first match will determine which of the 2 tied fighters will advance to compete against Mr. Wong in the final. Without further ado, please welcome the competitors in our first match, Mr. Zhang's Bay Crocodile and Mr. Song's Spotted Hyena Pack." Meanwhile, in the preparation area, Lin had just woken up from his nap when staff members dragged him out with the Spotted Hyena Pack trailing behind. Lin looked completely bewildered. "Wait, this is too sudden. The first match, and I'm already up. Alright then. It's just a bunch of hyenas, right? Though their meat tastes terrible, they'll do." With the referee's signal, the battle began. Lin remained calm and composed his massive body, moving slowly. He opened his enormous jaws and let out a low, rumbling growl. The female hyena leader, exceedingly cunning, directed her companions to feign attacks while she waited for the perfect moment to pounce upon Lin's flank. But Lin was prepared. His thick tail swept out with tremendous force, sending the hyena leader flying through the air. Seeing this, the remaining hyenas charged at Lin in a frenzy. Lin showed no fear. Every bite was precise and accurate, wounding the spotted hyenas. Just then, Lin felt a strange scratching sensation near his tail. He turned his head and saw several spotted hyenas attempting to find his most vulnerable spot. Frustration bubbled within him. "You silly dogs trying to attack my weak point. Alright then, I'll flip over. See if you can find it." Let me explain for the record, the reproductive organs of male crocodiles are kept internally at all times, only becoming visible during urination or mating. Without another word, Lin swung his tail and sent one hyena flying, then instantly snapped his jaws around another, crushing its spine. At this moment, the female hyena leader, having only one male companion left standing while the rest lay defeated on the ground, saw her eyes turn blood red with fury. She and the surviving male charged at Lin wildly. Lin noticed them and charged head-on. The 2 forces collided. The male hyena was sent flying by the impact, while the female leader seized the opportunity to slash at Lin's UI. After killing the spotted hyena chieftainess, Lin found a relatively young hyena and began to devour it. Meanwhile, the referee promptly ascended the stage to announce Lin's victory. On the 3rd floor, Gao Hong and his men were gleefully gloating. "Ha, my little darling did brilliantly, slaughtering all of Song Rue's little brats." Zhang Biao, standing beside him, added, "Ha, exactly. I wonder what Song Rue will use to compete with us next year." In the private box on the right, Song Rue was calmly sipping tea on the sofa. Yu Kefu at his side remarked, "Boss Song, that hyena of yours isn't quite up to par. It couldn't even manage to injure that saltwater crocodile." Song Rue took a sip of tea and replied in a measured tone, "Even if it couldn't hurt him, does it matter? Whether he's injured or not, it won't stop you from taking over Longjiang City, will it?" Wang Fuqiang, standing by, interjected, "Indeed, Boss Song speaks the truth. How could that crocodile of his POS? Oh, I understand. Fine, next time I won't scold your dog in front of you," he said, glancing at Wang Fuqiang. The more Wang Fuqiang listened, the darker his face became. His injuries hadn't healed much, making him look like a black pig. "Yu Kefu, I didn't expect you to learn so much in such a short time in the Dragon Kingdom. You're quite a studious talent." "Haha, Boss Song flatters me. By the way, I do have one more question. I'm curious, if Wang Fuqiang's anaconda gets injured, what will you send into the ring? Are you relying on some other means to prevent it from even entering the ring?" Boss Song, you overestimate me. I can bribe a few people in the Mad Beast tournament and manipulate things a bit, but if I could win without even letting them step into the arena, that would be far too suspicious." "Oh, so you still have some hidden cards?" "Well, hidden cards isn't quite the term. I didn't originally plan to activate that creature. I still can't fully control it. You'll see soon enough." Meanwhile, Lin, without waiting for the staff to drive him away, grabbed a spotted hyena and returned to his iron cage. Before he could finish eating the whole thing, he heard the referee announce on the field, "Now let's welcome the contestants for our second match today. They are Mr. Zhang's Saltwater Crocodile and Mr. Wang's Mysterious Giant Beast. Everyone get ready for this mysterious beast, which is said to have been purchased by Mr. Wang at a hefty price from an unknown research institute." "Alright, let's return to the competition." Lin was bewildered. "Didn't I just finish a match? Now they want me to fight again. They really don't treat me like a human. Although I'm not human now, my mind is that of an adult." Suddenly, 2 staff members approached, electric batons in hand, trying to drive Lin out to fight. But Lin wasn't afraid of them. He continued devouring his meal. However, after a moment, a strange roar echoed from the arena. "What on earth is this thing?" Lin took a closer look. The creature's body resembled a brown bear. Its head was that of a horned tiger. Its neck was ringed with a lion's mane, and its tail bore a striking resemblance to a crocodile's. "What the hell is this thing?" "It's some kind of Frankenstein monster," Lin muttered. "Is this really supposed to be my opponent?" He eyed the creature before him. A monstrosity with a shoulder height of over a meter, a body length of 2.5 meters, and a weight exceeding 500 gene. He had no idea how he was supposed to fight this. Aside from possibly having an edge in height and defensive capability, he was at a complete loss. Meanwhile, on the third floor, boss Gao Hong was in a state of utter panic. Old Gao, please stop pacing back and forth. You're making me dizzy just watching you. Don't panic. Wait, I'll call Long Xiao and the others right now. Calling them won't help in time. Let's just admit defeat already. What kind of damn thing did they send out? Come on, old Gao, where did all your confidence go? I don't believe your bay crocodile can't last a few rounds. Easy for you to say, old Zhang. My little baby. I raised it from barely a meter long all the way to this size. What if it gets H? Back in the arena, Lu Lin stood facing the stitched beast, their eyes locked. Upon closer inspection, however, Lu Lin noticed the creature seemed almost senseless, simply standing there blankly. Still, he dared not take the risk of attacking first. An ancient saying went, when the enemy holds position, hold yours. Whoever moves first risks disadvantage. Thus, both sides fell into a tense standoff. Meanwhile, in a private room on the right side of the third floor, a servitor said, "My lord, your pet is truly remarkable. That bay crocodile is so frightened it can barely move. Its spirit has likely fled its body. Gao Heng's bay crocodile stands no chance against your lord's beast. Longjiang City is already in your grasp. This humble one congratulates you on claiming Longjiang City." Yakov burst into hearty laughter. "There's no need to rush. Let us first secure victory in this match. Bring me the controller." Turning to Boss Song, he continued, "Boss Song, you were curious about my seeker." Even as LV Lin remained on guard, the stitched beast seemed to suddenly stir with awareness. Its tiger head scanned the surroundings, then locked onto LV Lin. With a ferocious roar, the stitched beast charged straight at him. But LV Lin, having anticipated the move, pivoted smoothly, and just as the beast closed and lashed out with his tail, striking it squarely on the head. Yet the stitched beast merely staggered back a few steps, shook its head, and then threw itself at LV Lin with even greater madness. Inside, LV Lin was utterly astounded. What the hell? That hit should have done something. Roaring his own battle cry, LV Lin charged forward to meet the beast head-on. A thunderous crash echoed as the two collided. The stitched beast stumbled backward several steps, but LV Lin was sent flying, crashing hard to the ground. Before he could recover, in turn, the stitched beast's razor-sharp claws were already descending upon him. Trying to dodge, LV Lin found himself unable to evade in time. Rushing toward the iron gate, a loud clang echoed as Lu Lin's massive body slammed into it, causing the gate to buckle inward. Meanwhile, the judges in the arena shouted loudly, "Help! Help! An animal is escaping! Quickly activate the electric switches." Upon finishing, several staff members turned on the switches at the host platform. Sizzling currents appeared on the iron fences surrounding the arena. However, none of this mattered to Lu Lin, as he had never intended to escape through the iron fences. Instead, he redoubled his efforts to crash into the iron gate. Within 2 minutes, the gate buckled and flew off its hinges. Lu Lin seized the opportunity to crawl through, planning to make a break for the river. As soon as Lu Lin entered, he noticed dozens of staff members clad in armor and wielding electric batons waiting for him. Lu Lin fumed inwardly. Damn it. Going back means death, staying here means death. I lived half a life as a human without achieving anything. Now I'm a crow. Lu Lin sprinted through the corridor and burst out of the basement. But barely had he emerged when several staff members closed in around him. His heart seethed with fury. Those bastards are relentless. Why should I risk my life for such pitiful wages? Lu Lin lost all courtesy and charged recklessly toward the rear entrance he had entered through. A few desperate staff members attempted to block his path, but Lu Lin swiftly dispatched them with a few deft movements. Upon reaching the back gate, he discovered the iron door stood wide open, with several workers unloading cargo from a truck. Overjoyed, Lu Lin stepped on the accelerator and sped out of Quanshou Club. Bathed in sunlight on the road ahead, Lu Lin experienced emotions he had never felt in either his past or present life. A peculiar blend of fear, tension, and anticipation, culminating in the thrill of escape. However, Lu Lin quickly composed himself, knowing it was premature to celebrate. He hurriedly headed south. Meanwhile, inside Quanshou Club, the stitched beast erupted into indiscriminate slaughter. It mercilessly tore into adults, children, and women alike. Not for sustenance, but purely for the thrill of killing. Each time it claimed a human life, it would stand atop. What if that stitched beast escapes again? We'd be in danger. Gao Heng replied urgently, "We've already escaped. But what about my little baby? Could it get electrocuted by those clueless staff members?" "Oh, Gao Heng, are you really worried about that? It's a crocodile. It has thick, tough skin. You should be worried about whether your saltwater crocodile will eat them rather than whether they'll electrocute it. Let's go. What if the police encountered my little baby just now?" "Oh, Gao Heng, you're still thinking about this at a time like this. Sai, what can we do? This is it. You all stay behind. We can manage on our own. Listen to me carefully. Whoever encounters that saltwater crocodile, just follow it, and do nothing else, and I'll reward you with 10 million yuan. Even if you're injured or sacrificed, I'll provide 50 million yuan as compensation for your family. You followed both me and old Gao for years. You know our nature well. We are not unscrupulous businessmen. We keep our Lu Lin had barely dashed out of the Guangzhou Society's territory when he found himself in the city. Gazing at the forest of towering skyscrapers, he hesitated, unsure which way to go. Just then police sirens wailed from behind, striking panic into his heart. Without another moment's hesitation, he sprinted southward. Meanwhile, deep within the Guangzhou Society, several police officers had finally traced the stitched beast to its lair. Armed with nothing but their lightweight handguns, they disregarded their own safety, determined to put down the monster and ensure the safety of the bystanders present. As the officers cautiously closed in on the private room where the beast was holed up, it too seemed to sense the impending threat. Shattering a nearby pane of glass, it charged upward toward the next floor. The officers immediately gave chase. In a private room on the third floor to the right, Yakov's voice trembled with fear. The four of you barricade those two doors with everything. If it truly wants to charge and we couldn't stop it, even if we tried. Yakov's voice trembled more violently. What are you so afraid of? That damn beast. Do you really think it knows how to climb stairs? Could it possibly scale all the way up to our third floor? Just barricade the doors and hold them steady. The police should be here any moment to rescue us. Behind him, Wang Fuqiang stammered, his legs shaking. Sir, we should leave right now. If we had charged for the exit alongside those other wealthy folks, just now we might have already escaped. Shut your trap, you pig-headed fool. Do you take me for a proper Jew who would shove aside with common hillbillies over a single exit? Shouted Ba Song from the other side. Wang Fuqiang, you bastard, you have the nerve to talk. If you hadn't fumbled the controller, we would have won long ago. We'd be throwing some party somewhere right now. Damn it, the more I think about it, the madder I get. With that, he snatched a liquor bottle fr. At that moment, Yakov, who had been cowering in the corner, noticed the stitched beast lie dead at the police officer's feet. Desperate, he stumbled out from behind the furniture. Police. Officers. Thank God you're here. If you'd been 1 minute later, I would have been devoured alive. Hold on. Who are you? Why are you even here? One officer demanded. I came to watch the matches. I swear. Oh, a foreigner who traveled all this way to the Long Kingdom just to watch a tournament, huh? Alright, save it. Everything you say from this point on will be entered into the record. Take him away and cuff him. Meanwhile, Lu Lin was darting recklessly through the streets and alleys. When he crossed an intersection, he had expected to reach the Great River by now, but instead found another towering skyscraper. Lu Lin muttered in frustration, damn it, where exactly is this river? I thought running south would lead me right to it. But this city is crisscrossed with intersections, making it impossible to gauge direction. All I can do is trust my instincts and keep heading south. Just as Lu Lin was about to press on, he noticed human shadows everywhere on the streets. He gradually calmed himself. He couldn't keep running like this, or he would sooner or later be discovered and captured. With that thought, he turned around and ran back instead of persisting forward. After a while, he reached another intersection. To his right were towering buildings, while to his left lay a clean residential area with rows of villas. After a moment of deliberation, Lu Lin wasted no time and made for the Villa des. Time flew by, and soon it was the morning of the third day. Over these 3 days, the entire city of Longjiang had been thoroughly searched by the SWAT teams. Following the scent trail of the police dogs, they eventually traced the target to a villa district, one of the few areas in Longjiang that had not yet been searched. Just as the officers were about to conduct their search, they were blocked by the residents of the villa district. Accompanied by their bodyguards, they arrived at the police station and loudly protested, "What do you think you're doing? Do you even have a search warrant? Just because something went missing, where are we supposed to report it? Our belongings are extremely valuable. You might not be able to compensate us if anything happens. An alligator from the fighting arena has gone missing, and we suspect it may have wandered into your villa district. That is why we need to conduct a search." After saying this, the officer's tone suddenly grew stern. "Furthermore, I remind everyone here to watch your words. Do not imply that the police have stolen anything from your homes. If you persist in making false accusations against law enforcement officers, I have the authority to arrest you. I understand that those who can afford to live in the villa district undoubtedly hold some influence. Let me make this clear: no matter who you are or where you are in the Dragon Nation, if you break the law, we will arrest you. So I urge you not to obstruct our officers' operations. Citizens of the villa district, please disperse. Return home and wait. If you spot the alligator, report it immediately. We will arrive at your location as swiftly as possible. Rest assured." After speaking, the wealthy residents of the villa district graciously dispersed and left the police station. Returning to LV Lin's side, he opened his eyes groggily and discovered that he could now see clearly with his right eye. His body no longer felt as exhausted as before, though a profound hunger had taken its place. Driven by appetite, LV Lin began making his way toward the deeper parts of the sewer, hoping to find something edible. After walking for a while, he spotted 2 rats gnawing on something unknown. Unbothered, he waded into the filthy water and swam slowly toward them. Just as he drew near, the 2 rats inexplicably began attacking each other. None of this concerned LV Lin. With a sudden lunge, he seized the closer rat, chewed it down, and swallowed it whole. The remaining rat quickly reacted and darted deeper into the sewer. LV Lin pursued, really comforting Gao Hong. After Liu Lin had finished devouring the hundreds of rats, he chose to rest in place for a while. Meanwhile, on the ground, the police officers had begun searching every villa area door to door from morning till night, yet still failed to find any trace of Liu Lin. Coming to Boss Gao's side, he paced back and forth speaking with an intense tone. What to do? What to do? How many days has it been? My little darling, nothing bad will happen to him, right? Meanwhile, Boss Zhang beside him also comforted, enough old Gao. If something really happened to him, the police station would have already issued a notice saying they've caught him. And now it's been over 10 days. Maybe your estuarine crocodile has already gone down the river and run into the sea. Alas, old John, you're just saying useless things. He's a crocodile. Does he know where the river is? Does he know where to run? Enough. Didn't we send so many bodyguards to look for him? Besides, it's been said in our circle that this crocodile belongs to you. Boss Gao then calmed down and sat on the sofa beside him. All right, old Gao, relax. How about this? I'll treat you to a bottle of my finest wine as rent for borrowing your crocodile. Someone open my treasured bottle of 1982 red wine and bring it up. Then Gao Heng said, alas, I don't want your rent. Was it even my idea to let him perform in the Phi? Hey, I'm not trying to give you rent. I just want you to have a taste. As he said this, Zhang Biao personally poured the red wine that the servants had just brought into Gao Heng's glass. This time our biggest loss is just the 2 animals we raised. You've been looking for the crocodile these past few days and might not have noticed the gossip in our circle. Now it's all over the circle that Wang Fuqiang and Song Rui joined forces with the Jews to seize our Lungwas territory, but in the end, they didn't even get a single egg. Oh, and you don't know this, the Jew later didn't follow through on what he promised Song Rui, or some interests anyway, it's unclear. It infuriated Song Rui, so that bastard stabbed the Jew in the back. He leaked the details of their collaboration himself. He was clever enough to modify a part of the recording to exonerate himself and pin all the bad deeds on the Jew. Now the Jew is in prison. We don't know when he'll get out, but according to his company was passed down from his grandfather's generation, and it's basically finished under him. Haha, that's right, old Gao. He's just a bully who only picks on the weak. Anyway, old Gao, don't be discouraged. It's just your estuarine crocodile. How about this? Half of my bodyguards will search, and the other half will follow the police. Even if the police find him, my bodyguards will negotiate, and your crocodile might not be shot dead. Several more days passed. In the sewer, LV Lin had devoured all the rats in the vicinity, yet still could not fill his stomach. All he could do now was find a deep area to lie still and conserve whatever energy remained. Deep regret weighed upon his heart, and he could only soothe himself with muttered words. Sigh. LV Lin, look at you. You transmigrated into a crocodile, and still you run around. Why did you insist on showing off? There was a perfect chance to flee halfway, but you threw it away. No, you had to come to this so-called fierce beast tournament. Now look where you are. They're surely searching everywhere for you out there. Catch you, and they'll shoot you dead on the spot. On top of that, you're injured and starving. Ugh. Just as LV Lin was sighing, a fragrant aroma drifted through the air. Wait, what is that smell? LV Lin sniffed carefully. This scent was unmistakably from roasted meat. But then again, who would be grilling meat in a sewer? No way, it's too tempting. LV Lin told himself, unable to resist any longer. Hurrying after the fragrance, he arrived at a sewer entrance within 10 minutes. There, resting on the ground, were several chunks of well-grilled fatty meat. Without a second thought, LV Lin opened his mouth and swallowed them all. Oh, not bad. This really is roasted meat. What luck to stumble upon it. Wait, something's wrong. Something is terribly wrong. Where would roasted meat in a sewer come from? Oh no. Those pieces of meat might have been laced with rat poison meant to kill rodents. As he thought this, LV Lin clutched his belly with both claws, curling his body, as if trying to retch the fatty meat back up. Vomit, just vomit. Ugh, he couldn't bring it back. This was it. LV Lin was going to die like this. I wonder if I'll transmigrate again. Just as despair overtook him, several more chunks of fat were tossed down from the sewer entrance above. LV Lin sensed the movement. Before I die, I'll see who's poisoning me. Grabbing the ladder with his claws, he straightened his body and looked up. To his surprise, the one throwing down the meat was a little girl no older than 10. Unbelievable. I'm going to be poisoned to death by a child of all people. But wait, my brain really has become as simple as a crocodile's now. Come on, how could a 10-year-old girl be that cruel? What a waste, this dead brain of mine. LV Lin, you're a human, not a crocodile. I'm Almas. Throwing everything you don't like into the sewer. The little girl at the sewer entrance gave an innocent, lying reply. No, mama. Xiao Duo isn't a bad, picky-eating child. I was just checking whether there were big crocodiles down below. Really? Xiao Duo, are you telling the truth? Mama, did Xiao Duo really not pick at her food? Then what's in your hand? Spotting the tray in her grasp, Xiao Duo immediately hid it behind her back. No, mama. Xiao Duo isn't holding a tray. Xiao Duo, you've learned to lie. You're going to be punished. Tonight, no sweets for lunch. Please don't, mama. Xiao Duo knows she was wrong. Please forgive Xiao Duo. If you want mama's forgiveness, go wash your tray, clean yourself. Yes, mama. I'm going right now. And with that, Xiao Duo's mother led her back into the villa. In the sewer, Lu Lin felt a warmth in his heart. What a lovely little sister, so playful yet endearing. He gathered the pieces of fatty meat that had fallen to the ground and ate them. After finishing, Lu Lin found a clean slope and lay down, his thoughts racing. I can't keep going like this. Even if the police never find me down here with my current size, starvation will claim me sooner or later. It seems I must find a way out and reach that great river. But the immediate problem is, though I know it lies to the south, I don't know its exact location. Strange indeed. A river should cover a vast area. I've traveled so far and haven't heard even a whisper of flowing water. Where on earth is that river? So I'll worry about escaping the sewer first. Being trapped here is no better than following them. Time passed swiftly, and before long, deep night had fallen. Lu Lin opened his golden vertical pupils. The time has come. He began piling the scattered garbage near the sewer entrance, stacking it mound after mound. After 2 hours of labor, he finally stopped. Looking up, he saw the pile had reached ground level. Using his short but powerful limbs, Lu Lin climbed upward step by step. Midway, he dug his claws into the ladder and bounded upward with his hind legs. With a loud crash, Lu Lin burst through the somewhat fragile manhole cover. Upon emerging, he quickly surveyed the area and found no one in sight. He then sprinted toward the nearest villa, making sure to close the manhole cover behind him. Approaching the villa, he observed that only the front door glowed with light. The surrounding surveillance cameras were all inactive. After assessing the situation, Lu Lin circled A voice drifted down from above. Xiao Duodua, why do you want to go swimming today? Mom, because I feel like I'm brave enough with water now. Oh dear Xiao Duodua, have you learned how to swim already? And here you are again, wanting to get in the water. Didn't you forget how painfully full your belly felt after drinking so much water last time you played in the pool? Oh Mom, that was months ago. I feel like I can swim now. Ha, Xiao Duodua is so impressive. Since you've learned so quickly, alright then. Mom will drain the pool and refill it with fresh water. I'll swim with you in it. Okay Mom. You watch TV at home for a while, don't play near the pool. Wait for me to come back before you play by the pool. Alright Mom, won't go near the water alone. You're such a good girl. Meanwhile, LV Lin felt a surge of tension. No way, it's actually that little girl from yesterday. And they're going to drain the pool and replace the water. What should I do? What should I do? No, stay calm, stay calm. He had overheard their conversation. They were planning to go out and buy something. This must be his chance to make a run for it through the doggy door. After a while, LV Lin slowly climbed out of the pool and glanced around. He didn't see the adult or the little girl, but the backyard door was open. LV Lin made up his mind and decided to bolt through the doggy door in one go, then open the manhole cover and return to the sewer. Doing this in broad daylight carried the risk of being spotted, but at least it was far safer than being exposed once they drained the water. Just as LV Lin was about to rush toward the doggy door, a childish voice called out from behind. He turned around and saw the little girl standing at the backyard entrance holding a small dog. Wow, there's actually a big crocodile here, she exclaimed, tossing the teddy dog aside and running toward LV Lin. But LV Lin paid her no mind and sprinted toward the doggy door. Jay, if you're going to keep a dog, raise a Chinese rural dog instead. That would be much better. Next time something like this happens, it would definitely have helped save the little girl. It's far superior to this teddy that only knows how to bark. And it wasn't barking when the girl fell into the water. It only started barking after I had already rescued her. This is so annoying. After being rescued from the water by Lu Lin, Xiao Duoduo did not scream or cry out. Instead, she gazed at him with curious eyes. After scaring off the teddy dog, Lu Lin turned around and saw that innocent, clear expression, suddenly at a loss for words. Kids really are fearless, he thought. But fortunately, I happened to be this crocodile. If it had been any other wild beast, you would have been devoured long ago. Sighing, Lu Lin wanted to seize the opportunity and quickly return to the sewer for shelter. Just as he prepared to turn and flee, he felt something wrapping around his heel. Looking back, sure enough, it was Xiao Duoduo clinging to his right leg, refusing to let go. This left Lu Lin utterly bewildered. What kind of child hugs a crocodile instead of crying or running away, he wondered. Lu Lin gave a half-hearted shake of his leg to dislodge her, but whether out of reluctance to hurt the child, or because she held on too tightly, it proved futile. Xiao Duoduo, then innocent. If only she were a boy, things would be simpler, he thought. From atop him, Xiao Duoduo softly called out, big crocodile, let's go play in the swimming pool. I want to swim. Below, Lu Lin replied with exasperation, little miss, honestly. You just got pulled out of the pond, barely surviving. You can't even swim properly. But to Xiao Duodua, his words were merely the sounds a crocodile made. She innocently asked the great beast, can you understand what I'm saying? Let's hurry to the pool, she insisted. Lu Lin, utterly speechless, ignored her pleas and instead crawled toward the villa, hoping to find something to eat, for he had not eaten in days. Meanwhile, Xiao Duoduo continued chattering away on his back, urging him toward the pool, but Lu Lin paid her no mind. As he slowly made his way into the villa, he was struck by its magnificent luxury. This decor, truly matchless, he marveled. It's even more opulent than anything I've seen on television in my past life. A wealthy household like this must have plenty of delicious food stored away. With that thought, he crawled toward what appeared to be the kitchen. But halfway there, something on the television across the room caught his attention. Turning toward the screen, he saw a broadcast, attention residents of Longjiang City. This is an official announcement, a crocodile has escaped from the arena. Special police forces have been dispatched to search every street and residence. However, our residents living near the Longjiang River are also advised to remain cautious. Following our tracking efforts, we have determined that the crocodile is very likely hiding in the vicinity of the Longjiang River. The television station announced, switching to a map of Longjiang City, with various locations being marked one by one. Our police dogs have traced its movements to the Villa District near the Longjiang River, the Ciji Street area, and the adjacent Longjiang residential community. It is highly probable that the crocodile may be present in any of these locations. Therefore, residents in these districts are urged to stay indoors for the time being and exercise caution. Avoid going out unnecessarily. Our officers have already begun conducting thorough sweeps of each area. Within a week, we will have completely searched all these districts, and we will certainly apprehend or eliminate that escaped crocodile in a timely manner, thereby ensuring the safety of our citizens. Lu Lin. LV Lin had no idea what to do, so he decided to ignore it. He bypassed the pistol and crawled directly toward the refrigerator in the kitchen. Upon reaching the fridge, he stood on his hind legs, limbs raised upward, assuming a standing posture. However, due to his crocodile head, all he could see was the ceiling. Fortunately, by groping around with his limbs, he managed to open the refrigerator door. Peering down, he thought, no wonder they can afford to live in a villa. The refrigerator was fully stocked. Seeing the large leg of lamb on one shelf and the 2 plucked young chickens below, he chuckled. Well, I won't be polite either. He devoured the lamb leg in one bite, leaving only the bone, then stuffed the 2 chickens into his mouth, spitting out only the heads. Though it felt a bit wasteful, LV Lin thought eating everything might be rude considering he already felt like a thief. After consuming most of the food in the fridge, he looked around and found the place had been wrecked by his massive body. Slightly embarrassed, a flash of inspiration struck him. He scurried quickly to the backyard, grabbed the teddy dog by the pool, and carried it inside. The teddy, seeing LV Lin again, was so terrified that its limbs convulsed and it fainted. LV Lin paid no attention, dragged the dog back to the kitchen, carefully opened the fridge, and shoved it inside. This way, when the villa's owner returns, she won't suspect a crocodile did this. Then he paused. This should be more plausible, he thought. Though it's a bit far-fetched, at least they won't imagine a crocodile did it. With that, LV Lin stopped worrying. He glanced at Xiao Duodua, still sleeping on the sofa, and chose to hide in the backyard of the villa until nightfall, then escape to Longjiang community. Soon he found a small storage shed in the backyard. Without hesitation, he opened the door, crawled in, and even turned around to close it behind him, waiting quietly for evening. Before long, he dozed off in the shed. When he woke up, it was to a piercing scream. Curious, he peered through a crack in the shed door and saw the villa's owner had returned. She was horrified by the mess in the house and started yelling. Soon she grabbed the teddy dog by the scruff, dragged it to the back gate, and kicked it into the pool. Ignoring it, she went back inside to clean up. The teddy dog splashed in the pool, swam back to the shore, and retreated to its doghouse. LV Lin looked you. After running out of the villa complex, Lu Lin headed south, without stopping, grumbling all the way. This journey has been nothing but hardship after hardship. I really want to know, who was it that said crocodiles had been spotted around here at night? Yet there were still plenty of youngsters hanging about by the roadside. Had Lu Lin's natural crocodile coloration not blended so well into the darkness, he doubted he would have made it this far. After running for a while, he glanced up at the entrance to a residential community before him. For bold characters were inscribed above the gate, Longjiang community. Ah, this must be it, he thought. From here I should continue west for a stretch, find a fork in the road, then head south again. That should lead me to the Longjiang River. Sighing, he muttered, I can only hope those policemen aren't lying in wait near the river. With that, Lu Lin resumed his sprint westward. Before long, as he reached a junction and prepared to turn south, he noticed 2 men and a woman in a back alley beside the intersection, engaged in what could only be described as an intimate exchange. He paid them no mind, intending to slip past quickly. But just as he passed by, the woman let out a piercing cry for help. Lu Lin's thoughts raced. These youngsters are reckless indeed. Oh, Lu Lin, what are you even thinking? His own voice echoed within. You're a crocodile now. Drop the mortal sentimentality. You helped Boss Gao to repay the debt of kindness, and you saved little Duo for those scraps of meat she gave you. But this stranger owes you nothing. Charging in like that will only bring trouble upon yourself. Having convinced himself, Lu Lin quickened his pace, determined not to stir up trouble. Yet as he drew near, his steps slowed ever so slightly. In the alley behind, a thug was already tearing at the young woman's clothes. Wait, please just let me go. I have money, I'll give it to you. Don't tear my clothes, I beg you. Come on, your voice is so sweet, the thug sneered. Once we're done, won't we let you go? Meanwhile, his companion finished the drink in his hand, tossed the bottle aside, and moved to join them. By the time we take the money later, it'll be ours anyway. Come on, don't fight it. Just enjoy yourselves, ha ha ha. The other thug, having emptied his bottle, threw it casually behind him and began to move toward the girl. Unfortunately for him, the bottle landed squarely on Lu Lin's head. Something shifted within the crocodile. Well, you dare throw something at Grandpa Lu. You've got some nerve. And look at all these so-called sighted people, blind as bats. I've been standing right here, fully visible, and none of you noticed me. Fine. Consider this your warning. No more playing the part of a harmless crocodile. Lu Lin didn't hesitate. Letting out a fierce roar, he charged at the thugs. Still lost in their debauchery, they barely had time to react before Lu Lin's tail swept one flying. The other was gored and sent tumbling headfirst into a nearby trash bin. With the 3 subdued, Lu Lin instinctively let out a thunderous bellow. The thug who had been thrown aside looked. After the thugs hurriedly fled, they noticed Lu Lin had not followed and quickly pulled out their phones to call the police. Meanwhile, in the back alley, the young girl straightened her clothes, her heart racing with shock. Did I just get rescued by that crocodile? No, I should call the police too. How could a crocodile possibly save someone? They should be chasing the person who ran off. I need to leave this place quickly. It's not safe, she thought, then ran in the opposite direction, which happened to be exactly where Lu Lin was heading. At the Longjiang City Police Station, the overnight duty officer, a female officer, was sipping coffee and organizing files when a call came in. She answered promptly. Hello, Longjiang City Police Station, how may I assist you? I found that crocodile. It was just in Longjiang City, it attacked us, and it seems to have eaten 2 of my friends. Please come quickly. Send the SWAT team if possible, just take it down. Understood, I'm dispatching Teach. Aren't those Boss Gao's bodyguards? What are you doing wearing sunglasses at midnight? How can you even see? Damn it, and to think you can actually aim this well. Lu Lin knew he couldn't hesitate any longer. Without hesitation, he charged at the riverbank railing beside the great river. With a loud clang, he slammed into it, bending the guardrail. He prepared to back up and charge again, hoping to break through in one final push, when suddenly a gunshot echoed from behind him. Lin curiously glanced behind him and found several police officers had already arrived at his back. They raised their guns and fired one shot into the sky, shouting loudly. Hey there on the bridge, stop struggling. That crocodile is surrounded, and so are you. Drop your weapons and surrender. Lin's heart was filled with mixed emotions. Perhaps someone had spotted him in the dead of night and called the police, which is why they arrived so quickly. Yet he had a feeling those thugs had made the call instead. Never mind what I'm thinking now, Lin muttered, staring at the black gun barrels pointed at him. A saltwater crocodile's scaly armor could indeed withstand handgun bullets, but those were revolvers. With weapons like the ones the police held, 12 lives wouldn't be enough to waste all 12 rounds. The distance was far too close, and there was more than one officer, more than one gun. There was nothing Lin could do but stay perfectly still. Any attempt to fight B. Yes, that very crocodile. I called the police earlier. There's a crocodile here. Hurry up and arrest it. Hearing her shout, the SWAT officers instinctively turned their heads. Seizing this moment of distraction, Lin mustered all his strength, whipped his body around, and leaped straight into the river. By the time the officers realized what had happened, Lin had already disappeared into the dark water, leaving no trace behind. The lead officer roared in fury. What is going on? How did an outsider get in here? Whoever was responsible for clearing the area stepped forward. A nearby officer murmured quietly. Reporting, sir, it was me. But I had my reasons. This deployment was extremely sudden. We were still asleep when we were urgently dispatched. We arrived and secured the crocodile swiftly. Although we did clear the general public from the area, that girl slipped in during the perimeter lockdown after our initial sweep was complete. Do you think we are? We are police officers serving the people. None of this is an excuse for our mistakes. You made this error, so stop fabricating excuses. As for everything else, we'll deal with it when we return to the station. Move out. First, bring these men in black back for interrogation. Then we'll send a team to thoroughly search these river sections and trace where that crocodile went. Yes, sir. Ha ha ha, this is exhilarating. This is the feeling of freedom. Lu Lin darted freely through the Longjiang River, swimming from nightfall all the way until dawn. He swam along the river and eventually reached the area near the Longjiang Dam at the entrance of the South China Sea. Lu Lin gazed at the massive dam, nearly 60 meters high, and fell into deep thought. Living in the He River wouldn't be so bad either. Who would have expected them to build such a huge dam here? Oh well, I'd better find some food. I haven't found anything proper to eat all this way, and now my stomach is growling again. Meanwhile, over at Boss Gao's place. Old Zhang, are you really sure about what you're saying? Hey, would I lie to you about something like this? My bodyguards are already behind bars. Can this be any more real? Aside the fact that he escaped, it all counts as good fortune for him. Since he's already gotten away, let him go. With his current length, nothing in the second half of high. To get revenge for you, of course. I've already arranged the funds, and am preparing to strike at Song Rui's company. You didn't mention it earlier, and I completely forgot. These past few days I've been busy helping you track down that crocodile. Alright then, I'll also raise funds today, and begin pressuring Song Rui's company. Alright then, let the two of us fight side by side. Haha, old gal, you're so childish. But hey, are you in or not? Of course I'm in. Then that settles it. Let this Song Rui learn what happens when you betray your friends. Good. Not only will I bankrupt his company, I'll also make him understand the cruelty of this world. Back with Lu Lin, he had already entered a killing spree in the river with his 5-meter-long body. Whether it were black carp, accipence, or shrinky, or large catfish. All manner of big fish that crossed his path were either bitten in half or swallowed whole in a single bite. The Longjiang River had essentially become an all-you-can-eat buffet for Lu Lin. What if? Could this really be the finless porpoise? That top-tier national protected little goofball capable of playing itself to death. 2. Wait, no, the two animals locked eyes, neither daring to make the first move. The porpoise stared at Lin for a few moments, then suddenly seemed to rethink everything and swam toward the surface. Lin followed curiously, one behind the other, until they reached the open water. Standing there on the surface, Lin had no idea what to do with this little cutie. His mind wavered. Part of him wanted to taste the thing, but another part warned that if this porpoise happened to be fitted with a tracking chip, eating it could land him in prison for a decade. Just as Lin was lost in thought, the white chubby porpoise surfaced for air and stared blankly back at him, as if wondering what exactly is that creature. How have I never seen this before? The two animals locked eyes once more. I've honestly never encountered anything like this, Lin mused. Curiosity is exactly the kind of trait that could drive a whole species to the brink. Look at how these poor things are down to just a few thousand. Oh, I remember now. In my past life back in middle school, my biology teacher talked about them. They're just like those silly roe deer, completely unafraid of humans. In fact, they don't flee when boats approach. While other fish scatter or get caught, this bizarre creature would just sit on the bow and stare at the boat, as if desperately hoping the boat would run it over. Pure madness, truly. I never imagined Lin would actually run into one of these silly creatures. Guess we're fated to meet. I'll just let you. Before he could finish, the porpoise spat a mouthful of water directly into Lin's face. Hey, what the? Before he could speak again, the porpoise spat right at high. Soon Lin was closing in on the porpoise. But then something unexpected happened. The porpoise ahead suddenly struck an obstacle, came to a dead stop, and then, as if spooked, darted away in a panic. Behind him, Lin was utterly bewildered. After all, this was the Yangtze River, home to river dolphins, the eternal slackers of the water. What on earth could possibly frighten one? But such concerns meant nothing to Lin. At 5 meters long, he genuinely couldn't imagine anything posing a threat to him. Just as Lin prepared to swim forward and see what had spooked the porpoise, the creature itself swam right up to him. But what appeared before him sent a chill down his spine. Its body was pitch black, and its terrifying length stretched beyond 4 meters. No way, this thing is actually that big. If Lin remembered correctly, this creature was the apex predator of the Yangtze River basin, the Chinese sturgeon. Wow, this fellow is actually 4 meters long. Back in middle school, I read that Chinese sturgeons can reach over 5 meters. I hadn't believed it then, but seeing one truly 4+ meters in person made it undeniable. This creature is no pushover. The Chinese sturgeon is a genuine carnivore. In its juvenile stage, it feeds primarily on chironomid larvae, dragonfly nymphs, mayflies, and other aquatic insect larvae, along with mollusks, small fish, and shrimp. Adults mainly prey on benthic fish, such as Coelia pleuralionex and silverfish, as well as crustaceans and aquatic insects. Though their usual prey appears modest in size, that is because adult Chinese sturgeons typically measure only 2 to 3 meters. Any sturgeon growing beyond 4, even 5 meters, its hunting targets remain unknown. Perhaps this one has preyed upon juvenile finless porpoises. Are you delivering this fish to me specifically? Well then, I suppose I'll forgive you for spitting water at me. Lin picked up the small green fish in his jaws, and upon looking up discovered the young finless porpoise had already returned to the river. Lin paid it no further mind, lifted his head, and swallowed the fish whole. After finishing his meal, Lin also crawled into the river ready to hunt for his breakfast. Soon he spotted a Russian sturgeon. Lin didn't hesitate. He darted forward with incredible speed and swallowed it in one bite, devouring it completely in no time. Afterward, Lin swam toward the deeper parts of the river, hoping to find something larger. Before long, he was already half satisfied. Ah, how comfortable life in the river truly was. He could go wherever he pleased, eat whatever he desired, and answer to no one. He wished this feeling could last forever. But alas, he now possessed only half of his original lifespan, just 60 years remaining. Still, he chose to remain optimistic. After all, in his previous life, he hadn't even reached the age of 20. What's the point of dwelling on such thoughts? Only the present moment brings true peace. With that, Lin swam toward the river's surface. Upon reaching the riverbank, he flipped onto his back and quietly basked in the warmth of the sun. But soon after, a plump, white fish head suddenly emerged beside him. Lin didn't even need to look. He recognized the creature solely by scent. It was that little river dolphin. However, this time it held a small fish in its mouth and swam toward Lin's side, placing the fish right beside him. Lin felt quite embarrassed. What are you doing? You've already brought me food twice. Is this your way of thanking me for saving you from that Chinese sturgeon yesterday? Haha, we can't even communicate. You wouldn't understand anyway, the dolphin seemed to think. Unable to respond verbally, the dolphin merely sprayed a mouthful of water toward Lin's face. Sigh, I don't know why you're so fond of spitting on people's faces. Never mind. I'll let it slide since you're still young and quite cute. And just then another spray of saliva hit his face. Oh, come on. Go away. I won't bother with you. If it weren't for your chubby, adorable appearance and the 2 fish you've already brought me, I'd have sent you to meet the king of hell long ago. The river dolphin tilted its head cutely, but no longer sprayed water. Instead, it swam back and forth beside Lin as if playing. Lin felt an inexplicable emotion well up within him. What do you want now? Don't tell me you've decided to stick with me. If I can't be bothered, he thought. From morning until sunset, the river dolphin and the crocodile rested quietly on the water's surface, gazing at the setting sun and enjoying their free moments together. Suddenly, Lin turned to the dolphin. You've followed me all day. I see you have no companion, and neither do I. How about you stick with me? Be my little brother, and I'll make sure you eat well and live well. The dolphin merely tilted its head, as before, and continued resting on the river's surface. Since you won't speak, I'll take that as agreement. You've already become my brother, but you can't go without a name. My surname is Lu, so you'll share it too. Let me think. Something like Little White, or Little Hui. Those names are far too common and won't suit you. How about this? Based on your species habits, I'll call you Lu Baisha. No, that sounds too silly. Let me try again. I'll give you the courtesy name Bai, and your nickname can be Shada Bai. The Riv. Thus Lu Lin and Shada Bai remained beneath the sunset until nightfall. Still hungry, Lu Lin prepared to venture back into the river to hunt for larger fish. As he headed toward the deeper reaches, Shada Bai followed along. At first there was no issue, but as they drifted ever farther from the shallows, Shada Bai suddenly felt unwell, as if suffocating for oxygen, and rapidly swam back toward the river surface. Watching from nearby, Lu Lin could only laugh and shake his head. Oh dear, Shada Bai really is foolish. I can venture into the deep river. That's because I'm me. Can you really go there too? I'm a saltwater crocodile. I dare to roam the deep sea. You should simply stay near the river surface and catch whatever small fish you like. You know where my nest is anyway. See you there later. Lu Lin then surged toward the deep water area at even greater speed. In no time he reached the depths. Before taking more than a few strokes, he encountered a big gray carp nearly 2 meters long. Lu Lin was overjoyed. It's the deep river that holds the grand prizes. Out there these giants are rare as hen's teeth, but here they swarm in every direction. If any angler saw me devouring such large fish in a single bite, their hearts would ache to death. Within less than an hour or two, Lu Lin had eaten his fill and began swimming back toward his nest. As he approached, he noticed that Shada Bai the finless porpoise was in hot pursuit of a largemouth catfish roughly the same size as itself. The catfish had a tiny fish clamped in its jaws, now unrecognizable, and was swallowing it. Greed. Could it be just for that fish in its mouth? That can't be right. Even though Shada Bai may be foolish, it still shouldn't be unable to catch even a single fish on its own. And even if it couldn't, its simple and timid nature would never drive it to steal food from another fish's mouth. Could it be? Damn it. Before he could finish his thought, Lu Lin darted rapidly toward the largemouth catfish, shouting as he swam. Then there's only one possibility, that this catfish stole the fish from him. I just accepted him as my junior brother, and it dares to bully him right in front of me. It really doesn't have me in its eyes at all. Lu Lin quickly closed in on the catfish from behind, then charged forward with blinding speed, splitting the beast clean in half with a single bite. All the while he kept muttering, "What kind of strength do you have? You dare snatch food in front of my junior brother? Fine, now I'll send you off to be reborn sooner. Be more careful next time." As he spoke, Lu Lin swallowed the lower half of the catfish. Just as he was about to take the upper half, he did. And so Lu Lin and his dull companion Shada Bai spent their days in the Longjiang River, eating and sleeping in endless cycles, passing the year in contentment. By then Lu Lin had reached the age of 5 in his crocodilian form, yet his body underwent even more astonishing growth. Throughout the year, feasting voraciously within the Longjiang River basin, his length surged from 5 meters to 7 meters, a full 2 meters of expansion. His weight proved even more staggering, skyrocketing from over 600 jin to well past a ton, nearly doubling. No doubt his lavish feasting had swollen him considerably. Regardless, Lu Lin had truly become the sovereign of these waters. Even the smallest fishing vessels could be capsized by him with ease. Yet should any fishing boat appear before him, Lu Lin would choose to evade, for he had not yet exhausted his taste for freedom and wished no more to be captured and confined within a cage for the remainder of his days. Beside him, Shada Bai had grown frail. Could it be that my eyes are deceiving me? With that thought, he rolled over and submerged himself into the water, giving a few lazy swings to rinse his eyes. After cleaning them, he turned and gazed once more toward the sun, and what he saw left him breathless. Good heavens! This is no ordinary enlargement of the sun. The sun has fallen. This revelation sent a shiver through Lu Lin's entire body. He abandoned his sun bath at once, clamped his jaws onto Shada Bai's right flipper, and plunged into the depths of the Longjiang River with desperate speed. When he finally reached deeper waters and looked upward, he could still see a blazing sphere resembling the sun itself, hurtling toward Blue Star. What on earth is happening? How can the sun fall from the sky? I'll stop thinking such nonsense. How could the sun possibly fall? Then what exactly is that thing? Is this an alien invasion of Earth? Before Lu Lin could ponder further, Shada Bai beside him began thrashing wildly. Perhaps because Lu Lin had yanked him too hastily earlier, the poor creature had been pulled underwater without a chance to breathe, and now suffered from a desperate lack of oxygen. Watching his distressed companion and the colossal fireball overhead, Lu Lin found himself paralyzed with indecision. But within the span of a single minute, he had made his choice. If that is indeed a fireball crashing down, we cannot escape it beneath the river anyway. We might as well face death with dignity. Saying this, he once again seized Shada Bai and swiftly swam toward the river's surface. Upon breaking through, Shada Bai rapidly gulped in several breaths of air, gradually recovering. Meanwhile, Lu Lin remained nearby, quietly watching the celestial fireball draw ever closer. And the more he gazed upon it, the more familiar it appeared. Muttering to himself, he whispered, "No? How is that possible? Then am I transmigrated or reborn?" LV Lin looked up at the fireball once more. Suddenly, missiles from all around the world launched toward it. With a thunderous blast, the fireball shattered into countless fragments. Witnessing this scene, LV Lin finally understood. I am reborn, not transmigrated. So that's how it is. No wonder Longjiang City sounds so familiar. This is actually the southernmost area of my original hometown, Huanan City. But if I'm here, could the original LV Lin still be in Huanan City? Just then LV Lin felt excruciating pain surge through his head, once again his mouth shouting. Then who exactly am I? Why have I been reborn? Why have I become an alligator? Meanwhile, high above, a massive meteorite fragment was hurtling toward LV Lin's location. With a deafening crash, the enormous fragment blocked the entire Longjiang River, splitting it into two separate channels. The impact force from the meteorite's fall drove both LV Lin and Bai deep into the river. After a while, LV Lin gradually awakened from the depths of the Longjiang River. After confirming he had sustained no fatal injuries, he began to observe his surroundings. Finding himself in the deep river, he slowly felt reassured. However, just as he turned to swim toward the shore, he spotted Bai gasping for oxygen, slowly sinking to the riverbed. Panicked, LV Lin quickly bit onto Bai's right fin and swam toward the surface. Once they reached the surface, he swiftly placed Bai on top of his head. When Lu Lin regained consciousness once more, his first instinct was to check the silly white creature clutched to his chest, only to find it long gone. His heart skipped a beat, and he frantically scanned his surroundings. Just as he turned around, a wad of spit landed squarely on him. Startled, he whirled around. There it was, Bai finally awake. Without hesitation, Lu Lin surged forward and enveloped the creature in a fierce bear hug. In that quiet moment, Lu Lin realized something astonishing. Those once stubby forelimbs, which could barely reach his own mouth, were now long enough to wrap completely around Bai. Pulling back, he was overcome with delight. Bai's size, it's visibly grown, he exclaimed. It's gone from 1.7 meters to over 2 meters, and its weight must have increased by several dozen caddies. But as he looked closer, something even more unbelievable caught his eye. 2 brilliant golden stripes now flanked Bai's eyes. Before Lu Lin could. To bring me back through rebirth to save everyone, I still don't know whether the human version of myself even exists in this era, but it doesn't matter. Those are minor concerns. Staring at his own 7.5 meter long body, Lu Lin felt an unprecedented sense of security. Since this is rebirth and not transmigration, then I'll simply embrace this new life without worry. I won't play the part of any savior. The fact that I was reborn is my own fortune. You think I'd go protect those people? Keep dreaming. Even if I'm just a crocodile now, and even if I were human again, having been reborn with such overwhelming power, at best I'd merely serve as a bodyguard beside those self-serving, shameless, wealthy clans. Such affairs were already commonplace long before Lu Lin's rebirth. Truly, we are still in the early stages of the spiritual energy revival. Wait until later and you will see nations immediately begin scrambling for those meager resources, treating commoners as nothing. It gets even better. Before nations can even determine a victor, the demonic beasts will already be sweeping across everything. What can we do? We cannot rally them at all. They only think of serving their own nation's interests, never realizing that only humans are fighting civil wars, while those demonic beasts themselves follow the law of the jungle. The strong grow stronger while the weak were long since extinguished. In the end, apart from the Dragon Nation where I was located, only the Russian nation and the American nation were not too fragmented by the demonic beasts. As for all the other nations, truly small countries were wiped out completely and large countries were scattered and rebuilt into regional base cities for human survival. Even after being reorganized into base cities, they still could not stop vying for the meager resources left by commoners. When scattered into base cities because the routes in between were blocked by demonic beasts, national orders could not be delivered in time. As a result, at that time, although the base cities had been funded and built by the state to protect citizens from demonic beast attacks, they were privately occupied by local plutocrats and powerful families. The resources the state provided to the base cities ultimately fell into the hands of these plutocrats or families. On this day, Lu Lin awakened atop a spirit stone. Might feel a bit stronger today. This is already the 3rd day of the spiritual energy resurgence. I wonder if there are any other spirit beasts in the transformation stage born, he mused. There should be, I think. Around the 4th or 5th day, some spirit beasts might already have first-tier strength. Back then, people who kept large dogs at home, their pets entered the transformation stage without much notice. But as time passed, when they reached first tier and their intelligence improved, they began attacking humans. Those dogs and cats didn't change much during the transformation stage, at most growing in size, which was indeed unremarkable. But in the wild, it was a different story. Take me, for example. I grew over a meter longer, though that might be due to my own constitution. But look at Bai. He grew from 1.7 meters to 2 meters. What about tigers, lions, brown bears, and the like? Anyway, Lu Lin said no more and swiftly swam toward the Chinese sturgeon. With a burst of speed, he lunged forward and went for a bite, intending to snap it in two. But as a spirit beast that had already entered the transformation stage, it was no longer as foolish as ordinary animals. When it sensed Lu Lin's attack, it dodged, easily evading the strike with its more agile body. While LV Lin realized that he had dodged, he became furious. "Ah, you little fish, so agile. Damn, take this tail." LV Lin turned sideways and swung his tail towards the Chinese sturgeon. This time the Chinese sturgeon did not evade. relying on its fish nature to swim agilely in the water. It instead charged towards LV Lin's waist. However, its attack was merely a tickle for LV Lin. It couldn't even leave a scratch on his scales. Yet this made LV Lin even angrier. Oh, for heaven's sake. Fine, you're just faster than me, aren't you? I've been too nice to you. Even if I stand still, and you hit me 10 times, I'll be unscathed, but one strike from me will instantly kill you. The Chinese sturgeon seemed to have realized this, and stopped attacking LV Lin, instead fleeing into the distance. But how could LV Lin let it escape? Soon, just as the Chinese sturgeon felt it had escaped danger, a figure faster than it suddenly appeared ahead and attacked. The sturgeon, exhausted from its efforts, failed to dodge, and was caught by its right fin. As it prepared to counterattack, a crunch was heard, and the sturgeon's head ended up in LV Lin's mouth. "Humphy little thing. I gave you too much face thinking you could escape," he said, then began to devour the sturgeon's corpse together with Shadabai. Full. Let's go, Shadabai. Back to cultivation, he grumbled as they walked. Really, a 7-meter-long crocodile like me couldn't even catch a fish. People would laugh. Sigh, that was just the transformation period. Even a Chinese sturgeon dared to strike back at me. I wonder if later, when stronger creatures appear, I can still live as freely. Sigh, that was still the transformation period. Even a Chinese sturgeon dared to strike back at me. I wonder if later, when stronger creatures appear, I can still live as freely. I can't quite remember. Anyway, it must be one of the two. Sigh, why think about this? They have already evolved into a new race, haven't they, eh? I don't know what I'll evolve into. There are many powerful crocodile-type beasts. To evolve from an ordinary beast to a new race of spirit beast, you need luck. Some beasts become new species as soon as they evolve, gaining powerful abilities and unique supernatural powers. Others are unlucky all their lives and remain mere beasts. Even if they evolve into a new species, they have no supernatural power. Then LV Lin looked at Shadabai beside him. You, this finless porpoise. If you haven't awakened your power, what are those golden stripes beside your eyes for? If you have awakened, it's not unheard of to awaken during the transformation period, but I've never seen you use it. And you don't look like a new species, you're not much different from before. Sigh, on the night of the spiritual energy awakening, I experimented and asked Shadabai to try to show any ability, but he just shook his head. Sigh, forget it. Even if you haven't awakened, I can protect you. Trust your brat. Forget it. Let's not talk so much. Let's go back and continue absorbing spiritual energy. After all, talking so much is useless. But although Shadabai couldn't understand, he instinctively spat a mouthful of water at LV Lin. This made LV Lin very helpless. After more than a year, this habit just wouldn't change. On that day when Lu Lin awoke, he suddenly felt a tremor course through his body. The spiritual energy around him seemed to have grown denser. Even standing directly upon the spirit stone, he could sense the sudden thickening of qi. Though he did not know why, Lu Lin felt his cultivation had reached a breakthrough point. He sensed he must shatter this barrier if he was to grow stronger still. Fortunately, Lu Lin spent the day perched upon the spirit stone rather than hunting, remaining motionless for 2 full days. During this time, he seemed to enter a dormant state, aware yet able to breathe underwater, simply unable to stir. Meanwhile, Shadabai lived in constant dread throughout those 2 days. But on the second night, suddenly the spiritual energy in the sky found its breach, surging toward Lu Lin's body with terrifying velocity. At that moment, a monumental transformation seized his form. His body lengthened from 7.5 meters to over 9, and his weight surged to 2 tons. It was the 10th night of the spiritual energy resurgence. While all of humanity had drifted into sweet dreams on a cliff at the border between Longjiang River and the wilderness forest, there stood a withered giant pine tree. Yet upon its branches hung a fruit pulsing with a faint crimson glow. At that very moment, dark clouds suddenly swirled overhead, and all the surrounding spiritual energy surged toward the pine tree, or more accurately, toward the fruit itself. Threads of electricity gathered within the looming clouds. Then in the next instant, a deafening crash. A bolt of heavenly lightning plummeted straight for the fruit. The withered branches of the pine tree turned entirely to ash, leaving only the main trunk and a single fruit atop it. The fruit withstood the thunderous strike, growing round and plump, its body now glowing an intense crimson with faint red currents radiating from around it. In that instant, all the mutant beasts within thousands of li opened their eyes. His heart swelled with joy. Haha, there can be no mistake. That intense fragrance. I never expected to have such fortune again, LV Lin, you old dog. He recalled his past life in South China Bay City, where he had studied under the teachers of the Mutant Beast High School and learned of extraordinary spiritual fruits. During the spiritual energy resurgence era, some plants that absorbed sufficient spiritual energy would transform into mutant beasts like animals. Yet these beasts were exceedingly rare, far stronger than ordinary mutant beasts, and renowned for their terrifying regenerative abilities. But on this planet with countless plants existing, why did so few actually transform? He let out a sigh. If a spiritual fruit can be born here, I wonder if this is a blessing or a curse. Then he shrugged inwardly. But what does it matter? As long as I can obtain this spiritual fruit, isn't that all that counts? I wonder what kind of spiritual fruit this will be. But this has given me an idea. During his time in South China Bay City, while studying at the Mutant Beast High School, he had read a tome titled Record of 10,000 Herbs and Fruits. It mentioned that there existed another type of spiritual fruit that did not require natural heavenly creation. According to the text, if the corpses of 10,000 mutant beasts of the same realm were placed together for 3 years, a spiritual flower, known as the spiritual blood flower, could be born. Its effects were truly extraordinary. Back when he was still human, he had once thought of cultivating one for himself after reaching a certain strength. Now in retrospect, he had failed to do so then. But he was a mutant beast now. It should not be difficult. Never mind, I'll put that aside for now. Let me see what this naturally born treasure is first, he said, nudging the heavily sleeping Shadabai with his tail. Hey Shadabai, wake up. Really, you're a first-rank beast now. Can't you smell or sense anything? A wonderful treasure is being born. Wake up right now. Soon Shadabai stirred from his slumber and looked at Lu Lin in utter confusion. Lu Lin scolded him angrily. Why are you staring at me like that? You're already a first-rank beast. Your body has grown to 3 meters long and weighs over 400 gene, looking like a fat pig. I've no time for your nonsense. Move quickly. Follow me. Let's hurry to the place emitting that fruity fragrance. Shadabai, still drowsy, trailed behind Lu Lin. In a giant tree hollow nearby, a silverback gorilla standing over 2 meters tall also caught the scent of fruit wafting through the air. He hammered his chest with both hands and let out a terrifying roar toward the sky, then sprinted swiftly toward the fragrance. On another side atop a cliff, a golden eagle with a wingspan of 4 meters likewise detected the scent and took flight, soaring rapidly toward the source. Back to Lu Lin, as he and Shadabai swam at full speed, he suddenly sensed massive water turbulence ahead. Lu Lin came to a halt while Shadabai behind him crashed headlong into his tail. Lu Lin turned around and complained, Shadabai, watch where you're going. Be careful a monster doesn't jump out and swallow you in one bite. Though Shadabai didn't understand the words, he roused himself and stayed. After swimming for a while, when Lu Lin came to a halt once more, 2 colossal creatures came into view before him, still locked in fierce combat. One was a Chinese sturgeon that had grown to over 6 meters in length, while the other was a Chinese paddlefish measuring over 8 meters. Watching the 8-meter paddlefish, Lu Lin was deeply perplexed within his heart. What on earth? I had no idea what this would turn out to be. I never expected it to be a paddlefish. Hasn't this creature gone extinct? And this fellow has also reached its metamorphosis stage, its body length surpassing 8 meters. Good heavens, this creature is no weaker than the Chinese sturgeon. I never thought that this river domain, which I rarely visit, could produce a being of such prowess. Lu Lin pondered for a moment. Whether you are extinct or not, since you inhabit this river domain, then I'm afraid I cannot allow you to live. With that, he used his tail to fling the foolish white giant aside and charged swiftly toward the paddlefish. Meanwhile, the paddlefish was engaged in a desperate struggle with the Chinese sturgeon. Benefiting from its superior size and species advantage, it had completely dominated its opponent. Just as it was about to deliver a fatal blow, it suddenly felt a chill race down its spine. Before the paddlefish could react, Lu Lin sank his teeth into its caudal fin and with a powerful twist slammed it violently against the adjacent rock wall. The impact left the paddlefish lifeless, sinking toward the depths of the river. However, in Lu Lin's eyes, even the Chinese sturgeon had not died instantly, let alone this 8-meter paddlefish. Not content to linger and play along, he swiftly lunged for the paddlefish's head. Lu Lin tilted his head upward and discovered that on a nearby cliff stood a withered tree, its branches long gone, leaving only the main trunk. At the very peak of that tree hung a crimson fruit, emitting an intoxicating fragrance with faint traces of red lightning visibly surging around it. Lu Lin's heart leapt with excitement. A thunder dao fruit. Actually, a thunder dao fruit, he exclaimed. I remember seeing something like this in the Fruit Expo at Myriad Herb Forest. It was discovered 8 years after the spiritual energy resurgence by someone on a small island in the Eastern Sea. Only a single one was found then, yet here I encounter another. According to the records, whoever consumes it will see their spiritual power surge dramatically and awaken the ability to command thunder. Their speed, too, will become extraordinarily swift, aided by the power of lightning. Back when I saw it featured in the Myriad Herb Forest Expo, I was utterly consumed with envy. Imagine wielding tea. Exactly right, silly big white. You must be eager to taste that first stage flesh too. Hey silly big white, hey. Damn, I'm starting to catch his habit. I've already reached the shore and completely forgot about him. Never mind, I'll save him some later. Sigh, I wonder where that golden eagle has flown off to. What if he snatches the thunder dao fruit right out of the sky? Well, that's not entirely impossible. No, this position is still too far away. Then what position would work? How can I stay close to the thunder dao fruit without being detected? Lin Lu glanced around the vicinity of the cliff. Got it. Isn't the Longjiang River right below the cliff? I can just swim over there directly. Honestly. And how could I not find the thunder dao fruit earlier? It was right above me the whole time. I'm truly clueless. Having said that, Lin Lu began climbing down toward the Longjiang River. Before long, he reached the river and started swimming downstream. Sai, where did you go to buy? I've returned to the river and you've vanished. Maybe he went off to play somewhere. Forget it, it doesn't matter. The thunder dao fruit is far more important. Just as Lin Lu swam halfway, he suddenly sensed something. That aura is. Wait, something's off about this aura. This aura belongs to that white sturgeon. Why would there be a white sturgeon's aura here? And Dabai has disappeared. Could it be? No, I must hurry to find him. But just as Lin Lu turned around ready to search for Dabai, he seemed to remember something. He glanced back at the thunder Dao fruit still perched on the cliff above. As Lin Lu hesitated, trying to think it through. Damn it. I can't afford to hesitate now. To hell with the thunder Dao fruit. I don't need it anymore. Lin Lu quickly dived into the river, sniffed the air to track Dabai's scent, identified the direction, and swam at full speed. Before long, relying on his sense of smell, Lin Lu found Dabai. He discovered him battered and bruised, clamped onto the right fin of a white sturgeon, yanking at it wildly. Seeing the wounds covering Dabai's body, Lin Lu flew into a rage. Without a word, he swam straight toward the white sturgeon. The sturgeon had also spotted Lin Lu's arrival and tried to make a swift escape, but found itself unable to break free from Dabai's relentless grip. Lin Lu seized the opportunity and sank his teeth into the sturgeon's head. With a sharp crack, the sturgeon's entire head was crushed by Lin Lu. But Lin Lu still wasn't satisfied. Even in death, he unleashed his ultimate technique, the crocodile roll, tearing the sturgeon's body into shreds. With fury burning in his sea. But Dabai still didn't respond. He simply spat a mouthful of water, this time right onto Lin Lu's face. "You brat. Once you reach the 4th stage and can actually talk, I'll train you properly." Having said that, the two of them devoured the white sturgeon's flesh greedily. Actually, at this moment, Lin Lu still felt a touch of regret in his heart. After all, the thunder Dao fruit. Who among boys wouldn't want to possess such a treasure? It grants the power to control thunder. But looking at Dabai's enthusiastic expression as he gobbled up the food, Lin Lu sighed. "Who asked me to have only you as my so-called friend? It's fine. If we missed it this time, we missed it. When we reach the 5th or 6th stage and have enough strength to protect ourselves, we'll visit the East Sea. Maybe we'll run into it again." Dabai said nothing, merely continuing to eat in silence. Before long, noon arrived. After finishing the remaining white sturgeon carcasses, Lu Lin and his companion, the foolish white bear, swam toward the cliff. He still harbored a faint hope that the thunder Dao fruit might remain unharvested. Alas, when Lu Lin crawled ashore alone, he found only scattered corpses littering the ground, while the fruit from the withered tree had long vanished. "I knew I was too late," he sighed. "But perhaps it doesn't matter anymore." As he surveyed the carnage, only 1 or 2 gray wolves were seen dragging remnants nearby. Without hesitation, Lu Lin burst from the bush and charged straight at the 2 molting stage gray wolves. Upon seeing Lu Lin's enormous frame, the wolves offered no resistance and fled on the spot. Lu Lin was utterly stunned. Aren't gray wolves supposed to be brave? I remember them biting brown bears without flinching. Whatever, they probably fled from my intimidating presence, he muttered. Never mind. I'll take this first-rank wild ox back for Shah Dabai to taste. It's a pity, though, he mused. The spiritual energy I sensed from that white sturgeon was merely at the molting stage, not yet reaching 1st rank. But it may be close, considering a white sturgeon can grow 5 or 6 meters long, and the largest specimens even reach over 7 meters. With that, he wasted no further time and bit into the hind leg of the wild ox, slowly dragging it toward the Longjiang River. Once in the river, he swam toward their lair with Shah Dabai in tow. Upon spotting the massive wild ox, the bear first grew flustered, then shamelessly threw himself onto the carcass, demanding to be pulled along. "Honestly, Shah Dabai, get off me. How can the top dog be the one doing all the pulling? You bastard, get off right now." Shah Dabai merely tilted his head. "Sai, I suppose I can't do anything with you," Lu Lin said, abandoning further protest as he continued swimming toward the lair. After a while, just as Lu Lin was leisurely towing the wild ox, he suddenly caught sight of something remarkable. The silverback gorilla, his inner silverback great ape companion, was cleansing its wounds by the riverbank, and clutched firmly in its hand was the thunder Dao fruit. Ha ha ha, who would have thought? What's destined to be mine shall inevitably be mine. Even more surprising is that this silverback gorilla must be the beast that dominated this region during the later stages of spiritual energy revival. It seems consuming the thunder Dao rice granted it such terrifying power. But all of this will soon be mine. With that, Lu Lin dropped the wild ox from his mouth and employed the lurking technique he hadn't used in ages, slowly gliding through the water toward the silverback go. Though grievously wounded, its instincts told it that devouring this fruit would restore its injuries and grant it overwhelming power. Just as the silverback gorilla raised the thunder Dao fruit with both hands, Lu Lin, having drawn close enough, wasted no moment and sank his fangs into the gorilla's right foot, attempting to drag it into the river. As a first-rank creature, the silverback gorilla reacted swiftly. Despite its injuries, it fought back with all its might against Lu Lin's tug. Yet all resistance proved futile. With a single powerful heave of its head, Lu Lin hurled the 600 to 800-pound silverback gorilla into the river. When the silverback gorilla fell into the river, it still attempted to resist, thrashing its fists wildly in the water. However, these efforts were futile. Even though the gorilla had consumed the thunder Dao fruit and become formidable, Lu Lin felt no fear in the water. Diving beneath the surface, he made the gorilla lose sight of him, then swam behind it, opened his jaws wide, and bit down on its right arm. With a sharp tug, he dragged the entire creature underwater. Lu Lin intended to use the death roll to tear the gorilla in two, but as he prepared to execute the maneuver, he was astonished to find the gorilla clinging tightly to his head. Lu Lin snorted, "Do you think holding on to me will save you? Humph, in the river no trick you try will work." So saying, Lu Lin began swimming deeper into the Longjiang River, dragging the gorilla down with him. Before they had descended halfway, the gorilla could no longer bear it. It flung away the Thunder Dao fruit and struggled desperately. However, in the water, resistance rendered the gorilla's punches against Lu Lin's scales nothing more than a mild, even pleasant massage. When Lu Lin saw the Thunder Dao fruit being swept away by the current, he hesitated no longer. Seizing the gorilla's moment of vulnerability, he yanked hard, then executed a death roll, tearing off the gorilla's entire arm. Deprived of oxygen, and with its arms severed, the gorilla was unable to swim up for air and slowly sank to the riverbed lifeless. Lu Lin did not spare it a second glance. He turned and chased after the Thunder Dao fruit. Before long, guided by the lingering fragrance of the fruit, he reached another stretch of the river. At that moment, he accelerated. Isn't this species supposed to be extinct? Are they kidding me? How is it that another one pops up? Lu Lin studied this paddlefish and found it even more slender and robust than the previous one, fully 9 meters in length, nearly matching his own. I was just regretting not having tasted a tier 1 paddlefish, and now one delivers itself to me. What luck! Though both were 9 meters long and of the same tier, when it came to a conflict between a fish and a saltwater crocodile, well, except for ocean fish, few aquatic creatures could rival a crocodile. The paddlefish, attracted by the Thunder Dao fruit's aroma, had spotted Lu Lin about to claim it and charged straight into him. But it had overestimated itself, thinking that knocking Lu Lin aside would secure the rare spiritual fruit. Lu Lin showed no hesitation. Upon seeing the white sturgeon pursuing the Thunder Dao fruit, he hurried to chase after it. In the very next instant, utilizing his extraordinary swimming speed in the river, the sturgeon snapped up the Thunder Dao fruit with a single bite. Just as the sturgeon's heart swelled with delight, Lu Lin arrived in time. Spotting the fruit clamped in the sturgeon's mouth, he executed a sharp charge using the same technique, and sent the creature flying, causing the Thunder Dao fruit to be flung aside. At this moment, Lu Lin intended to seize the fruit directly, but when he glanced at the seemingly unharmed sturgeon nearby, a sense of unease surged within him. He well understood that the white sturgeon would not easily give up. If he rashly went for the fruit now, he would surely be ambushed again. Resolving to press his advantage, he charged at the sturgeon once more. Sensing Lu Lin's approach, the sturgeon deftly sidestepped, evading his attack. It flicked its tail, sending a powerful current surging toward Lu Lin. Lu Lin stabilized his form, unfazed by the water's assault, and opened his massive jaws, letting out a low, menacing roar. The sturgeon swiftly circled behind Lu Lin, attempting to launch a surprise strike. But Lu Lin seemed to have eyes in the back of his head. His thick tail swept around with sudden force, smashing toward the sturgeon. Unable to dodge in time, the sturgeon was struck in the abdomen and tumbled painfully in the water. Bah, with your skill level, you still thought you could ambush old Master Lu. Now you know what pain feels like. Seizing the opportunity, Lu Lin spun around and dashed toward the Thunder Dao fruit. However, enduring excruciating pain, the injured sturgeon doggedly followed, close behind Lu Lin. Fortunately, due to its wounds, its speed was considerably reduced. Lu Lin successfully clamped his teeth around the Thunder Dao fruit, swallowed it into his mouth, and hastily swam toward the riverbank. After reaching land, he looked back at the river and discovered the white sturgeon had followed him as well. Lu Lin placed the Thunder Dao fruit from his mouth to one side and said in a mocking tone, Well, isn't this the white sturgeon? What capability do you even have, little brother? Come on then, I'll just leave it right here. Come and snatch it if you can. Though unable to climb onto shore, the sturgeon in the river could not understand what this massive creature before it was saying, yet it still felt an overwhelming surge of anger. Meanwhile, Lu Lin continued to taunt the sturgeon from above. "Sai, who told you to ram me? Even if you hit me, it doesn't mean you could take the fruit. Forget it. Old Master Lu is magnanimous and will not quibble with a mere little fish pup. I'm off now. No need to see me out. I'll simply stroll along the bank." Ha ha. Saying this, he picked up the Thunder Dao fruit again with his mouth and swam toward the river area where Dabai was located. The sturgeon could only swim back and forth in the river. After a while, Lu Lin arrived at the river area where Dabai was, sniffed the air and swam in her direction. As he drew closer, he found that Dabai was still struggling to drag the body of a first-tier wild bull. However, in Lu Lin's eyes, considering Dabai's small size and her attempt to drag him near. Upon seeing Lu Lin return, Dabai promptly released the first-tier wild bull's carcass and quietly followed behind him. At this moment, Lu Lin and his goofy companion Dabai were on their way back to the nest, yet Lu Lin's thoughts drifted elsewhere. "It feels as though I've forgotten something," he mused. "I've obtained the Thunder Dao fruit, and even secured a first-rank wild bovine carcass for dinner. What could I possibly be forgetting?" Suddenly, Lu Lin's swimming motion halted. Fortunately, Dabai behind him deftly dodged and avoided colliding with Lu Lin's tail. Then came Lu Lin's loud exclamation, "Damn it! That silverback gorilla! I completely forgot about him." Spiritual energy has just begun to revive, and that silverback gorilla had already reached the first rank. Those hundreds of gene of flesh and blood. I'm not even sure where I stashed him. Oh, what a pity. If I were still human back, then those hundreds of gene of beast meat would have propelled me to break through to the second rank long ago. In the early days of spiritual energy revival, the meat of mutant beasts was considered a supreme tonic. During the government's extermination campaigns against these creatures, some had consumed such beast meat. Even if they didn't immediately become martial artists, their physical qualities were profoundly enhanced, which is why those wealthy elites and influential families had started buying up mutant beast meat in massive quantities. But before they could accumulate sufficient reserves, the state forcibly intervened and put an end to it. Sigh. At this point, Lu Lin could only feel a trace of regret. But what was done was done. After all, I'm no longer human anymore. Besides this entire Longjiang River region, I'm certain the newly emerged first-rank mutant beasts are far from scarce, he thought. With that, Lu Lin hastily swam back toward the nest with Dabai. Before long, night fell, and Lu Lin and Dabai successfully returned to their nest. This nest, however, was not the one Lu Lin had originally built. The original structure had been crushed flat when the meteorite fragment fell. Fortunately, Lu Lin simply reconstructed a new nest upon the exposed patch of spirit stone. This not only allowed him to absorb the spiritual energy emanating from the stone, but also helped conceal the massive spirit stone FR. And directly consuming it could even cause my body to burst from the overwhelming energy. These are cases I'd learned about. Back when I was still human and attended high school among mutant beasts, we studied such rare and miraculous fruits. When consumed by humans, while they could enhance most abilities, a small portion of the spiritual energy would inevitably be wasted. Furthermore, if humans directly consumed those powerful rare fruits, they risked being literally blown apart. The best method was to have specially trained individuals refine them into potions, far more suitable for human consumption and ensuring one wouldn't be destroyed in the process. But looking at it now, do I really need to find someone to refine this into a potion? Damn it, I've become a crocodile. What do I have to fear? My current body is incomparably stronger than any humans. I'll go all out. If it works, I'll live freely and effortlessly. If it doesn't, well, I doubt my body will just burst open. LV Lin hardened his heart and swallowed the Thunder Dao fruit in one gulp. He then lay prone on the cliff, quietly awaiting the evolution. However, after a while, LV Lin wondered, wait, I've eaten it for a while now, but I don't feel anything. Except that the fruit tastes pretty good, a bit like tomato. I don't feel anything special. Could it be fake? Damn, are you kidding me? How could the Thunder Dao fruit be fake? Just then, LV Lin suddenly felt a powerful surge of spiritual energy within his abdomen, impacting his internal organs. The sudden intense pain caused him to instantly lose consciousness. After LV Lin fainted, the spiritual energy on the cliff seemed to find a breach, frantically rushing into his body. Meanwhile, LV Lin's body was quietly undergoing changes. The evolution was extremely lengthy. On the first day, faint blue electric currents emanated from LV Lin's body. On the second day, the scales on his body became as smooth as tiny mirrors, yet even harder. By the fifth day, a pack of gray wolves suddenly appeared around LV Lin, led by one of the two first-rank gray wolves that had escaped death that day. Under the leadership of this first-rank gray wolf, they continuously circled LV Lin's body, searching for a soft spot to attack. However, after several hours of searching, they found none, enraging the first-rank gray wolf. It began to attack LV Lin's head, but just as it was about, because one knows the strength of their own body. For example, at the first rank, one could easily fling a creature weighing several hundred gene with a single tail swipe, while at the second rank, one could fling 1,000 gene. Returning to the main topic, LV Lin saw that his massive body had grown from over 9 meters to 12 meters in length, and his weight had exceeded 3 tons. The scales on his body had become extremely hard. Haha, not bad. Reaching the second rank has greatly boosted my strength. Oh wait, I feel like something is missing. Suddenly, LV Lin's veins bulged, and he felt a power surging within his body. At that moment, the smooth scales on his back began to rise one by one. As they stood up, red electric currents gathered above them, continuing all the way to the tail. LV Lin was thrilled within himself, thinking, I knew it was this kind of thunder ability and red lightning at that. How magnificent. He tilted his head to observe his own body, noticing that every part of his 4 limbs bore markings of crimson thunder, especially upon his tail, where scales erupted layer by layer, crackling with red currents. Haha, if it were nighttime, I would be the most dazzling crocodile in the crowd. Ah, it truly is. But does this form possess any offensive capabilities? Handsome as it may be, he mused. Suddenly, LV Lin began concentrating his will, his gaze fixed upon the withered tree ahead, chanting inwardly, thunder, strike it down. Strike it, strike it. Minutes elapsed, and the moisture in his eyes nearly evaporated from the strain, yet not a single bolt of lightning appeared. Damn it, how am I supposed to use this thing? I once read about this in my textbooks at the Beast Academy. Certain techniques are unleashed through mental focus. Could I be employing the wrong method? Then came a shocking sight. A 12-meter-long giant crocodile had rolled itself into a ball. Indeed, it was LV Lin. Haha, this ought to work. Behold my thunder whirlwind ball. With that, he attempted a single ceremonial roll before collapsing. No way. This saltwater crocodile physique simply can't handle it. I can barely bend my waist like this. Sigh, truly exasperating. It seems I must resort to another method. Opening his jaws wide, he bellowed, "Witness my thunder cannon." Yay. 10 minutes passed, and he gasped, "I can no longer continue. My throat feels as though it's smoking. Why is this happening? Seriously, I'm utterly fed up. This was never covered when I was human. Never mind, I'll practice another time. I should return and check on Dubai. I wonder how long this evolution took." Just then, as Lin turned his head, the red currents at his tail suddenly converged. With a swift flick, a crimson blade of light, threads of electricity weaving through it, shot forth and struck the withered tree beside him. There was a thunderous crash, and the tree toppled over. Lin turned around, utterly dumbfounded. "Wait, does this thing have a delay? That's impossible, such a prolonged delay. What on earth is going on?" As he spoke, Lin began pacing back and forth, scanning his surroundings, yet he failed to notice another red blade of light gathering at his tail. With two swift whooshes, several adjacent trees in the wilderness forest behind him were cleanly sliced in half from their trunks. Hearing the sound of trees falling, he turned to look and discovered that, like the withered tree, all the trees had been bisected. Confusion swirled within his mind. Wait, this doesn't add up. Don't I remember this ability involving thunder? Shouldn't it have struck them down with a bolt of lightning and reduced them to ashes? How could it possibly slice them in half? What is going on? At that moment, something clicked in Lin's brilliant mind. He looked down at his own body, examining his left claw, then his right, and finally glancing behind him. What he saw was astonishing. The tail once again condensed a surge of crimson blade light. Lin stood stunned. Good heavens! Could this truly be my ability? With that realization, he flicked his tail toward the wilderness forest, sending a towering red blade of light slicing through the air, traces of crimson current dancing along its edge.